Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really, really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Yo, Rockabilia, one of our sponsors. We have a limited skate deck designed by my brother Dan Smith and Captured Tattoo, celebrating 30 years of our first album, out right now for pre-order between now and May 18th at rockabilia.com. You can go to rockabilia.com right now and use my code OLOC and get 10% off. That's OLOC and get 10% off this limited skate deck. Check out my Instagram for photos of it. We'll be posting in the next couple weeks, so it's live between now and May 18th on rockabilia.com. Thank you, Rockabilia, for the support for this podcast. Thanks for all you do and put out there for all the bands and musicians and artists, all the amazing merchandise you guys make. Stoked to have you guys part of this podcast.
Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. And today I'll be using my Kiwi accent instead of my Lower East Side accent. If you haven't guessed, this is not Toby Morse. I'm Dan Smith, and I have kind of hijacked the airwaves over here in his kitchen for a very special announcement. I've been friends with Toby for 25 years or so, and he's always shown me love and support with everything I've done, from my music, from taking bands on tour, having me create artwork for H2O, and countless other things over the years. I've filled in for them a couple times on bass and guitar and made memories I could never forget. In exchange, I've tattooed him a million times and might have seen more of his body than Moon has at this point. And today he surprised me and asked me to do my very own read and announce something that I've been working on that will now be a new sponsor of this very podcast. I grew up playing and loving soccer or football, and if music and tattoos didn't get in the way, I'm literally positive I would have been a pro. A couple years ago, me and my friend Kevin decided to start Field Soccer Supply. Field is a soccer-based clothing brand, but mostly Field's an idea that was created from me being involved in bands and tattooing, etc. for over 25 years and experiencing the crucial, amazing, connecting element of what makes the world go round: community. We kind of exist to elevate the passion for the beautiful game and just connect music, culture, historic moments along the way. So if you've got kids in soccer or you play in an adult league with your mates, you know how it goes. Every season, new uniforms, new fees, new hassles, new everything. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world, but is literally the #1 sport in America that kids actually stop playing. And the main reason is simply just the cost of everything. All those old polyester jerseys end up in a landfill something too, and the love of the game kind of follows soon after. We're going to do something different. We take old uniforms headed for the dump and recycle them. We then use the recycled polyester to create uniforms that any team can love. They're fully customizable team kits, fan wear, and also there's a lifestyle and essentials side to it that celebrate amazing moments in soccer and music history combined. You know, playing is the most important thing. We host monthly play-for-free pickup games here in Southern California, and we're just getting started. The goal is to eventually do this everywhere and help make playing doable for anyone. Check out The Field Dream on socials and thefieldDream.com for more info and join our team. Okay, I'm going to hand you back to the real host of the pod and get back to the regular programming. Thanks for listening.
Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Guys, you ready? Guys, ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. In my kitchen, the co-host with the most, Mr. Derek Green. Thank you for being here, Derek.
Yeah, what's up, homie?
I'm enjoying this time off you're having right now. I know you're not enjoying it so much. You are enjoying it, right?
I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Okay,
Are you
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, you stay like,
Half a year off? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Never had that.
it's a little scary or no?
It's scary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It's kind of the taste of the future.
You know what? It's kind of happening. I'm rolling back into like COVID time, it feels. You know, I don't know the days of the weeks, things like that, but it's cool.
It's kind of nice, though.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here, Derek.
Thanks for having me.
In the house, in the kitchen. This is way long overdue. I met this fool in 1988. Mr. Joe Nelson, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Pleasure to be here, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
It's
how
30,
are you?
37 years we've known each other.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
37
Was
years.
it at the GB house in 1988 we met, or
Yeah, 1988, because that was the first
It's a
time I went
GB house
back.
in Queens?
Yeah.
Jackson Heights? Yeah,
I went
That's
to
right.
New York in November, because instead in No Fernance were out there
that's right.
and stayed at Queen's house, and you were staying there too.
That was
Yeah.
88.
I stayed at that house too.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
The one with Alan and Walter and Sid?
Civ.
Tom lived there at one time.
TC3?
Yeah,
He might have, yeah.
that's right. And because Charlie was going to do a tour with Quicksand as the guitarist of the first.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, he did do a tour with Quicksand.
He did, yeah.
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 Yeah, the very first tour.
So you were out there as a roadie back then?
No, I mean, I think it was out there for fun, because I graduated high school
What year you graduate?
88.
Where'd you graduate
same
high
as
school
me.
from, man?
It was. It's called Los Amigos was the school,
Los
which was
That sounds
Amigos.
way better.
in Fountain Valley, where I grew up.
Oh, yeah, Fountain Valley, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're born in Huntington Beach, correct?
I was born in Huntington Beach.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
man. Part of it.
Snap.
Part of the scene.
Wow. OG.
All my OG
never
friends will
get
be
to-
like, "You're from Fountain Valley. Don't claim Huntington Beach." Well, I'm going to claim it. That's
But you
where
went
my
to junior
partic-
high school in Santa Ana too, right?
Sandy.
Yeah, so I grew up in Fountain Valley. I grew up there
Yeah,
since
yeah.
like I was 2. And what happened was I went to a junior high in Santa Ana. They bused the kids from our district to a Santa Ana district, which was really eye-opening at the time, because it was 90%.
Were you in a bad boy neighborhood? Or?
Oh, dude, it was Gangville. And we were like the minority, like the white kids that had never been around anyone else but white kids.
Wow.
And it was really
Uh-oh.
rough, but really good, right? Like,
yeah.
And there was a bunch of things that happened, but I got kicked out of that high school. And then I went to Huntington Beach, to Dwyer and Huntington Beach High School.
What'd you get kicked out for?
I got kicked out of the first junior high for fighting.
Wow.
But I was really...
You were a brawler?
What kind of fight was it for? You remember?
Well, what happened was, like, almost from day one, I was dicking around and I threw a chocolate milk at a buddy of mine, and it missed him and it hit this kid's girlfriend. And that kid was a member of a gang called Middleside, which was like the Barrio gang. His brother was the guy. So for that whole year, it was on, dude.
just for the chocolate milk
Oh,
incident.
dude, I couldn't.
That's enough. man.
If I
That-
came out of the bathroom and I was in trouble, like, it was rough.
Imagine at that age getting a chocolate milk thrown at
It was a
your girl.
mistake.
Yeah,
I would
how old-
take it
How old were you
back.
then? How old were you then?
12.
Oh, bro, that's fucking gnarly.
And it was, well, it was also a weird time, dude, that whole period, because I had just started finding hardcore right about then, punk rock
Yeah.
right around there. So I was in this weird flex where my friends were into the music I'm into, and I'm in trouble at the school, and like home life sucks. So I was angry. And so then I got kicked out And when I went to Dwyer and Huntington Beach, that's when I really found straight edge and
They
all those
kicked you
kids.
out for that?
For fighting. Yeah.
Fighting, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I mean, fighting. Yeah,
I
get
mean,
suspended.
well,
or
I think what
fighting
happened-
more than once, or
Well, yeah, a bunch. But I think the problem was the fight I got into that got me kicked out. I picked up a kid who was smaller than me and threw him into a glass case that had all the embryos and the brains.
okay,
and the
okay,
stuff.
that would do
Okay,
it.
yeah.
So that was kinda
that's
it.
Yeah, you got to go. You need
That
to
was
more than
go.
like a
That was like
fight.
a final strike.
Mr. Nelson will not be attending this.
But I was
school
happy to
longer.
get out of there. I wanted to go. And then I had a couple friends who had grown up in my neighborhood who went to Dwyer, which is a downtown Huntington Beach school, which is like all surfers. And that was really great because it was a whole new
World.
yeah. And
Yeah.
got into surfing and skating and punk rock and really got into it then,
Do you have siblings?
I have a sister. She's 7 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was she into the kind of stuff you got her into music too, or no?
No, not really. I mean, she was she's a theater kid. So she was in acting and became a stand-up comedian.
Oh wow, that's
no
cool,
way.
man.
Yeah. But being 7 years younger and just to set the dynamics of my house.
Yeah.
Like the house was rough because my dad was a really terrible alcoholic.
Okay.
And there was a split in our family where like when my sister was born, my mom had caught my dad having an affair it's just crazy drama.
Damn.
So, but for like 5-6 years, my mom and dad slept in separate beds and my mom, and so that's when all the fighting started and the crazy, but that's also when I found like punk rock. I found a band. There was a band in our neighborhood called Shattered Faith. That was like a punk band.
I remember that.
Okay.
Name. Know that name.
Yeah, they're on
remember?
Posh
The
Boy.
name, yeah.
Yeah. They were on, and they were great. And they lived, and so like they kind of got us into punk. Like we started hearing, you know what I mean? And then when I got to but that was punk rock, like English punk, that kind of shit.
Mhm.
They were very British punk. But then when I got to Dwyer, those kids were into 7 Seconds and Minor Threat.
Yeah.
And Minor Threat was still a band then, dude.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they were in a straight edge. And that was important to me because I was into drugs in that junior, like I was drinking and drugging at like 10, 11,
Damn.
doing speed and smoking weed. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like there was these things called Black Beauties. They were pills and they're kind of probably like Adderall maybe.
Yeah.
But you would take them. I played sports and we would take them before we went and played our youth sports league. Like, hey, let's get amped up on Adderall, go play youth basketball. So there was that, and that was very miserable because like, obviously if you're coming from an alcoholic home,
Right.
there's that dynamic. So drinking, you have a problem with drinking as it is, but
Sure.
you're too young and you're too confused to really put it all together. Getting to Dwyer and finding hardcore and finding Minor Threat and that stuff, like, oh my God, I say it all the time. I mean, it's a life changing. Like that
Absolutely,
saved
man.
my
What was it
saved my-
appealing to you about that scene or those guys? 'Cause since you're coming from radically different.
I think because it was the positivity, the anti-drug message. Because
Okay.
there was
for
a thing
sure.
where these kids were like skaters and surfers, and they weren't drinking. Like, not that they should be drinking
Yeah.
high, but like they were against it. And I was like, I didn't know. No one ever heard of straight edge, right? I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing funny about like we're all around the same age. Like back then, dude, I thought I already missed everything, right? Because like, I
Yeah.
never saw Minor Threat, I never saw Black Flag with anyone else but Rollins. Like, missed the Misfits, and, you know. So you're
Yeah.
like, and that was only like 2 years before like, you
True.
know, everything started popping. But
Yeah.
the straight edge thing really spoke. And then what happened in our neighborhood in Fountain Valley was that band Uniform Choice started, and they were down the street, and then that became so important
The
to
West Coast Minor Threat.
yeah.
So you knew those guys from the very
for the
beginning.
dude, I
from the
played
get-go.
I played sports with them before that because we grew up in the same town.
What kind of sports? Which is
Yeah.
baseball.
Football and baseball.
Okay.
And they were like the Dubar family is our jocks, but like at the highest level of
Highest level jocks.
like they're all stars in their height. Like when
That's cool.
There's 3 brothers. Pat's the oldest, and
I didn't know this.
Courtney's the middle, and Rob's the youngest. And Rob's about a year younger than me. All great football players. All like star running backs who like ran like yes.
That's crazy. I
I
didn't know
know.
that.
And,
Oh,
and,
idea.
and Pat, like, you know, he went to school on a baseball scholarship. He was a pitcher.
I heard something about that.
Mm.
Yeah.
But when you're younger and those guys are a little older, that's your heroes because sports,
Sure.
youth sports is such a big thing in especially suburban culture.
Yeah,
Like,
for
so
sure.
those guys were the stars. And then when Pat started that band and that got around it and it was a straight edge band, like you were like,
game over for
holy
you. Yeah,
shit, dude. And it was like,
Interesting.
you know, their family's home was about a quarter mile from mine. So it's one of those homes that was like an epicenter for everyone. It was like where you all went after high school. And
Yeah.
after school, you'd go meet. Courtney would be printing shirts. You'd hang out, talk. Pat would come home, and you'd be like stoked to get a couple words in with them, and like because there's like a hero.
How much older are they to us?
I think Pat's got to be almost 59.
Okay.
60, like he's getting there. Like
I just feel like back then it just seemed like Hosoi and Cab and Ian and all these guys were way older than us
Yeah.
because it was so like.
True.
Do you know
yeah,
what
I mean Pat's a little younger than Ian, but not by much probably. Pat's probably about 59. Courtney's 56 or 57, and Rob's my age maybe.
Yeah.
They have a sister too, Shannon.
Wow.
What were you into before you found punk and skateboard? Like we listened to regular rock music. Like what was your?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a suburban home kind of vibe, and like my parents weren't really into music, but
Yeah.
my dad must have got a bonus or something one year when we were like 7. They went and got like a stereo, and they bought like Kenny Rogers the Gambler,
Oh, classic.
Saturday
Yeah,
Night Fever, which I'm guessing looking back at it, my mom really liked that movie. She was probably like
box
amazing
office.
yeah, and there was
smash hit.
and there was like a Carpenter's record,
Oh,
and
gotta have the
Evergreen. There was
Carpenters.
Barbra Streisand's Evergreen. There was like 5 records.
Good stuff in there.
All classic.
And then I just
Yeah.
listened to that. And then Kiss obviously got huge in our neighborhood. Like,
Yeah.
and then like I had friends who had older brothers. So you would follow their kind of lead. And everyone was into metal, obviously.
Really?
And then there was that divide in like that time. There was these guys, you call them Hessians, that were they were long-haired dudes.
Yeah, that was the word back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were dudes who would drive Camaros. They had mustaches at like 13. You know what I mean? And like they listened to like
Bitch and Camaro.
they
Bitch
listened to
Camaro.
like classic rock. But like they were like
Hell yeah.
whatever
Trans
was
Ams.
yeah,
Trans
like
Ams.
it's like Nugent and that stuff. Sabbath.
Oh yeah.
And not that Black Sabbath's like that's great.
Nugent.
Dude, Nugent had bangers back then.
Dude,
though.
I got that.
Ian and those
shit.
guys will swear by Ted Nugent. They love him.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
I mean,
I got
Stranglehold's a banger, dude. There's some bangers that the Nuge has.
I'm sorry. I had tape cassette of it. You remember Columbia House?
Yeah,
Of course, dude. For
So-
one penny.
Yeah. So that was definitely like on my list. It was like in Nugent.
How did that work? I was always too scared of that thing. Did you work out?
It was a scam, but I
It
don't
was
know.
it was a scam, but then they were just like collectors,
You actually
like
got
sending you
physical
stuff.
copies,
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
it was just like, oh boy, they're really after me, and I was like so young. Like,
Yeah, like I'm 13. I signed up back of Cream Magazine. What
they
is this
sent me
crap?
this. I can't believe it.
It's crazy. Everybody loved Ted Nugent kind of before punk, then realized now like he's opposite of everything punk and everything that we're about.
Totally.
Totally, I had no idea.
Totally.
But that's the beauty about music, you know. You're just listening to the music, enjoying it. No politics.
Yeah, we didn't think about
involved.
that back then.
I mean,
No.
it was just kind of like
you're
wonderful
so young.
innocence, you know.
He's
It's-
so young, dude.
yeah. I love that.
But I think from that there was like a metal crew that all they listened to was heavy metal, so it'd be AC/DC and that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was the kind of the punk kids that was like me and some other kids in that neighborhood who found like through Shattered Faith. I mean, we knew the Sex Pistols. Like one of the first cassettes I bought with my own money was a Clash record, an English Beat. I got that English Beat special
Oh,
beat
yeah.
service. You know who else was huge? It was the Go-Go's.
Yeah.
Go-Go's
they were
Go-Go's
huge at
Beauty
that
and the
time.
Beat record. I was 11 when that
They
came
were
out. Like
Great record, man.
I love that record.
So your whole scene must have been completely different because we were talking earlier, like the whole California thing was like surreal
For
to
sure.
us on the East Coast. It was just like, oh my God. Like, it's like hard to imagine,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I think a lot of it too then and is where we grew up was kind of the beach communities. Everyone was so active. So like your whole world was outside, even though music's such an inside type thing. Like you
Yeah,
were always
that's
out
true.
with your friends skating or playing basketball or surfing. And then like what happened with our crew is, the straight edge kids kind of started finding each other. There was only like a handful of us.
Is this the beginnings of the Sloth Crew?
Yeah. But it's also the beginning of the kind of
So
strange
what's the sloth crew? Maybe you can explain to
It's legendary.
sloth crews.
the listeners.
Where the name came from.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to understand what the name. Obviously, it's everyone knows what sloth is. I think
The Goonies?
we thought it was. Yeah, maybe. That's
kinda
probably
sick,
Tony.
actually.
Toby, you're right. I think it's the Goonies. I kept thinking it's a sloth, but I bet it's the Goonies. I got to ask those
Wow.
guys
That's cool.
because it was a thing that was like they were. It's like where we grew up. Like the part of that scene going to shows, and we were all going to shows. There is the gangs. Like there was the Lads and the Suicidals and the South Bay Skins and the Family, and they were gangs. And
Okay.
so we thought it was funny to have a gang. So our gang was called the Sloth
It
Crew.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
dude.
And it was just, and we would make
Never say die.
I mean, we're kind of, we're pranksters and stuff. So like, it's all about them. Then when you're straight edge and you're in high school, like all you have is pranks. Like you don't like, you go out and like, you know, you're throwing fireworks at people and like fire extinguishing people and like, and then what happened, what was really great with that, the Sloth Crew guys, it's about 15 guys from 3 or 4 high schools, Huntington, Edison, Mater Dei, my school. And some people started getting jobs at this place called the Family Fun Center, which was like a skate rink, you know, miniature golf course, bumper cars, that kind of shit, and a huge arcade. And then like Courtney Duber got a job there. And so we would just live there. Sorry. We would just live there.
Just make it better for my producer. Go.
And play video games and eat junk food and be straight edge and just
eat junk food.
And just thought it was the coolest life you could possibly have. And like, I think the thing that's so cool about straight edge, and like straight edge has obviously changed a lot since I was a kid or we were kids, but like, I really liked the fact that it was always a rebellion against your peers, right? Because you're in high school. So your world is so small and you're just with this, and you're mad at the jocks, you're mad at the frat kids or whatever. But straight edge was a way to kind of put a middle finger in like kind of the upper classism of Orange County, because all those people were keg partying and we were not doing that. We were like,
and you guys are playing sports too and being straight edge.
And that's the funny thing about like Dubars. I was thinking about that is, you know, like I was telling Ian Mackay this because he was talking about sports or something or playing football, and I was like, dude, you DC guys have no idea like what. We would play football with the Dubars in the street, tackle football in the street. That's how those guys would play. Like you would have to wear like gloves and hooded sweatshirts, and then you would just go play tackle football in the street.
It's amazing.
Like, so it was pretty rough, you know, like too. It was good though, man. Like that, it was a special time for sure, especially being with those guys and seeing Uniform Choice like start and even go through the metal years or whatever that was. Like,
so you were there from the very beginning and watched the climb of the band.
Yeah. And they were so popular fast because Golden Voice, who's the promoter, was promoting those shows back there and still the promoter, stuff like Coachella and that stuff. Like they always put Uniform Choice on the show. So if like any of those English bands came through or Agnostic Front or whoever the band was, Bad Brains, Uniform Choice was always on that. And then pretty soon a band called Instead from Anaheim, they were on it. And then there was 2 straight edge bands in your scene. You were just like, we're winning. We got a scene. We're building the scene, guys.
Bonds of friendship, bro. Instead, man.
But it was
great band.
Special.
Oh yeah,
But Uniform Choice was the Kings at that point.
Yeah,
they were the Kings
for sure.
I really saw how much they sound very East Coast when I listened to them recently. How short that album is too.
Oh my
Screaming
God.
for a Change. It's so short.
That was a game changer in my life. Like that was in heavy rotation.
Yeah.
For like all my friends and everything. It was unbelievable.
It was the first California straight edge band, basically.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like even in straight edge, there's Minor Threat, and then there's SSD.
Yep.
And then there's Uniform Choice.
For sure.
And then Youth of the Day and all like that stuff starts. But once, you know, but before then it was like a handful of bands in the country. Because it's such a new concept. Like straight edge. Like who thought about being a straight edge band? You know? Like
that would just set it off. Like once you put that needle down on that album, it was just like
I also love
every song, dude.
Every song, right?
The thing so funny about that hardcore scene that we're from, it's kind of beautiful, is it's so angry and aggressive and outrageous, but all it's singing about is positivity and anti-racism and it's like it's so forward thinking and such a rebellious kind of culture.
100%. I mean, I think that's where I connected to it too, because I didn't really relate. I like the Sex Pistols and that stuff, but I didn't really relate to like a Sex Pistol or a Bollock or whatever that stuff was. and you can skate to it, but then you hear like Minor Threat in 7 seconds as a message that you connect to. Then you're like, fucking, I'm all in. You know what I mean? Because it is positive. It's like,
for sure.
It's like punk was like, fuck everything, break everything, fuck your parents, fuck the world. But it's like, this is like, let's make a difference in the world and like fix things. That's why I love it. I don't know.
And then obviously Youth of the Day changed the whole game when they started touring. I mean, that was either the beginning or the end, depending on how you would want to look at the movement. But
I agree.
They basically set it off. Then.
They did set up early too, right?
Oh my God! Well, once they came through town, dude. Like the time I really saw them was with the Richie Craig, Mike Judge lineup.
It's sick lineup, yeah.
And they were just like
at the very beginning,
yeah, dude. It was mind blowing because you're like, these are our guys. Like these are our guys now.
Yeah,
because we were the same age, and you know, it was fun.
Did you start? So you started going to shows while you were in like high school and stuff, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like I went.
84 is your first show, Black Flag.
My first ever concert was the My War tour. It's like May or April of '84.
Damn, dude.
Which was up at place called Perkins Palace, and I went with some kids in my neighborhood in a back of a pickup truck from Fountain Valley to Pasadena on the freeway, like 10 kids like in the back of a pickup truck on the freeway. And then I couldn't even tell you about that show, except I couldn't see shit, and I was scared shitless the whole time, like against the wall, like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm in it.
You're like 14 or something then, right?
I was 13.
13, yeah.
Isn't that
Damn,
crazy?
dude.
And then like, and then once, like I said, like Uniform Choice started, then it was, I mean, I'm sure it's the same as you guys. Like that's all we did. I just went to shows like
All the time, yeah.
once a month, easily.
And then what about school and stuff? Like, did you end up graduating from school and all that?
Yeah. I graduated. I mean, school's tough. I kind of like, it wasn't tough. It was easy to do. I just didn't want to be there.
Of course.
Like I wanted to be, especially like, I mean, it's so funny. Like I ditched school so much, and I didn't even bother trying to forge anything. I just would show up and then be like, "Where you been?" And I'm like, well, you got like 5 detentions. I'm like, okay. They'd miss the detentions. Then I get Saturday schools. I'd miss the Saturday schools.
Did your parents know what was going on with that?
Yeah. I mean, my parents had split it by then. My poor mom was working 2 jobs. And she worked in that district. She's a teacher. She's a kindergarten teacher.
Wow.
So she was in a bit of a pickle. I think she put in a pretty good. They kicked me out of my high school about 2 months to go because I'm so stupid. There's 2 reasons. One, we started like a fake political organization, and I was the president. And the whole thing was to like make fun of the ASB, which is the real student council, and all I did was have propaganda posters like just blaming, like just it was just smart ass shit, like blaming.
And they kick you out of school for that?
Blaming everything on them, like
kick you out of
like
school
there's
for
no
that.
cookies in the
Come on.
snack bar anymore. Blame the ASB. vote the RSR into power, and we will make sure there's chocolate chip cookies every day in the snack. And then
What was it called? The RSR?
yeah,
What did it stand
it's
for?
called the Radical Student Republic.
It's so punk. I love that.
We were
shit.
just
Oh my God.
yeah, but also like like I ditched a lot of school, so I think there was like I had almost like a year's worth of detention to go before I graduated.
Oh wow.
And so then they were like, "You're out."
Damn.
And then we made a deal with them that I could graduate, but I couldn't. Dude, Moon just scared the hell out of
I
me.
can edit that, Mama.
Hi, Moon.
Hey,
Goodbye.
They made a deal with me that they didn't want. I couldn't walk with my school class. Like they wouldn't let me walk. I was
Got you.
like, okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What's happening? There's a thing where you guys are getting together and wearing gowns. Like I wasn't going
Yeah,
that
like, I'm
anyway.
good.
I was stoked to get out of there. I mean, I went to college. Went to junior college and college.
And what are you majoring in?
History. I was going to be a
Oh.
history teacher and coach high school basketball.
Nice.
My life
That's
path.
insane.
Yeah.
That's so
So you
cool,
loved basketball?
actually.
You a good player?
I was. I mean, it was not great, but we played a lot. Like we
But
all
you're knowledgeable about
we played.
basketball.
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
played. Like I played nonstop for years, like every day, club teams, all that stuff. And then
Wow.
I blew out my knee and like tore all the ligaments, and then I never rehabbed it all the way. I was 25 at the time. I'm not gonna be a pro, so
Damn,
like, yeah. But it was I played a lot of basketball.
Was that a goal for you at some point?
I mean, I wanted to be. I wasn't ever going to be good enough to be a Division I player, but I wanted to coach. So I was like, so I started coaching youth basketball. Like I was doing the thing.
That's cool.
But I was also like still addicted to music and stuff. And it just became a weird dance, especially out of high school and college, because, I'd start touring. Like all I want to do is tour first. Like I got to be on the road.
Yeah.
So then I went on tour with Instead. I mean, I dropped out of my spring semester to start that tour.
That was like
Okay.
89 or something, right?
That was the tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Was
was
that Bonds of Friendship tour or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it might have been the 70s. I mean, Instead
Okay.
toured, you know how it is back then. Like records, there wasn't like a real setup where like record comes out, you're going on tour.
Totally,
Right.
yeah.
Like the record's supposed to come out, you book the tour, you're on the tour record.
How
comes
did
out,
you
like,
meet
2
them?
months. Well, we
Yeah,
met
the
them.
record's not even out
We
yet.
met them through the shows. Like they were really, those kids were from Anaheim, and they were really cool administrators' kids. So that we didn't know them outside of meeting them Instead, and then we all became fast friends. And we were always kind of roadie for them when they played locally, because they would get you in the shows for free. I mean,
Sure.
you're a roadie, carry this guitar case
Yeah.
in. Okay, great.
Totally.
And then I really wanted to go on tour with them. And I had kind of, I think on that 88 tour we met you, Toby, like
Yeah.
we went to some shows there. Mark Hayworth, Helmet, aka Helmet, was their roadie.
Oh, Helmet. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember him.
And then he couldn't go in the 89, so they just asked me. But what a tour. Like what a fantastic time, dude. Like
Yeah.
I mean that tour started going out. It went to Florida through the South, and it was Instead and Uniform Choice and Reason to Believe, and sometimes SNFU. right?
That's amazing.
Wow.
Right? And then when we got to Florida is when Judge and Bold and Gorilla Biscuits came down and played.
Yep. I was at that show for sure.
Yeah, and
Whoever
then
that
we
was.
went, and then we toured back north, like, and played, and then we were touring with Bold, like Gorilla Biscuits, like we toured with Gorilla Biscuits all the way back to California, and then played that show at Fender's, which was Youth of Today's last show at the time. It was magical, dude. Like, because you're on the country, and you know how it is. Like, I was thinking about this on the drive over. I was like, kind of listening to instead to try to like think about the days. But I was thinking, like, the best part of it was like, you know how it is. It's like a dance when you're kids and you're not going to stay in a hotel for some reason. But you get to every town, you're trying to find a place to stay.
Yeah.
Trying to find, but by then we were all vegetarians, so we're like trying to figure that dance out, like
For
Subway.
sure.
Like, what do you want on the Subway sandwich? I just want lettuce. And
Just lettuce.
lettuce, yeah. And then
That
like,
was real.
Yeah.
and then like, being back east and then come back with those guys is really, really special, man. Like,
First time going to New York and all that stuff for you?
it was a second because I'd been there in '88.
That's right. That's
but,
right.
But but you know how those tours are too. Like, we stayed in Florida for like a week. You know, you get to Florida and then you're off for like a week, and we're staying at some kid's house.
Yeah.
The funny thing, the second time we were in Florida in '91, for some reason we got into Luther Campbell's club. He had a club from Two Live Crew in Miami.
Wow.
And so we knew someone, so we did. You know, it's tour stuff. You just do random fun stuff. And then when you're doing it, I kept wanting to do it. But I was in a dance with myself where I'm like, you know, because Gorilla Biscuits would invite me out. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
I got to go to college this semester and like, got to figure it out.
Were you working at the time too?
Oh, yeah, it's odd jobs. But I'll tell you, like, some funny jobs. One of them, you know, we all worked odd jobs. And the best part about being in hardcore with straight edge kids is your buddies always find you work and
Sure.
stuff. So you're always like, someone gets a job at the, the arcade. Everyone's at the arcade. But in high school, Zach, so we knew those Irvine guys, like the Hayworth brothers and Zach De La Roca and stuff. They were our Irvine friends, right? And we loved hard stance. Like, they were our brothers. They got a job. This is like '88, where we made $8.50 an hour in 1988.
Wow.
And it was going to like a Republican precinct district in Orange County. This is great that Zach got us this job, or maybe it's, yeah. and you had to take the materials, whatever the measure was, it's called Measure A, and then you were supposed to go to the precincts and go door to door and flyer them, do stuff. But like, we didn't do that. Like, we just threw them away. And then we'd go like, okay, we're all going to meet at the Hayworth's house, or we're all going to meet at the mall, or we're all going to go surfing. And like, for that whole senior year, that's after school, we did that 5 days a week. But you're with all your friends, right? All your buddies. Like, I think some of the Instead guys did it. Another job I did was funny was Kevin Instead had a company that he got Tony Canal and me and Rich Labate, a bunch of jobs where you had to go take off like competitor stickers from like a garage and then put up a different sticker, which was theirs. And we would just, someone got the idea, was go to Kinko's and make the stickers, because you had to show the rip stickers. And then we would go to like someone's house and get donuts and watch like crappy TV and just rub stickers off all day and like put them in a box, turn them in.
These are scams.
Those are all scam jobs.
Scam jobs.
But like,
dude.
guys worked like, like Zach and those guys worked at a gas station in Irvine, so you got free gas. And guys worked at, that's just how it worked. I mean, I would say it's great, but that's just what you did.
Yeah.
Hook up your friends, dude, for sure.
Of course.
But not to get too story, I'll give you one more on jobs, because it's a really funny one. Like, the best job we ever had to this date is we all worked at Pizza Hut down in Huntington Beach. And that's like all the Sloth Crew guys.
Gotcha.
And those type of dudes. And this is right after high school, so it's college. And one day the manager comes to me and he goes, hey, we do these things called huts, where when you take an order, take it over the phone and just write down the order on a piece of paper, make the pizza yourself, go deliver it. You keep the money, but you tip out me $5 and you tip out the cook $3 on every delivery. And I'm like, okay, sure, fine. And so I'm doing it. And then, that's all, pretty soon that's all I'm doing on a shift. Like, I'm making like $100, like,
That's a lot of money back
and like,
then.
dude, my friend Chris bought a pickup, brand new pickup in cash, working that job.
Oh my.
But Jonathan, and what's funny is also Jonathan from Korn worked there, because Korn had just moved to Huntington Beach. He was a manager, and he was always trying to get us to go see Korn. They just started, and we're like, how do you spell it? But he was a rad dude, and I'm sure he was in on it too. But the funny thing about the scam job is, I'm doing it, and then one day the manager comes to me and goes, hey, corporate's coming down to audit us, can you go to the Costa Mesa store and pick up 2 cans of the red sauce? And the red pizza sauce made, say, like 150 pizzas a can.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh shit, we're short like 300 pizzas on the audit. Okay. They come down. They audited like 66 cans still that they were under because everybody was doing the scam. And it was the lowest performing Pizza Hut in the United States.
Wow.
And so then everyone goes, hey, you got to take a lie detector test.
What?
And I'm like,
no.
you're violating my rights. I quit. So I quit. And then before anyone could take a lie detector test, they caught some poor dude who wasn't even really part of it, I don't think, like doing something. And they just
give him a shout out right
they
now.
just blamed, I don't remember his name, BJ maybe.
Oh
but
my
poor
God.
dude. But it was funny. But it's just like
So he got the rap from you guys? Wow, man.
well,
That's wrong, man. Come
it's
on.
cold, but like I think he fucked up. Like I don't think it was someone ratted him out. It was like he got caught stealing.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, he must be him.
Running the whole
I
ring.
think other Pizza Huts across the country are doing
Oh,
that.
I'm sure thinking about it and talking to people.
All the hustles, man.
Every kid is
Crazy
hustling.
hustles.
Like I don't know how anyone stays in business.
That's true.
I mean, now you have checks and balances because there's no way to get away with a Pizza Hut scam like that. Now it's all computerized, right? But back
Yeah.
then it's just like, cool, so funny.
Hustle, dude.
Pizza
So
Hut
wild, the
scandal.
Huts. Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Jeez.
So are you living on your own then, working jobs, and then you're going to
Back
school?
and forth. Like I
Yeah.
would like guys would get like a guys
House.
would get like a mobile home down by the beach, and then everyone would live there. And then then it would run out of money, and you go
Back home?
back home because it was just my sister was in high school, but then
You're
like
super close with your mom?
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, you get it. You're a single mom. Like
Yeah.
dude, that's a tough. That's a tough road especially when you get
For
older
sure.
and you have perspective. And you have a child, so
Yes,
you have a
dude.
different perspective. But the admiration you have for your mom, like holy shit, what my mom had to go through with what I kind of told you about my backstory and juggling family, and then having
Yeah.
to go back into the workplace. And she worked 2 jobs and like didn't complain and like. I was putting her through hell. Like it wasn't intentional, but like,
Yeah.
like she did okay,
Was your pops in your life at all then, or now?
a little
or-
bit. Like
Yeah.
it was weird with my dad because my dad, when it went, like it was wild. Like, but when my dad, like, it wasn't abusive, like physically, but very mentally abusive. And
Yeah.
alcoholic families, like anyone's been in it, like it's just a weird. You're a child, so this is your only frame of reference is the reality you're in, and your reality is chaos.
Yeah.
Right. So you're comfortable in the chaos, and then I would have problems in normal structured environments like school and stuff because this is too like I'm used to like people falling down drunk and
Yeah,
like being crazy and like
Yeah.
my dad was the type of alcoholic that would be like he would get real loving when he was like an alcoholic. So that's when like he'd be like, oh, I really love you, Joe. You're doing such a great job. But you'd be like, all right, man. Like, but he's
Right.
also really, he's a kind of a rad dude. in some
He
ways.
got sober though?
No.
Really?
It's no, he struggled with it all his life.
Oh,
And then,
man.
I mean, just to finish his tale, it got dicey because he made really bad decisions. He ended up stealing money from my sister.
Wow.
He was an attorney and he just was in bad shape. He was alcoholic. And then what happened?
You said he was an attorney?
He was an attorney. Yeah. Well, a lot of
What?
attorneys are alcoholics because it's just how they kind of roll. But he was also the type of dude, like when my parents split up, I was 15. When I went to be with him every 2 weeks for like the weekend, we just go to bars. Like he would just bring me to a bar down like Newport
Damn,
Beach,
man.
and I would get like a Shirley Temple, and we'd watch sports. He'd
Wow,
fucking,
man.
yeah. So it's that thing. But what happened was we had a falling out, and then
How old were you then?
I was 30.
okay.
I've been married and divorced, but I got married at 30.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
in-
I was
I'm
like,
sure-
when did that
We'll
slip
go
in?
back to that. But the point is that at that wedding, I hadn't really talked to my dad. I was mad at him because of what happened to my sister. And just, I was, you get older and like, I was really angry. So that there was some point in my 20s, I was like, I got to put these bags down. And like, I'm making excuses for myself, like, and blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of just let it go. And then with my wedding, like I invited him to the wedding, but I was like, hey dude, like you come to the wedding, like, you don't have to put any money into this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he came with his side of the family, my aunts and uncles. And then he wasn't going to be part of it. Like my grandpa on my mom's side stood up with my mom for me. And it really hurt him, I guess. And maybe that's on me for not like really talking to him. But I was kind of like, also like, fuck you. I don't know shit.
Yeah.
So then he went to the bar at Yamashiro. That's where I got married. So he's in the bar at Yamashiro pouting. So I'm in there on my way. I'm like, hey man, are you cool? Can we get through this? He's like, oh, you don't like me anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time for this, dude.
It's your wedding day, bro.
Yeah. So then he
It's all
goes,
about you.
so then I'm like, you're good. The wedding coordinator makes a deal with him that he can make a speech. So this is where it gets really funny. This is where it goes really south.
And he's been drinking too?
Yeah. And so then I'm sitting there, and there's the open mic right here behind my shoulder, my right shoulder, because they're making announcements. And the poor kid, is my friend Paul Terrio's brother, Joe. He goes, and now Dennis Nelson's going to make a speech. I'm like, and I go, over an open mic, like, fuck he is. And he got out with his wife at the time and some people that are my family, and they fucking stormed out.
Wow.
And then I fucking fell apart and started crying.
Oh,
But no one saw it. I'm admitting it now. Only my friend Mike Murphy, was my best man, saw it.
That's heavy shit.
It's so heavy, dude. And then I was over him. I'm like, fuck you. And then I went through some things. I'm sure we'll get into like Chicago and Victory. But like when I came back from that, he was living in a motel. And me and my uncle talked to him. And then he got a place, and he died pretty quickly after that. But I felt like I had some peace with it. You know what I mean? Because I just was like, there was a time where like, dude, like I'm the adult. And you're like obviously a person who's suffered from mental health issues and depression. And if you knew his backstory, I mean, these people were both my parents were from the Midwest. My dad was from Minneapolis on the east side of the river, which is now the Arts District. So it tells you like in 1940, like it was, you know, they had dirt floors and they had no money. They couldn't afford to have a doctor see the kids. So a vet looked after them. Wow, so it's poor people. Yes. And there was abuse. And my grandfather, who I never met, he died in a bar across the street. And it's a legendary story because I finally went to that bar one year on a tour and met the owner. And he goes, because it's a tough bar, and he was playing pool. He dropped dead, and the freaking dude was playing pool. So he's like, "Can you get this body out of here so we can finish the game?" Jeez. So these people are from that environment. And when you kind of put it on perspective, and alcohol doesn't help, and you realize that this dude struggled with insecurity and low self-esteem, like I have, and never really got through it. He didn't have Ian MacKay. He didn't have Ian MacKay to come say and go like, "It's okay to be out of step with the world, man. You don't have to." Succumb.
Thank God for Ian MacKay. So how old was your dad when he passed?
So I was 37, so he was probably early 60s.
Yeah, it's young, man. Yeah.
But it was one of those things like he was dying for like everything started failing. You can't you can't abuse your body. Smoking, drinking, and all he ate after my mom and him divorced, all he ate was steak.
Oh boy.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a couple moments because we both loved sports that I took him to some Laker games. Like, you know, I would get like a good seats and I would take him there to kind of like do that. But that just became kind of fruitless because it's like, well, what am I doing? Am I showing off for my dad? Like, am I flexing on him now? Like, what is this kind of relationship?
Yeah.
So, but it's, you know, people have been through a lot worse than that, man. It's just like,
and your mom's still here now?
Yeah. My mom's still here. She lives in the same house they bought. Isn't that crazy?
That's incredible.
Yeah. She's the only one left. There's one other family from that era left in that neighborhood.
Damn.
How old is she now?
She's 83.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah. She's a cancer survivor, so she's been battling cancer for 10 years now. Like,
damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to your mom.
Diane Nelson, man. She's a real one.
So let's go. So Trigger Man, that's 1990.
Trigger Man's 1990.
Is that your first band officially?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, we did bands. They were all terrible. I mean, Trigger Man's good, but it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's kind of in the middle. But it was one of those
the other band's names?
There was one called Jackknife.
Damn, these are like hard names.
There was one. You'll both love this. I don't know why King Nats was out there, but Gavin Van Vleck came out to California and lived for like 6 months. I don't know if
Gavin, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he stayed with me, which was really funny one day because I was in high school and I went to school and he had tagged my house bordered a park. He had tagged the whole back fence of like gnats, like his whole tag, like bombed it. Like, so I was just like, yeah, hell yeah. I wish I had an iPhone. Then I would
support him tagging up Joe's neighborhood.
But he was trying to be in a band
too.
And the band we had with him was driving him crazy. It was called Big Frank and a Spaceship because Big Frank was a legendary figure and a catalyst of that scene and ran Zed Records and worked at Golden
Big
Voice.
Frank, rest
in peace, Harrison, the legend.
Yes.
And Gavin hated it. He would just be like, "No, this is gonna be serious. Like, it's gonna be a serious band." Like, no, it's called Big Frank and a Spaceship, Gavin. Like, he got frustrated.
So he was out there. Wow, that's.
He wasn't trying to do a band. He was trying to do a band with maybe O'Mahony and those type of guys.
Oh wow.
Like he was. I don't know.
Was he training out here too or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
At there, he was just kind of hanging.
He came back and lived out here during the early 2000s too. I remember seeing him at a gym out here too. He was back and forth for a second. Yeah. Legend, man.
Legendary dude, man.
Legend.
Like what a crusher. Yeah, shout out Gavin Van Vleck.
So he had Knives band, and you have Knives and Trigger Man.
Yeah, Trigger Man was a band that Gavin Oglesby, who was a guitar player of No for an Answer.
Oh yeah, I know him.
And Gavin's
Another
really
big jacked fool. Oh my God, I remember that
he's
dude.
he's a great guy. He's a really, really talented guitar player.
You remember from the dude from Rocky?
Yeah.
With the
used to
flat top.
Or Frankenstein.
yeah. He was like jacked dude. No for an answer, man. Yeah,
and he stood still, which is kind of weird. Like he is
serious face.
Yeah.
I remember him, man.
And so that was his band, and I obviously really wanted to be in a band, so I threw my hat in the ring, and it was funny. It was like, it's really fun being a band, but like I wasn't taking it. It's like a hobby, it's like, it's not
sure.
like, hey, we're doing our band, we're having fun, we play, we can play almost any show we want. I mean, we put out a pretty good record on Workshed, but I don't think we never really connected because it was a weird time in music. Like we wanted to be more like Dag Nasty, but melodic.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're doing that, and then all of a sudden you hear like Quicksand Inside Out, and you're like, shit, we went the wrong direction. This is not going to hit. This is not going to be what people are into. And then the other bands who are more softer, like Sensefield and Farside.
Yeah.
So they're really great bands, and we were just in a band.
But you always like the melody stuff, right?
Yeah. I always like melody. That's why bands like 7 Seconds are like my favorite.
Same, dude.
Mm-hmm. How did that whole Oxnard scene fit into your life? I'm curious about it. That's like a whole world.
It's a world on its own.
It doesn't get talked about enough though either.
It does not.
Ill Repute's one of the great.
Ill Repute, Aggression,
Starlight 13,
Starlight 13,
yeah. Dr. No, all
Dr.
those
No. I loved all that.
It's interesting because that's like,
it was his own thing, right?
It's its own thing. I don't know if you've ever been to Oxnard, but Oxnard's a rough blue-collar town.
I didn't know anything. I just thought it was some cool place. I was like, all these bands are from here.
And they just had their own scene.
It was totally different from your
Totally
scene.
different, but like they all played the same shows because they would come to LA, but like their crew's different. They're a lot harder and more raw.
Right.
It all centered around Aggression. Aggression was the first band.
I see.
And that was a band that everyone loved.
Really?
That record, Don't Be Mistaken.
Yeah.
Like everyone loved that record. and then when Starlight 13 happened, first that record, In Control, hit. Those kids are like our age, or guys are like our age, maybe a little older.
Right.
And they were kind of on a positive tip and like a little bit of a straight edge. And Ron Baird, like the lyrics really kind of emo, like
completely.
Yeah, and so that kind of hit. Like they really spoke to a teenager, which I was a teenager
for sure. It spoke to us too.
But then, Ill Repute's the best one, man. I fucking love Ill Repute.
I love hearing that.
But all a separate scene.
It was like very mysterious to me.
Yeah.
It was like that whole scene is so sick. RKL.
Judge a book by its cover.
And it's weird too because like they didn't really have a record label. Like a lot of scenes got championed by record labels, right? But they didn't have one. They had like
Mystic.
Mystic is a tough label. So, but Mystic is the type of label that's going to put out the shittiest fucking work. Like, so here's like your cover with like cover songs and a slapped on logo that you've never approved.
Was the Faction on Mystic?
I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
Factions, what a band.
So incredible.
But I feel like Ill Repute is like kind of like obviously underrated. That record's like incredible. So
I had it on my leather jacket. I would paint like the artwork, and I was obsessed.
Yeah.
These Oxnard bands.
Dude, they're interesting, and they're like I said, they were tough dudes. Like that seems tough. So they
right.
Here's a fun fact: people think the Stance logo was taken from the Oxnard hardcore logo.
Oh, interesting.
Right. It's right.
Okay.
No diss to Stance. Shout out to my boy Ryan King. But that's a fun fact I just thought about.
That is a fun fact.
Wow, I never thought about
I don't know if Stance was based from there or they knew about that world, but the symbol is just like that, dude.
Just like it.
But yeah, Trigger was cool. I mean, we just were doing songs, and you're playing shows, you're having fun. We never did much touring, only West Coast stuff. Like played Gilman a bunch.
Are you working at Pizza Hut during that time?
It was during that time, and then after.
Pizza Hut scam is crazy, dude.
I know.
It's a good one.
Scam.
It's a good one. I think the statute of limitations is expired.
Yeah, you're fine. Nobody's getting in trouble, man.
All those people are gone. But it was one of those things like, with Trigger, man, like it was a weird dance at the time because it never really would click live all the time.
Yeah.
It was like one of those shows, like I would say like one every 5 shows I felt great about. A lot of it fell on me because I wasn't a vocalist. Like I come to hardcore like, hey, no, you don't, if you can't sing, you can be in hardcore. I can't sing.
But what was the melodic bands out at that time? Obviously, had 7 Seconds, like you said, Sensefield, but like a hardcore punk band that was with melody.
Well, I mean,
Dag Nasty.
Dag Nasty, but that's
I mean,
West Coast.
Bold was trying to get a Verbal Assault was a huge influence on me, dude.
The greatest, dude.
And that's kind of what I thought we should be like, because Chris Jones has that cadence that's kind of singy and melodic, but it's very unique,
dude.
Oh yeah.
That's another record we should get for Trust is Verbal Assault. I was thinking that today.
I agree.
Talk about that later.
I
but
agree.
Yeah,
And so there's some records that are hard to get, but
I
that's
know.
when me and Pete Kramiak talk a lot
that's
about
my
it.
dude, man.
He's the best.
Mhm.
What a shredder.
Yeah.
Shredder,
Did you see?
dude.
You saw Verbal Assault,
Dude,
Derek?
we played with them many times, or a few times actually, and we're obsessed with them. Especially the sound.
The guitar tone.
sound was like a
Bro.
totally different at the time.
And he had like that space, just friggin' ship-looking rig with all like, I mean,
Yeah.
he was on another level.
Just
Totally.
lyrically, everything
Yeah.
lyrically. They're so ahead of their time.
I
Verbal
love
Assault, man. The
beginning
Trial
to the
record.
end. That whole album.
yeah.
Even Learn, all the records. All that.
Learn and On
fantastic.
and like such good shit. But that was a huge influence. And that's kind of what we were going for. I mean, we played, we started playing shows with Jawbreaker, and I think we played a show with Green Day and stuff. So we played a lot of shows with The Offspring for some reason at that time. So that we were in a scene, but like it didn't seem like the scene I was coming from. It it felt like I was kind of, I don't know, I either passed that kind of my finger on the pulse thing. I just wasn't clicking with that kind of music anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So
Fast forward, he's the original singer of Ignite. Do you know that?
No,
yeah.
I did not.
And I'll tell you this, I'll admit this on One Life,
Are you
One
the
Chance.
are you the founder?
Yeah.
What?
Me and Joe Foster and Brett.
Shout out to Joe
Rasmussen.
Foster, man, legend.
Well, what's funny about this is I'm kind of telling my Triggerman's tale. Somewhere in there, Joe Foster, who was the guitar player of Unity, and was a
I love that.
legendary
hard.
guy, but he was like a pro bodyboarder, and then he became
A supermodel.
a supermodel, like a fashion model.
Facts.
Dude, here's a fact. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, Toby. Joe Foster is in the Express Yourself video, or the one where they're all doing push-ups in the cages.
The
Is that
Madonna video?
Yes. And
Bro.
I'm going to tell a Joe Foster story. It's a legendary story.
Let's hear it.
He goes, when they're leaving, Madonna lines them all up, and she has to give them all a kiss. Bye, right? So it comes to Foster. She gives him a kiss, and he goes, "What are you doing tonight?" Because he's a model. He didn't give a shit. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what you got." He goes, "Well, it's Wednesday night at the Red Onion in Huntington Beach, which was like a shitty top 40 club that no one would go to." And she goes, "That's okay. I hit Huntington Beach." So, but
You said hey Huntington Beach?
try to pick up a Madonna.
Hey man, shot a shot, dude.
Yeah.
But he was a model, and you would see him. This is so funny, man. I remember once I was at a girl's house, or I was at their dorm in San Diego State, and they had his poster on the wall.
Bro.
And I was like looking at him going like, all right, it was really nice meeting you. This is creepy weird. Foster, foiled again by Foster. But he was a legendary dude who you never saw.
Yeah.
And then what had happened, there had been a riff, which is funny now, between Uniform Choice and No for an Answer. There'd been a split in the crew.
Okay.
Because No for an Answer Uniform Choice got too big business or whatever their problem was. And
Is
No
this
for an
Staring to the Sundays?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also the
Okay.
T-shirts, they were frowning on all the merch, like sweats and everything. And like, so they have a song, No for an Answer, a song called About Face, which is about Uniform Choice on their 7-inch, which
Yeah,
comes
diss
out
tracks back then.
Diss
Revelation. And then there was a split between Youth of the Day and Uniform Choice. They used to be like brother bands. Youth
Yeah.
of the Day was on Wishing Well, and like, for whatever reason, didn't go south. But we were Uniform Choice guys. Like, we're not going to turn our backs on our guys. Like, those are our guys. So like, it put us in a weird position.
Damn.
But I think what happened with freaking, I don't remember where I was going with that story, but with
No Use for a Name and
with
Uniform
Foster,
Choice.
when he first came back was No for an Answer put him in the band. Like for a
Okay.
show with you, it was a show I hit Brian Baker in the face with the whipped cream pie. And it was,
You did that?
yeah, a country club.
Were you friends with them then?
No.
Oh,
But I'll tell you that. But so anyway, it was Slapshot Uniform Choice and instead of No
God.
for an Answer. And No for an Answer had Joe Foster play, which is like a fuck you to Uniform Choice, which is weird. It's so funny. Like, oh, you got Foster, like the dude, Pat Duber's like, damn it. But we had a whipped cream pie there. Like we had brought whipped cream pies because we were like, you know what'd be funny is to hit someone with a whipped cream pie, like clown style. And unfortunately, Baker was the guy who got it.
Why was it him?
It just,
Was he in Junkyard then?
yeah, it's just a shit.
Oh, he's in Junkyard then?
Oh, it's bad, dude.
Ooh,
It hurts.
You guys were
them.
bummed.
He was bummed. But this is what sucks is I hit him, and it's a thing, and people
Does
start
he know
talking.
it to this
Oh
day?
yeah,
that was
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm not. This
We're
is where
causing trouble
this
in
is
the
where it
podcast.
gets fucked. Is then I meet him because I start touring. He was working at Hollywood Billiards up there. Like he was and it's Brian Baker. Like it was no disrespect.
Legend,
It's-
man.
Yeah, it's like it's Brian Baker. Like it could have been anybody. It just happened to be him. Like, oh, that's Brian Baker. We haven't seen, if Ian would, I wouldn't have hit Ian, but I might have hit somebody else. Like of
Yeah.
that stature. Anyway, the point is like so he knew me a little bit, and I never said anything because I was just so embarrassed that I was the guy. And then years later, it was the first time he was in Bad Religion, and they were playing either a Warped Tour or Bored. They were playing some sort of thing, and so he was backstage. And rest in peace, who's a famous skate photographer, who's an Olive Lawn scenester. he was back there, and me and Brian are talking, and O goes, "Hey, Brian, you know who this is, right?" And Brian's like, "Yeah, it's Joe." And he goes, "He's the guy who hit you in the face with the pie."
Oh, shoot.
And I'm just like, oh. And Brian's like, "You did that?" And it was not a funny moment we're having between us.
Wow.
And he was like, "That really fucked me up for years. Like I didn't want to go out. Like I felt, and I just was like, oh yeah, it was heavy, dude. And it really hurt. Like I just was like,
Oh
I was
my
so like,
God.
I'm so sorry. I'm such a fucking asshole. Like all my, like the pranks have gone too far. And like, this is what happens. And then for a couple of years, like
Was he on stage playing when you did that?
no, he's just walking around.
Okay,
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
But the point is like we would see each other years, and like at one point I tried to make a joke. Like tried to make a joke about years later. Like I had it like when Instagram was up, I had a pie, and I go, "Hey, Brian Baker, I took a picture. I got a pie for you, like this and that." And then Jay Bentley came after me and like just put me in my place, and I was like, "Okay, this is not ever gonna be funny." So there's no way to spin this. So then
my God.
one year, I think at Riot Fest or something, I approached him and we talked, and I wholeheartedly apologize. I love Brian Baker, and we're friends now, thank God. And there's been a couple times we've had discussions about maybe working together, and this is, and he'd be like, "Hey," I'd be like, "You're talking to, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna put the pie aside. We're gonna put the pie aside."
Right.
So after all these years, it took like 30 years, it finally came back. But there was years where I was like, how do I fix this fuck up I've done?
Fucking pie
Because you're a
incident.
fan of all of his bands and
Yeah, it's
everything.
nothing. Dude, Dag Nasty, can I say, some of my
Legend.
favorite records of all time.
Incredible. Perfect
You kidding?
album, dude.
And it's a legend, and it just was one of those dickish things that we were kind of feeling. Anything goes when we're in town, like.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
But the Ignite thing is kind of spun from that is all because Joe Foster he had heard me he knew me on Trigger Man, and he approached me about doing this hardcore band. And at the time I was like, let's do an old school Uniform Choice hardcore. I'm like, fuck yeah, like let me do that. Cause like I'm not cutting it with this kind of sing-songy like emo thing. And so we did that, and Brett was in the band already.
Shout out to Brett, man.
Legend. Good dude.
Legend, man.
And then Casey Jones, there was a different drummer, a guy named Mark, but then we got Casey Jones, who was from No for an Answer, and he's a scenester. He was in Justice League and stuff, and a well-known guy. So we had a pretty good band, and we recorded, and we started playing shows. And the thing that sucks is though, like we recorded our demo in like a 4-track in like Brett's apartment, and I didn't even like. I just hate it so much, man. Like it's one of those things that like sold.
Were
Like,
you singing high like that too?
yeah, I was singing. Like I can't sing like Zoli.
Yeah.
But at the time also like, I'm doing this band and it's fun, and I want to do a really sick 7-inch. I want to play a couple of shows, but I just started touring with Quicksand too.
Yep.
So like it's all starting to
93,
blur,
yeah.
and I'm going to college, and I hadn't quit Trigger Man. And at some point I could tell like they were really wanting to go for it.
Serious about it.
And
yeah.
I was like, and I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm 24, 23 going 24 now. And I'm like, I've been going to shows since I was 14. Like it never stopped for me. Like Foster pieced out for 5 years and was a supermodel,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he's coming back with fresh, like, he wants to be part of it and do it, And so like, I got Randy Johnson, who was a guy, he sang in a band called Push the Side, to take my place. And then from there they found Zoli, and
Wow.
it kind of went from there. But it was really cool to be in that band. Like I'm stoked. It's a point of pride for sure. It's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
And like me and Foster will argue who came with Ignite. Like I'll give it
Came
to
with
him.
the name, you mean?
Yeah, because I think it was me, but he says it was him. That's fine. We had a bunch of names on a list, like all the stupid, like ambulance and like fucking chapter 11, whatever. Like, just,
Wow.
and Ignite was one of them.
And you might have picked it. He might have picked it.
Yeah, but those guys were, I'll give those guys credit. They really practice a lot. And that's the one thing I started learning about music. And you probably both know this, is like, if you really want to do it, you got to practice. You can't just go practice once a week. You got to like put in the work, especially at the beginning. And those guys were putting in like 4-day week,
Yeah.
playing. And I probably played like half a dozen shows with them.
What was your job title with Quicksand?
I guess I was a drum tech. The Quicksand
Okay.
thing's so funny, man.
Alan
Like,
Cage. Shout out to Alan Cage.
that's where I met Charlie Garriga. Was on that tour. It's so fucking funny because obviously Walter's one of my dearest friends, and I love Quicksand. And every time they came out, I saw him. And it was like summer of '93, and I wasn't really doing much. I was just kind of fucking around, surfing, playing basketball, and like kind of going to school, like trying to. And he called me. He goes, "Do you want to go on? Quicksand's opening up for Anthrax and White Zombie. Do you want to go on tour?" And I'm like, yeah, of course. What? Like,
That's a sick lineup.
of course I want to go on tour. Like, what would I do? He goes, you could just be the
What album were they touring?
Slip.
on?
It was the beginning of Slip
okay.
tour. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, you could be the drum tech. And I'm like, okay. So they flew me out first class, which I was like, dude, this is amazing. They never did that again. That was they did it once, and then someone got the receipts. And was like, what? But
Scott McGee got those. Yeah.
Oh, dude, we got to get into that in a second. So then, but it's so funny. So they're like, Charlie. I meet Charlie, and he's like gonna be the guitar tech, and there's two guitarists because there's Tom and Walter. And he goes, you'll be the bass tech and the drum tech. I'm like, okay. I don't know Sergio. So Sergio comes up. I'm like, hey man, I'm Joe Nelson, Walter's friend. I'm here on the tour. He's like, oh great. Here's my bass stuff. I'm like, oh cool. Well, just show me like how to change the strings. Like once, I'm a fast learner. I'll be able to do this. And to his credit, he did. And I didn't think anything of it because I'm from hardcore tours where no one's like really pro. So
Yeah.
but looking back, I'm like, are you crazy? Like, this is a pro tour. Like, the tech for White Zombie was a legendary guitar tech named Takumi.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Prince's
He's
guitar
a
tech.
G.
A
That's
legend.
Legend.
That
Yeah.
was their tech.
He's still a legend. Gee.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to change bass strings. But it was
crazy.
what a tour though, dude. And then we met the tour manager was a guy named Brad Anderson, who was Doc McGee's son-in-law. Or no,
Yeah, Doc McGee
brother-in-law.
finished his Kiss.
I know.
Brother-in-law,
Yeah.
Doc Rock. So there was a McGee influence, and Scott was obviously their day-to-day.
Yeah, he managed us two for a second. It was us,
It's
Quicksand,
wild.
Yeah, I was at
Nine,
the
Civ.
office.
Yeah, up by Central Park,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But it was fun because especially when we went back there, like on that tour, like meeting those people, and they were still repping Skid Row.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And this
dude.
is funny. Me and Charlie are sitting in Melissa Corrales' offices when it was day-to-day
I know Mr.
people.
Crouch, I know Mr.
She's a
Crouch.
fucking G, dude.
Best.
She's the best. But we're sitting there, and all of a sudden Sebastian Bach runs in and goes, "I love your band." And me and Charlie are like, "What?" Oh, he thinks we're in Quicksand. Like, oh, and he runs out.
Weren't you roadie for Quicksand, Derek?
Yeah, I was on the very first tour when they had a 7-inch.
Oh, so you were on that tour. Were you on
Yeah.
the Rage Against the Machine Shelter tour?
It was
Inside Out Shelter. I
Inside
mean.
Out
You were on that
Shelter.
tour?
Yeah.
God damn.
For like
Damn.
You were
3 shows.
That's a legendary tour. That's the only tour I regret turning down because they asked me to
Turn
come
that one
out.
down. Damn.
It was sick.
I just was like, I mean,
That was
I loved
insane.
Inside Out and Quicksand, but
What year was that?
89 or
Jesus.
90?
Wow.
90. I think it was 90.
I
That's when
was
Vic,
definitely out of high school.
that's when Vic was still in the
Yeah,
band.
Vic
Oh.
was still in the band.
Right before Shelter poached him. Shelter got to him and
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
took
he
him
was
and
already
stole
going-
him. He was
he
turning. It was like Darth Vader. It
Literally.
was like he was turning and Zach couldn't keep him in the group.
I could
Ray
see
had
that. I was
him.
like, whoa, he's really
The
got this
Emperor had him in his
speed.
grasp.
Yeah, it was
Dude.
game over.
But you hear those, like, so Sammy was drumming for Shelter, I think. So you hear any of those
Yeah.
dudes tell stories. They had
You're
the best
so
time.
young, dude.
Oh, dude. It's
That's only starting all the bands. Yeah, crazy,
Yeah,
right?
that's like-
Side by side.
the first time
Yeah.
you saw his picture. Like, I saw his picture before I met him, and I was like, whoa, dude. Like,
kid's
this
like
kid's
12
like, he's
years
like
old.
11 years old.
Yeah, dude. What a legend, dude.
Dude. He is, I
Like
mean,
11.
he is such a
A legend at 12, man.
Still, I mean, and dude, just still crushing on the drums, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He's playing like
I-
7 different bands.
He's one of my favorite drummers to watch still. Like,
It's amazing.
because he does those little Sam tricks where he's doing, because he comes from our environment, so he's got a little Mackie in him. He's
Oh,
got a
yeah.
little, so he does a little flair every now and then to show you.
I mean, right now he's in Youth of Today, 7 Seconds, Judge, Shelter, Rival Schools,
Civ,
Civ, Side by
Side, if that does
It
anything.
happened at one. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's
And
always
Overfiend.
working.
Yeah.
Overfiend. That was his other band with him originally.
Overfeed.
He could do like
Dude,
that.
I forgot about that name.
Yeah.
I was gonna drop Alpha Jerk on you, but I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
about
Alpha
it.
Jerk, dude.
It's Derek Green's. Look it up on Discogs.
Dude,
You
Sammy
get
could
it.
do a Sammy Siegel tour. That would be so
Oh my
crazy.
God.
He would do it.
He's
Sammy
almost
Siegel
doing it here with
Festival.
you.
He would do it, dude. He would do his own festival. But
He's a hardworking man, dude.
Yeah.
But that Quicksand tour was a blast, dude. Like, and then
Shout out to Quicksand, man.
and
Definitely.
it was they were so good. Like, 'cause it was
So
good.
good, dude.
Yeah.
and they were drawing like 1,200, 1,500 a night. They were at a good space, and like from there became that the next tour was Rage Against the Machine, and that was Rage Against the Machine's first U.S. tour as a headlining act, I think.
God.
And so we were so fired up, dude. Like,
That was a big one for Rage too, right? Even the first one.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was one of those tours too, like where you knew when you were in town, like every show was sold out and oversold, and people were
Yeah.
they had just heard about him and had to see him.
Yeah.
They were
I remember
great.
seeing him in New York opening for House of Pain or something random like that, or Helmet Rage at the Academy.
Okay.
It's before they blew up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And your first impression seeing them, it's like mind blowing, right? The first time,
Sure, man.
the first
Yeah.
time, like now you look at it, and there's been a lot of bands that have come since, and like it can be
Yeah.
a little gimmicky. But the first time you saw Tom Morello doing his tricks and Zach doing that hardcore rap thing, I was like, dude, this is the shit, man. Like,
Yeah,
this
man.
is going to be
Sound
the
was
greatest
amazing.
band ever. It was so
Amazing.
good.
There was
Nobody
nothing
could
like
touch it.
and there was
Nothing
nothing like
like
that
it.
back then.
And
Nothing
done
like
so well, like lyrically, sound wise,
Yeah.
instead of like looking on stage, everything was.
And I didn't think of them as rap rock or rap
Neither
metal.
did I was just like, damn.
You know what I mean? It was before all that.
No,
This is
maybe,
so
maybe
good,
Faith No
man.
More was kind of like that, but they weren't. Really
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. But Zach was like,
Because he rhymed a little bit.
yeah, Zach was really.
Carolina album.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think about it too, like hip hop was still really new. Like that's
Oh, but
like
it
hip-
was.
and
There's so many.
you know,
good
like-
Dude,
tracks.
Rage Wu-Tang tour.
oh, dude, it was so sick.
Game changer for the genres like meshing together. That was like a sick moment. I remember
But dude,
that.
he's on the cover of Rolling Stone with RZA, dude. Like
Yeah.
just like
But that meshing of like rap and
and hardcore.
hardcore, I
But
mean,
not
it-
cringy and not cheesy.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time even seeing that combination happen was with Beastie Boys,
Yeah.
Murphy's Law,
Yeah,
Fishbone
Mm.
tour was.
That's right. And
Off
and
the
Run
hook.
DMC did a little of that. Of
course.
But
Yeah,
but
they
it's not
did.
like that. Like
Not
not
like that.
like because it was kind of like the rap like we really got into like street like we got into NWA and Eazy like
That-
when those records dropped, those are the only things we listened
So
to.
punk.
Yeah.
So
that blew up.
There's no
Public
punk
Enemy.
everywhere.
There's no punk of Public Enemy too, but
Yes.
but fuck the police
Yeah.
was the
All that,
punk
yeah.
most punk rock song I'd ever heard at the time.
Crazy.
Dude,
So-
that
So
shit
shocking
was-
back then
It
too.
was shocking, especially coming from those guys, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
holy
it
shit.
changed the fucking game.
yes.
And when did Public Enemy and Anthrax do Bring the Noise? Was that,
that was 87.
later?
No, it was 87, 88. It's before.
Before.
Okay.
Because I saw him on that tour. I was a huge
Yeah.
Public Enemy fan too. Like, I
Oh,
love
dude.
Public
So
Enemy.
punk, man. Lyrically, everything.
Yeah.
Well, Public Enemy was a band that I could tell really scared America. Like,
Oh,
which I
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
love, like,
yeah.
because it was so heavy, like, and knowledgeable, and like, and it was one of those things at the time when like those records came out, it's like 17, 18, like they were like classes. I'm like, oh, I got to read about Malcolm X.
That's what I'm
gonna read
saying. I
Malcolm
learned
X.
so much from
Oh,
that.
okay, Nation of Islam. I'm gonna read some Farrakhan.
Right.
Like,
About the
I'm-
neighborhoods in this country. I
like,
learned so much from
like
those.
it was a
Oh, yeah.
roadmap, and
Absolutely.
I think like Zach took a lot. Zach got really into hip hop, not
For sure.
not
For
based
sure.
on that, but like so when
Right.
he was doing that, dude, like
But
Yeah.
just lyrically,
And you're right. It wasn't cheesy.
it wasn't
No.
cheesy because
It wasn't a
lyrically they're talking
gimmick.
about real topics that were on the radio. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're getting airplay, but talking about real things.
Dude, those beats.
It wasn't like, give me a nookie cookie. No disrespect.
No.
No.
It was so sick musically, though.
Yeah.
Which is something that you said
Oh, dude.
nobody was doing. It had
The-
its own
I mean, we
sound identity.
we
Yeah.
saw the first show they ever played was a Huntington Beach in a living room, a party, and they played. There's maybe like 40 of us there.
Talking about Inside Out or Rage.
I'm talking about Rage Against the Machine.
Bro.
Like Inside Out, I probably saw almost every show except for the East Coast tour. But like Rage, it was a party. You'll love this. It's so funny because I was doing Trigger Band and you had to book shows, right? So like Inside Out was still kind of a thing. And I called Zach and I'm like, hey man, it was like June of that summer. I'm like, we're trying to put together a show. Do you think Inside Out would headline? But he's like, nah, I'm not doing Inside Out anymore. I'm like, and he was having trouble keeping a lineup. Like guys were just leaving him, and no one really knew until.
Which sounds crazy to me.
Well, they
He was
fucked
like a
up because
genius, bro.
like no one. He's such a charismatic and funny. Like he was such a rad dude.
Yeah.
Still is, but like I don't think anyone understood the mission he was on.
Sure.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, until Rage, and he goes, "I have a new band. It's called Rage Against the Machine." He's like, "I'll let you know when we play," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I went surfing, and I think I was telling somebody, I go, Zach's got a band called Rage Against the Machine. It's fucking terrible, man. It's a terrible name. Fucking terrible name. He's not doing Inside Out anymore. He's a fucking idiot, man. Because Inside had like 12 songs they had never recorded for an
Yeah,
album.
yeah.
Some of them became Rage songs, by the way. And so then he invited us to his party later that summer. It's Rage Against the Machine. And they played 5 songs, and they covered Clamp Down by The Clash and covered it in a rage way. And I'm not kidding. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude! This is the greatest band I've ever seen. And then, they were within a year they'd blown up and gotten signed. They just did clubs. They just went to LA and played clubs. And then people, I think Perry Farrell took a liking to him. So Porno for Pyros had him start opening up, which no one's safe for Porno for Pyros. I promise you that.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
We make great
Well,
pets.
once I heard Rage and realized, oh, that's the guy from Inside Out. I was like, oh, this is sick. This is a hardcore kid.
Yeah.
And now he's taking his message to the masses.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. It's fucking.
it's a real,
punk than that.
it's a
I don't know.
true blue hardcore.
Dude,
Yeah.
that shit
Like
was
a-
so. I never knew how hard it hit until. Well, Charlie, he said that he saw them. He was doing some shows and saw them on a festival, and he just was telling me like, "Yo, they fucking killed it." It was just like the entire festival was just
Yes.
like moving to them. But then it blew my mind, like seeing them years later when they played Brazil. every like young kid in Brazil had like a cover band, and they would always cover Rage. There's like certain bands they'd always cover: Deep Purple, Rage, Ramones. It was such a crazy
Deep Purple's in there.
Dude,
I was like, that's so cool.
They loved Ramones out there, and Pearl Jam too. The Pearl Jam cover band.
It was like the biggest bands, but Rage. Every kid was just like, I'm doing a Rage. When they played, it was terrifying. First song, Barricade, destroyed thousands of people just moving. They had to stop like halfway through the song. People were just, I'd never seen.
It's so powerful.
It was so powerful. I have like goosebumps thinking about it because it was so sick. Like everyone's losing their mind, you know,
and you're
like
watching,
feeling.
and watching it happen, and your friends too. So like it was such a special time in music because, Quicksand was no slouch, so they're freaking doing great. And then you see Rage, Rage's on a trajectory that's going to be on a different level, and you're stoked. And even like the other bands, like, there's love for Green Day and Nirvana, and like, when did you start H2O? What year was
94.
that? Yeah.
94, son.
Yeah. And then even like when Walt, they did Civ, like, you know what I mean? Like all of it was fucking, you were really stoked for your friends. You were so happy because like, I remember that Rage Quicksand tour, like, that was the first time Rage had a bus because they were just doing flyouts and stuff. So Zach was having so much fun with the bus. Like, check out the lights. Like, check out the lights light up and stuff. It's so innocent. I mean,
check out the bunks, all that.
I actually filmed that tour. If you go on YouTube, you could find a movie called Quicksand the Movie. That's like an hour long of my video. I filmed a little. Awesome. It was really like a tour. It's pretty special. I mean, it's raw, but it's just that time. Charlie's in it quite a bit.
That's awesome. I remember seeing the Civ video. I mean, I'm in the Civ video. It was on MTV buzzworthy video. How that just like took over and was huge. Like. And you did the tour with them in No Doubt in '97.
I did. That was kind of a fly out. Like I got invited because I'd known No Doubt's a really special band from Orange County, where I'm from. Man. Because what maybe a lot of people don't understand is, they went to high school with that band instead. So Instead's from Anaheim and Troy.
Rich is really tight with Tony. I know that.
Yeah, and the Stefanis, Eric and Gwen, went to that school with Steve and Kevin and stuff. And so we knew about No Doubt really early, and they were a ska band.
Sure.
And they had oh my gosh, I feel like a jerk for getting his name, but his name was like James maybe or France. So they had a different singer than Gwen, who, and I saw them play that party. They played parties and instead played with them at a party in Anaheim. Anyway, the singer committed suicide. And then that's when Gwen, who was Eric's sister, she stepped in. And then when she stepped in, it was like a game changer. Because the first time you saw No Doubt with Gwen, you were like, she's a fucking rock star.
For sure, man.
That was years before they got big. That's so kind of amazing about her trajectory is like, she's a really sweetheart. She's a sweet person. They practice at Stompbox where all the hardcore bands practice. So you knew them. She also worked at the Mac counter in Nordstrom's, a main place. In the Mac.
Wow.
So all the hardcore, you love this, all straight kids would be like, what are you doing? Like, if you're working that Measure A job with Zach, like, let's go to the main place and see if Gwen's working the Mac counter. And then poor Gwen would be like 20 hardcore kids like trying to talk to her. What's up? How you been? How's the band doing?
Oh my God.
So funny.
So funny.
Buy makeup for my girlfriend.
But they were very supportive of hardcore. And they and she was and then I remember they got signed and they didn't get big. And even that record that they blew up on, which I ended up going on this tour with the Civ eventually, it took a second. They did they were going to college. Like I remember seeing them they did an in-store like Virgin that was half the size of what Farside drew for their record. And they were there and we were just talking, and Gwen was just graduating Cal State Fullerton, and I think Tony they'd broken up. So there was all this kind of like, oh shit, Gwen's single. Yep. She's Gwen's single. We got to get in there. Poor thing. She just was like being tortured. So they were really, I was really happy for them to get big because the dues they had paid to get to that is, I mean, you guys are working musicians. I mean, it's 8 years of a struggle to then all of a sudden you're huge.
Crazy,
and on that first Warped Tour that Quicksand did and Civ was on, and they don't even the headliner. No Doubt was on it. They played middle of this. They and Sublime played under Quicksand.
Crazy, man. So that tour when I was, that's a big one.
Well, yeah, that was fun because that was Civ, and the Vandals opened. And me and Civ were doing this thing because like the part that Lou from Sick of It All sings in that song, like that was my part.
Oh, that's cool.
And so then I was getting too comfortable with it. So at one part I started doing a mic toss back over my head high, thinking Civ was going to catch his cordless mic, and he would never catch it. And the second time I said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think we have a routine. Like I'm throwing the mic up, and you're going to catch it, but you don't see me doing that." So. But that was just, that's just funny thing about touring with those dudes because they're such dear friends. Is it's just for fun. Like,
man.
like they literally called me. Do you want to come out on the road with us for like a week? We have a space in the bunk. Like I did what I could to help Sammy maybe a little bit. But
yeah.
Sammy doesn't even want my help on the drums as a drum tech.
Those are big shows, or no doubt.
Huge shows. They're arenas, and that's the thing too. I will say that it was the first time I really started to feel for celebrity and through Gwen's eyes, because I realized that she couldn't go anywhere.
Wow.
Like she was, everyone else was partying. All those guys saying, Adrian, the Civ guys who were single and stuff, everyone was going out and partying, like doing everything. And Gwen was having to just go back to the bus and just kind of sit there. And sometimes you'd go visit with her. And I think she just started dating Gavin. But the thing is like, I was like, oh shit, Gwen is so famous now that she cannot go out without getting punished by people. Yeah. Which is hard. I mean, it must be. I mean, you must get it, dude.
Yeah, it's Brazil, Derek. Like
Brazil, dude. It's like
there,
you in
bro.
Brazil.
But not like that level. I mean,
Was there a moment though when you lived there and you had the long dreads and really recognizable? And
yeah, I mean, I could never go out with like the guys in the band, like together, like solo. Like going out was a little bit easier, but it can never go to like a show. Like we tried to go. I remember going to like a Slayer show, and it was like ridiculous.
In Brazil?
Yeah, Andreas left and like left like 5 minutes later. I was like, dude, where are you? And it's just like punished.
Yeah.
What
Chili Pepper show? Any show, it would just be like.
What year did you get the Sepultura gig?
1990. I mean, I'm sorry, 99.
Yeah.
98, 99.
That was such a great moment, dude. Like we were when we heard you got that gig, everyone was so fucking stoked for you. Because you're a worker too, dude. Like we just name drop bands, Alpha Jerk and freaking when you did with Sammy. Like that was such a fucking great moment. That's the thing that's so fun about being in the music scene your whole life is you just you can stick with it. Like good things will happen to you.
I mean, you guys moved to New York together, you and Charlie, to do music.
We did.
He ends up going in Civ. He ended up going in Sepultura.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And Civ was great because I remember Walter was working on that on the Quicksand tour. Like it was kind of being contrived. Like Walter was in a really creative headspace at that time.
Amazing songwriter, dude.
I mean, he was doing commercial jingles too at the time.
Oh, nice.
And they were jingles that you would hear in like Target commercials and stuff. So he was just he's
a true artist, man. He's one of my favorite songwriters, man. Like Walter, dude. Like
sure.
And
shout out to Wally.
Yeah,
man.
and I was really blessed to be on those Quicksand tours. It was kind of the end. It was kind of the end of like almost like 10 years of having like an endless summer kind of vibe because I started going to shows in 2014 and that last Quicksand tours really were my last real,
97.
Then I was like, okay, I got to get a job.
And you started working which is Revelation Records.
I got that job. Yeah. First I was running like a mail order rollerblading company. It's so great. So it was called Team Paradise. Right. And it was a catalog company that sold, remember like aggressive skating, that kind of shit. So that was a company that was selling all that shit and it was huge. And somebody was in Huntington Beach and someone got me a job there. And then I started managing it. But I could never tell anyone what I did because it's so fucking embarrassing. So like, I'd be like, where do you work? I go, it's like a mailer company. It's got like clothes and, sells like wheels and belt bearings and rollerblades. But I was on that and through that and I hated it. But looking back, it was a really fun job because, a lot of people worked for me. But I ended up I wanted to go to Rev. So I worked at Rev in like 97.
Did you know Jordan back then for sure?
Yeah, I knew Jordan. When Jordan moved out, we knew him. Because
he came from Connecticut, right?
Yeah, and he moved to Huntington Beach. And Purcell came with him originally. Purcell was out here before he went to
I wonder why they moved out here.
I think they liked Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And they liked the weather. And Purcell, that's an interesting time for Purcell, man. He wanted to do a band. But he didn't have Ray. He was not in Krishna. Purcell had like long hair.
I remember that.
And he was riding he and Jordan were riding motorcycles.
That was like the Live in NYC video of GB when they had long hair and they were in creepers. That was like the beginning of like Quicksand and Civ. Yeah,
that was kind of it. Yeah, they were all wearing white. That was the phase. The girl of us all wearing white. I'm like, okay. But Purcell was kind of rocked out, and then he ended up being Ray got him. The tractor beam pulled him into the Krishna world.
It brings him back.
He gets him back.
Those two together forever, man.
Oh, dude, and what a songwriting duo, dude.
For sure.
I mean, respect to those guys. Like, I mean, Youth of the Day, we talked about earlier, it's one of the most important bands ever come out of hardcore.
Yeah, man.
The way what they did and the way they kind of, I mean, for better or for worse, because the scene was different after they came through it. Before it was a mixed bag. Once Youth of the Day came through, it was straight edge hardcore in every city. And it was a hardcore adjacent New York type thing.
For
like,
sure,
It was
man.
it. Like all that kind of peace punky stuff and all the English kind of oi stuff, it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
A whole new look, everything.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
look. It
a
all
whole
became
new
very
look.
like it got really.
Very jockey.
Yeah.
It kind of got. It kind of. I
Like
kind of started.
uniform.
I started breaking
Yeah.
from that around then.
Did you ever dress like that, youth crew style?
In high school, yeah. I mean, I wore.
Yeah.
I kind of what I'm wearing now. Put a sweatshirt and a
Did you have the
baseball hat.
tight beads?
I never did that.
Yeah.
I the Christian thing kind of.
no, just they
well,
said regular like
yeah,
polka beads, whatever the beads. Yeah.
I
yeah.
never did that, but I did. The Christian thing was interesting. I do remember Ray staying at my mom's house on that summer that there was her last tour and like trying to preach to me about like Prabhupada and like showing the book, and he's like telling me, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, like I can't make that leap, Ray. I can't make that leap. I'm happy for you. Like, go get him.
I worked in Queens because Civic got me a job working with Marco Siega. Shout out to Marco Siega, Bad Trip, and now huge director, Blink Videos, and now Dexter, all that stuff. I worked and I did the times for different. So GB and Youth of Terror practice, I would just set the times up, and I book all the bands coming through. That was my job there, you know.
Nice.
And I remember when Ray just got back from India for the first time, he had all these beats. He was doing like
yeah.
handstands in the recording
Yeah.
room, and they started writing "Awareness and Alone," which are my favorite records.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy moment to be there during that time. You know what I mean?
Oh, and they were firing back then.
Oh,
man. They
yeah.
just
That's one of my
all-
favorite Youth of Terror
Well, once they
records.
got
That was
Walter and
fun,
Sammy
man.
in that lineup, like it's
Yeah.
just so unstoppable.
The
Man.
No More video.
Oh my God, game changer! Like it made me a vegetarian. Like that and Morrissey.
Me too.
Made me a vegetarian.
Yeah,
dude. Like,
man.
I became vegetarian the Chromax show I went to.
So that'd be like 86 or 87.
But then they solidified it when they came through, like right after, like they came through Cleveland, and I was like, okay, everybody was working at Piranha, like the
Oh yeah, the health food store.
store.
Oh, that's
Lower
right.
Side, yeah.
And they were-
Chaka, Mark,
Everybody.
Super Touch,
where's freaking
everybody.
Jay Anarchy? Is he working?
Jay Anarchy. I
Shout
was
out Jay
just
Anarchy. If you
thinking
hear
about
this,
him.
if you hear this, Jay Anarchy,
wearing all white.
reach out to us. Yes.
What's up with him?
I don't know. He's a
Wow.
mystery.
Maybe you should listen to
It's
this
a
episode.
mystery.
I
Jesus.
one thing I do remember about you, Toby, on those quicksand tours is you working at that Kangol store.
The Kango?
Yeah, Kangol,
No,
the hats.
Or Nana.
Nana.
Yes, that's where you're working.
Nana.
And everyone had there's pictures in that quicksand tour. Everyone's wearing Kangol hats.
Hey, we
Like,
sold them at my store. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone has them. Charlie, Walter, Al. Everyone's wearing Kangol hats. Me, like that was our
yeah.
look.
Nah,
The Kango hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Kango,
That was a
Smoky
good-
Kango.
That's so funny.
English tweed up in muted style.
It was a hat. It was a look.
I mean, living in the GB house in Jackson Heights, I had no choice but to become vegetarian, but I was totally inspired by all the guys I
I
lived
was
with.
definitely
And we lived by
inspired.
the Murder King right now. It was a Burger King right next to us.
Murder King.
And then singing on the GB record and being
Yeah.
part of the whole world. And I really didn't eat a lot of meat growing up. My mom made her meatloaf that was super dry.
Mhm.
I never had fish or steak before. So
I never had fish either.
like just watching those PETA videos at all the hardcore shows
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
time, it just was
Yeah.
a game changer for me, man. And
Totally,
then,
for me too.
and then living with those guys was just done
Yeah.
deal. That's what we were.
Yeah.
And it's also a natural progression of where we're coming from in hardcore. Like, because hardcore in a way is spiritual and religious,
100%.
and it's all positive. And I looked at the straight edge thing always almost like a political rebellion in a way, because you're
Yeah.
like, I didn't look at it as like, I don't want to drink because I don't want to get drunk. I just don't want to support like this industry and this kind of
100% going
this
against-
wayside.
going
And that's
against
how
the
I
grain,
that's
dude,
how I
yeah.
felt about animal rights. It wasn't like never like, oh, I got to be healthier.
No.
It was more
Right.
like, I can't do this. Like, I can't support like this machine
Yeah.
that's doing this.
We never
Like-
even thought about health
sure.
back then.
Yeah.
When we went vegetarian.
Yeah.
We
no,
didn't even
obviously
think
not,
about
because you're
that.
on tour going to McDonald's to get hamburgers without meat.
Taco Bell. all
True.
that.
Yeah.
Subway
yeah.
game changer, bro.
Oh,
Yeah. That God. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
But that was a massive influence. Like especially like Chromax. They had all the books,
yeah.
the Gita, and they were already
They're preaching.
majority of like India was like vegetarian, or at least I thought that. And then just like all that just was just like followed each other, Youth of Today and everything. And I was just like, God, I love the energy that these guys have. It's like stronger than anything I ever known in the punk world.
Yeah,
as
Sure,
far as
man.
like you said, destructive, like fuck you to
Yeah.
everything attitude.
I love my mom, dude.
And I was like, my parents never drank, never had this at home. So it's like, dude, this just slips into exactly what I grew up with of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
being positive. And
But
it
it
was
did-
just like, I just felt so comfortable in that.
But it became
scene.
its like kind of own scene.
But at the same time, being comfortable, it was still like nobody else. It was like
Yeah.
rebellious as hell.
For sure.
Because everybody was getting
Oh,
wasted.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The drunk punks, all that.
And
yeah.
then when you go on the vegetarian route, then you're even more
Oh,
outside
yeah.
the mainstream, because
And
like
then
no
I
one.
was like, oh,
my
geez.
grandma for 20 years never understood how to feed me at Thanksgiving being a vegetarian. She could never
It's just the
figure it
biggest
out.
thing, like,
What do
parents
I
trying to
feed
figure out,
you?
what are we gonna
What are we
feed
gonna
you?
eat? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll figure it out.
So true.
That was very, very true. Like every family thing, it's like, what is he gonna eat?
You're like the one person, the whole entire family like that too. So
Except for my uncle.
Okay, yeah.
Who was like OG vegan.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't even understand it. Yeah.
The black sheep in the mix. You know what I mean? Your family and this. Yeah.
But I love that the fact I was like, this is the whole idea of punk and hardcore, to be against the grain.
Yeah.
You know, or at least I felt that way. You know, it's like questioning everything.
And then other people having conversations, wondering why you're like that, and then they start thinking about it. Like as well. It's like,
but I love the idea of just questioning everything. You know?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. That's the huge
beauty.
appeal to it. It's like it's such a counterculture thing to do, to be like, hardcore's also like abrasive. Like it's not like for everyone.
Right.
You know? And then you have this kind of political and ethical stance you're taking, this positivity that goes against mainstream America, which is all so negative.
100%.
And here you are going, no, we're positive. We're like,
but did you ever feel that it was like moving in the direction of like this side and that side?
Sure, 100, yeah. And there's factions, like the vegan thing gets crazy, and straight edge gets crazy.
That's super militant. All that stuff.
I could never deal with that.
I didn't like that.
But
yeah, me either.
But it was.
But I respect the people that took that.
Right.
That's the way they lived it. That's,
Right.
that's how they wanted to go with animal rights. I get it, but it wasn't my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, some of those kids like blowing up McDonald's and going to prison for the rest of their life and stuff.
For factories and all that stuff.
It's a gnarly flex. I have respect for it.
It's another level, man.
But you got to have, that's a commitment that I'm not willing to have. Like I'm just trying to not eat cheese.
I mean, as big as hardcore is in 2025, it's still very, very underground subculture of people that don't know what the word hardcore means, or can't believe you don't drink and you're an adult and all that stuff still.
I mean,
to like a normal civilian, they're like explaining what we do or the music we're into, you know?
Because it's definitely like a slippery slope of like certain people getting trapped into like this side. I'm only this side, you know, being like, and that was scary in the scene that I noticed. I was just like, even myself, I was just like, you know, like, fuck these people that drink. And then I started slowly slipping into this, like, I'm on this side. And I had a wake up call, but then, you know, I thought it was important to really be open-minded to letting people do what they want to do, you know? And really respecting them for whatever decisions they're making, as far as like, okay, they're being themselves. Not everybody can be straight edge. Not everybody's going to be sober.
But when you first find out about it, you're so excited about it. You want to share it with
exactly.
So
that's what I was like,
like, yo, you can skate and hang out with us. We're not going to get fucked up. We're going to be high on life, drink Joe Cola, whatever we're going to do, and go out there and just be in the streets and just be fucking high on life.
Yep.
Dr. And it's Pepper. Like, you can do that too and still have friends. And be cool. That's the whole thing about it. You don't have to fucking... Because I would go to cake parties. There was one thing I did do, and I've talked maybe on the pod before, it's kind of fucked up. My brothers would take me out to these cake parties, and I would like collect the beer money for people, and I would just take it home and keep the money and go buy like some skate shit the next day at the skate shop.
That's so good.
Sick.
Collect the money for the beer and then dip out of the party, bro.
Smart. That's a hustle. Cool. That's smart.
Yeah. It was a hustle.
You could have worked at Pizza Hut with that resume. You should have replied.
I needed those OP shorts in my rector knee pads. But that's the thing. You would be like, even now, like, I don't know, there's still people that still can't believe you didn't try anything your whole life. It's like, why, dude? I have a wonderful life. I'm 55. I feel great.
You chose right.
Anything.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything.
No, she definitely did not.
Okay, next up, the Killing Flame.
Yeah, the Killing Flame. Yeah, so
that's the Killing
Flame. Killing Flame.
I just want to go to your violent names of his bands first of all. The Knives, the Triggerman, now the Killing Flame.
So, the Killing Flame. This is where this comes. This is kind of funny. So then I'm kind of working my regular job, which is rollerblades, because I didn't work at Rev for very much.
I like how he's still whispering on the podcast.
I worked at Revelation for just about almost a year, but I love Jordan, but it just was like, it was a great time to be there, but it was like, I need to make more money. I was kind of caught up in a weird life thing where I was just like, I'm getting married. I got to buy a house. Like I'm not making, I can't just do this hardcore record label. And I got to, the rollerblading jobs pay me more money. I should go back there and blah, blah. But I was really kind of missing out on like kind of music, and just, I wasn't really attached to the scene. And my life was kind of like really not mine anymore. I was kind of I kind of strayed from music, and I felt like I was just kind of playing a role, which wasn't fair to my Amy, who was my soon-to-be wife, because we were in this weird relationship that was fine, but it wasn't going to last. And it was mainly because I wasn't being true to who I was as a human. I wasn't right with myself. I was still working out stuff with my father, obviously, and all this kind of stuff. And it hadn't really been too serious for, up until 24 of life. And so I'm like doing this, but I really miss music. At the same time, Foster had quit or been kicked out. I think he quit Ignite. Like those guys, that lineup lasted for a second, and then they'd quit, or he quit and Casey Jones quit, the drummer. And so Foster was gung-ho on doing a hardcore band. He didn't like the direction Ignite was going musically. He wanted to do a hardcore band like the old demo. And I was like, sure, let's do that. Let's do that. That'll be fun. We'll do that. And then we got I thought it was kind of funny. It's like there's some shit talking on Ignite in that band. Like it was Killing Flames. Basically, Foster was in Unity. And there's a record called Blood Days, which is his kind of Unity album with the melodic songs.
Yeah.
And there's a line called I ignite the killing flame. And so I always thought we took Ignite from that lyric, and the killing flame was going to be the end, so that's like, oh, it's called the killing flame, and we'll finish this kind of trilogy of your musical career.
Yeah.
And we started writing songs, and it was really fun. And then what was great though is Steve Reddy liked it.
Wow.
And so he was like, you want to be on Equal Vision? And I was just like, yes, of course I want to be on Equal Vision.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And so we demoed this. It's so funny, that band, because it didn't do much. Like we played, the shows we were playing were like 18 Visions and like Throwdown and stuff. Like we're doing our youth crew hardcore with, guys at 30 look like they're probably 40 compared to those kids at 18. So we're not, we're doing our best. But like but Steve gave us a really good budget. And at the time, this is like 2000, there was this great studio in Calabasas called Castle Oaks, which had a Neve Council. And it had they did movie soundtracks there, and they did all kinds of big shit. And obviously studios like that were running out of money because everyone's going digital. So they were filling it at night, like studios do, booking whatever you get. And Andrew Klein from Strife had recorded a Strife record there maybe, or knew about it. And so then we were like, great, we got this budget. We're going to go to this real studio. Our engineer was this guy, June Murakama, who worked on Police Records and worked so it was like this pro studio for the Killing Flame. And we're like, and then I had this idea. I'm like, I want to make a record, and I want to get all the people from Orange County to be part of it. Like be Pat Dubar. I want to get him to sing a song. I try to get Zach. So that record called Another Breath, there's guest vocals on almost every song. There's like Pat Dubar, and there's Ernst from Hard Stance, and Tony from The Adolescents sings something, and my friend Spike Xavier, who was in Corporate Avenger at the time, and also Mind Over 4, which is a band Cleveland fucking loves.
I
know, Derek. Oh, I know.
There's so
the one thing I learned about Cleveland, I was out with Charlie and some of your Cleveland friends after Judge one night, and Mind Over 4 came up, and everyone lost their shit at the table. Like, Cleveland loves Mind Over 4.
They were
underrated band from there.
They're from Fullerton.
No, they're from California.
Oh, shit.
They're
I'm so hyped on the. You know who opened up for them?
Who?
Pantera. I was like, whoever this Pantera band. Need to get off.
Let Mind Over 4 do their thing.
4.
Dude, Mind Over 4, this is interesting. Mind Over 4, so Spike Xavier, his brother's Brad X, who started Doggy Style.
Oh, shit, great band.
Doggy Style is a band that was part of our scene. Brad was straight edge, right? So like that was a weird, but they were kind of funny, so it's a weird. It's a weird thing. And then Spike is his brother who was in Mind Over 4, which is like it's like math rock. It's like, but it's really, and Spike's talented.
Yeah.
And so the thing that's so great about Brad, and then we'll get back on this shit, is Brad X also became a club promoter in Hollywood in the late 80s, early 90s after Doggy Style at the Roxbury. And all the clubs you'd hear, like all the famous clubs, he was the guy running the clubs.
Wow.
So everyone could work there. And he was straight edge. So he's stoked on the straight edge kids working there. So like I work the VIP list sometimes at like fucking 20. Checking IDs. Like,
what?
So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, you'll love this. When I rejected Corey Haim from coming in because he wasn't on the list, I go, "You're not on the list." He goes, "Sir," poor guy, rest in peace, Corey Haim. He's a sweetheart, and we let him in. But he goes, "Do you know? You ever seen the movie Lost Boys?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I have." He goes, "I'm in it. I'm Corey Haim." And I'm like, "Oh, but you're not on the list, Corey Haim." And then I let him in. Poor dude, troubled soul. But like, it was that era of shit.
Crazy, bro.
And then one more thing about Brad X. You should maybe get on your podcast one day because he's a legend. He goes off and starts a band called the Cottonmouth Kings.
Oh yeah,
wow,
remember that band?
Yeah,
and is straight edge.
Damn, and Doug's in there too from Dag Nasty.
Yeah, they all got it eventually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Doug Carrion was in that band.
Yeah, because Brad had a moment where he had a band before Baker went back and did Dag Nasty with Pete Kortner. He came out here and did
Junkyard, no?
Yeah, no, he came out first and did a band with Brad X called Doggy Rock. They have a record.
I didn't know that.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Doug Carey on bass, Brad and Lou and Baker. It's called The Last Laugh. It's like an 8-song EP, and it's kind of rap rock, and like it's from like '87.
That is crazy.
Oh, dude!
bro.
But it also has a couple Dag Nasty songs that didn't make it. One called "Sweater" and one called "Steve." They're good songs.
Damn.
And you check it anyway. So Brad X started Cottonmouth Kings as a straight edge dude and started like this stupid stoner.
That's
rap
crazy. I
band.
did not know that, dude. That was a big band too.
Huge.
That's crazy.
He was, but that's his brother Spike was the freaking thing. So anyway, the point is he was on the Killing Flame record, and the Killing Flame was like, we made this expensive record,
Did
and
you
like
get Zach on there?
no, wouldn't do it, which is fine. I mean, I asked Mike Ness too, he couldn't do it. Like, but I was going for that, and then part of it was like we're gonna like the first song's called The Killing Flame. It's kind of a diss on Ignite, which is so funny because I love those dudes, but I just thought it was kind of funny.
Diss tracks, man.
like fuck
Guys
these
got
guys.
diss tracks.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys. Like we're the hardcore guys. If we got Pat Duber on the song, we're the legit guys. You're not
Wow.
legit.
Oh my God. dude.
That kind of mentality. But what's funny about that thing is the reels. They were analog reels. When they brought them out, because you know how those studios you buy like old reels or whatever, you can get new reels.
Yeah.
They all said Beatles 3 anthology on the reels.
What?
And I go to the guy who owns the studio. I go, hey man, what's on this? He goes, no, it's the Beatles anthology 3. It's a mixdown reel. And I'm like, well, we can't put the Killing Flame on the Beatles. That's insane. He's like, yeah, no, we got plenty. That's just trash. Like there's safeties.
Bro.
So
Oh, my
the
God.
Gavin Oglesby, because he was in the Killing Flame at his house, they literally crossed out on all the reels the Beatles anthology 3 and written the Killing Flame Another Breath.
That's
Holy
sick.
shit.
You
That should
know,
have been like the
What
album
those things
cover.
are worth though. Those
dude,
Beatles.
I don't know.
shit, no shit.
Right.
I should get him. But that, you know, that was fun. We did like an East Coast tour. We played an Edge Fest thing. We were in AP as like a top 100 bands you should watch whatever year that came out. It was like
Nice.
it was like
Fresh.
Coldplay,
Wow.
Muse, Killing Flame. Or Killing Flame was 54.
What?
I think at the drive-ins in it.
Damn, still that's crazy
You know,
though.
so shout out to Steve Red at Equal Vision. They did a
Steve
really
Ray
good.
is one of the
he did
greatest humans alive,
the best.
dude.
But we were on it, and that was fun. But then, you know, I the tale kind of ended there because I moved to Chicago to work for Victory Records.
Dude, man.
Wow.
We're about to get into this chapter, man. I
How
don't
did
know
you-
how that even happens.
Did they reach out to you, Victory? Or?
No, what happened was, I was married, as I said, and my ex-wife was from Chicago,
Oh, gotcha.
and we were not doing great. And after the first year, like almost a day, I go, if in a year you're not happy, we can move back to Chicago. And like almost to the day, she's like, all right, I'm not happy. Let's move back to Chicago. I was like, all right, fuck,
Ah, man.
fuck.
Oh.
So then
Did you like Chicago?
I love Chicago. I didn't like it then because it wasn't happy for me. Like I was in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right place. And like, but what happened was I didn't know anyone there. I didn't know what to do. Like I reached out to Tony Victory and
Had
asked
you
for.
known him or met him before?
I knew him a little bit, and I'd met him. Like he was in a band called I think Only the Strong or
oh,
something.
yeah, for sure.
So I think instead played with them.
For
We
sure.
knew him, and
Know
I
that
knew
band?
obviously knew of Victory, and like it was a weird thing because I wasn't a big fan of the label. Because I'm more of a Rev guy, but like I respected Tony, and he was doing something to the label. Like where I knew Jordan's an amazing human. I love him. I think Rev's amazing, but Jordan's got a lane he's in, and that's the lane he's in. And
Absolutely.
Tony's like, I'm swinging for the fences, and so I'm like, okay.
And Victor was a huge
It was
label,
huge. There was,
hardcore label.
there was like
man.
16 people working there when I worked there.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he gave me a job. It was a kind of a weird kind of Swiss Army knife hybrid job of sales, and also I was doing some merch because I have merch experience. And yeah, we worked together. And he's
How long you worked there for?
almost a year, 8. But what happened was like, and it was a good crew. It was like obviously what's his name, Clint was there. He's been there forever, and Delphine, she was there, and Stephanie Marlowe, who's a publicist now and works.
She's working at Bridge 9. I know her.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
great. She
Yeah.
was this receptionist or this like the office manager,
Yeah.
and like Jason Rudolph became manager. Was there like really good people, and I worked there. We signed. That was when they signed Thursday, and they signed Taking Back Sunday. I think was coming, and but Tony's, you know, he's a tough one, man. Like he's I kind of love him now because I look at him as like someone needs to be the villain, and he really loved to embrace the villain role for some reason, which is like I'm always want people to kind of like me, and like he didn't seem like he gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and he but it was rough, and he was abusive at times to people. And what happened was the final straw with me was like it was kind of in between Christmas and New Year's when music industry sort of dead anyway.
Totally.
So I was in the office, and a couple other people in the office. One of them being this like French creative director who was friends with Delphine, and he was a sweet kid guy, but he was like, you know, he was a family man and pretty timid dude. And Tony comes in, starts screaming, he's throwing shit around the office, and he's yelling at everyone, calling everyone slobs. And then I hear him like telling this creative director he's going to fire him and go tell his wife, Happy New Year, honey. Like, I don't have a job because I can't clean up my dishes. Bah, 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 bah. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And I was in a failing marriage, obviously. It's winter in Chicago. And I'm like, I fucking hate my life so much right now. And so I sent him a thing. Oh, then he sends a fucking email to everyone that says, you know, I'm building something here. I'm an oak, and you guys are branches of a tree. There's 16 branches. There were 16 of us. And it's the whole dramatic thing. And I came in today excited to be here. And unfortunately, the kitchen was a goddamn mess. And so I ruined my new Christmas sweater cleaning it up. And if you're with me, you're with me. If not, get the fuck out, kind of thing, right?
Wow.
So I wrote, like, Tony, like, you can't talk to people like this. You can't abuse the creative director. Like, I have respect for it. It was really professional. I go, but I'm out at the end of the day. Like, I'm not working anymore. Like, I'm done. And so we kind of go about our day, and he comes, right before I leave, he comes, he sits down at my desk, and he's like kind of trying to like mad dog me. Oh, and I'm like, what's up, man? We good? We're good, right? He's like, oh, open your backpack. I'm like, okay. I'm back. He's all looking through. I go, dude, I'm not stealing the Earth Crisis CDs, dude. Like,
what?
Stop. If this was Pizza Hut, it might be different, but this is not. This is Victory Records. There's no money here. So that was it. And
He
so
went through your bag?
Oh yeah, well, you know, he's just like that. He's just fucking crazy. But this is where it gets funny. Is he goes, you know, I get my paycheck. He waits 72 hours before. I mean, it's all last second. I can finally get the paycheck. It's like $900 or $1,200, which tells you how much I was making.
Yeah.
So I deposit it. About a week later, it comes back, been canceled. And I'm like, oh my God. And this is his MO. He's done this before. So I call him up and I'm like, hey man, you know, you stop paying my paycheck. He's like, that's right. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I can go to labor board. Like, I'm going to go, there's no way you're going to win this dispute. Like, it's a pain in the ass for both of us. I have to go to labor board. I'm going to file for you. I'm going to do it because you owe me that money. But like, can't we just be cool? He's like, cool? Who do you think you're talking to, son?
Wow.
He's like, don't you know where you're at? You're at the dance.
What?
He's like, I'm dressed to the nine in my tux and tails. You're wearing your shitty tennis shoes? He goes, do you want to get jiggy with me? And I start,
Is this
real. And I go,
Jiggy?
did you use the word jiggy? And he hangs up.
You said that to him?
That's the last time we ever spoke.
You said, did you want to use Jiggy?
It's crazy. And then I called Walter Schreifels right away to tell him the story because it was so insane.
He said Jiggy with
Yes.
you. Oh.
You want to get jiggy? All that's pretty verbatim. It's probably a little bit.
He invited you to a dance-off.
He's in his tux and tails. I'm in my shoes. Who do you think you are? And so then,
I gotta use that speech.
so then I kind of like, I had to file a claim against him. And then what he does, which is so fucking great, is he prints out, he's gone through every single one of my emails. And he submits about 30 emails with a time deduction of, they were on personal emails, there's no doubt about it. Like sending to my friends, whatever, from Victory's account.
Deducted the time off.
Yeah, and he goes, he actually owes me like $2,000 based on this report.
Oh,
And he
my.
obviously lost. It's crazy.
So you actually go to the board and to deal with all that.
It took 6 months, dude,
Oh,
to
my
get that.
God.
But he just did that. But you know, like, I mean, he's just who he is.
He's got the time and money to do that.
But there's some real genius to him too. Like there's a real brilliance into the way he marketed. He had a great. That was a good time for him. Like the way he handled MTV2, and I don't think this was great for the bands in the end, but the way he got Victory ahead of everyone is on MTV2 at the time. That was where you would show videos, right? You didn't show videos on MTV.
Yeah, that's
it was
true.
TV shows. He just started taking out commercials on MTV2 of Victory. So he would, if Thursday, it would be 30 seconds of the Thursday song as a video, and then would say Victory Records. And that's how he started getting all Victory to get placed on MTV. I mean, it's old school payola in a way, but that's takes some ingenuity. You know what I mean?
And then he sold it for like $30 million or something?
Something like that. I mean,
years ago.
He you know, all kind of probably started falling apart because there was a lot of lawsuits against him and stuff. But
yeah.
I do have some love for him. I love him being like that. Like we're talking about him today. It's fun. I mean, the story's he's great. Like it's a great story,
man.
I love
you
it.
know,
I've never heard anybody name drop a Will Smith song in my life.
dude, like,
bro.
but like that, his bravado and like his attitude was so wild. Just like, so, Jesus Christ, dude.
We're at the dance, dude.
The dance. Who you think you're talking to? It's Tony Brummel. Me and Walter had this we had this joke that we wanted to make like a Roger and Me types, like the Michael Moore Roger and Me, but it was called Tony and Me, and it was just going to be me trying to get my money back from him, like for 6 months.
That'd be incredible,
but
dude.
Instead, those fuckers bailed me out, man, and took me from Chicago, meaning rival schools.
Rival schools on tour, then,
dude.
Did you move back home pretty quickly after back to Cali? Or?
Dude, this is how special. This is real. This is special about our hardcore scene and our fucking, your whatever that song you sing, like Friends Look at Me for Family.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
This is what it's about. I'm in an awful place with Victory, and I'm getting divorced, and I'm in Chicago, and I'm 31. And I'm like, what am I going to fucking do? What have I done with my life? Like, I was so stupid. I was cursing Kevin Seconds and Ian MacKaye for leading me down this path of destruction. If I would just listen to Van Halen like everyone else, I'd have been fine. I'd been crushing. I'd been selling fucking commercial real estate.
With Ted Nugent,
I'd been selling commercial real estate and mortgages. No, I was in a bad place, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I didn't want to go home. I would have to move with my mom, and I took all my personal shit. My ex-wife took everything else, which was fine. We didn't have much. And I sent it to my mom for her to put in a garage. And then Walter, I called those dudes, and I'm like, they were going to Europe on that first Rival Schools tour in May of 2002. And I'm like, do you have anything for me, dude? I'm in a bad place. And those guys were like, come out. We can't pay you. We can pay your flights. We'll pay your expenses. We'll give you per diems. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in. And I was Sammy's drum tech, unfortunately for Sam. But like that was it. But it was what a special tour, dude. Because we were like, they were so, and they were clicking, dude. And like, dude, that was like when we saw David Bowie that summer. They played with Oasis a bunch.
Wow.
Damn. They played with. You'll love this, Toby. I'm going through divorce, so on my CD player, I'm listening to like Get Up Kids and like Jimmy Eat World and Dashboard Confessional, and I'm listening to the second Coldplay album, Rush the Bus to the Head, like on repeat, like, going to sleep listening to that Green Eyes song and just like fucking sitting there like, gonna get through this. But some of their shows, they opened for Coldplay on the main stage. Like, so Rival Schools was the opener, and then Coldplay was the headliner, and that happened a lot. So they would have the shared, that horseshoe dressing room space in those Euro festivals.
With Coldplay too.
Yeah. And so one, I'd see Chris Martin one day. I just walked up to him and go, okay, brother, I'm going through some heavy stuff. I'm going, your record's really speaking to me. And he was so sweet.
He's so sweet, dude.
He was so nice to me. He was like, you're American. They were going to play the Wiltern out here. He's like, I'll put you on our guest list when we come to LA to play the Wiltern.
Wow. Yeah,
that's what level they were at.
Geez.
But it was just
that's incredible.
And it got me through it. It just saved my life again. Like those guys saved my life. And like, and then you were with Green Day, and we saw Grohl was playing with Queens of the Stone Age at the time.
Oh man,
all of
so
it,
sick.
all summer.
That's a crazy
And
summer.
and thank you to those dudes, man. Like that changed my life because it never, from that day forward, that was kind of the past, right? Like that was everything that happened. Now is moving forward, thanks to those dudes, really.
Then you kind of like your own boss. You start managing bands and stuff too, right?
I did, yeah. Well, that's funny.
Who's Ted Gardner?
Ted Gardner is a legend. He was Rival Schools manager.
Oh,
so here's where Ted Gardner comes from. Is he was Australia, he was Men at Work's roadie when they opened up for Fleetwood Mac on the Rumors tour.
What?
Yeah. Comes to the States.
That's a sick flex.
Never leaves. Starts touring, tour managing New Order, tour managing Echo and the Bunnymen, starts tour managing Jane's Addiction, starts managing Jane's Addiction.
Damn.
Then he, Perry Farrell, and Mark Geiger create Lollapalooza as equal partners. Right?
Fuck.
And so he's that dude. Now he was on the downside of his career. He also had Tool at one time in Queens, and there he had lost Tool, and he was kind of, I won't say past his prime, he was there, but he was searching. So he had Rival Schools and Brian Jonestown Massacre and was kind of working with Echo and the Bunnymen. Mm-hmm. And he asked me if I wanted to manage bands. But what happened, or actually I came to him because what really happened was after that Rival Schools tour, I had to move back home with my mom. Right. Yeah. So then the reality hits, and I had no prospects. And then my friend Spike Xavier from Mind Over 4 goes, hey, why don't you come drive a forklift with me? Like my brother-in-law has a gift basket company, and there's a graveyard forklift shift. You make some money. It's like fucking, it's like 8 to 6. And I'm like, okay, dude, I need the money because I can't stay with my mom. I just got to start. I'm going to start from the bottom. And this is fine. I'll drive the forklift thing. The other dude driving the forklift was Christian Jacobs from the Aquabats.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's fucking wild, man.
And that's how we met. And I knew him, and he was just looking for extra money. And so me, him, and Spike did this job for like 6 months or 4 months. And like, we made a musical. Like that's, we didn't care. Like we were loaded trucks, but we also had a thing called Shipping the Musical where we get the forklifts and spin them all clockwise, and Christian and Spike and I'd be dancing around singing. We had a whole thing. But Christian and me really became good friends, and he suggested, why don't you manage the Aquabats?
Wow.
And then I was like, Ted, you should help me with this because I don't really know how to manage.
Yeah.
And then we did that, and it was great. And
You
I
went
also
on tour with them too, right?
Yeah, I took them to Japan. Like we got them to Japan tour with, which is sick. It was the first time, and then at the same time, Spike had a company called Merch.com, which was like a merchandise company.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of doing all that. But I felt really good because like I was kind of back with my people, and like, you know, managing bands is really hard. So like, it didn't last that long. It was like a couple years, but at the same time, we were also a guy named Joe Sofio, who ends up playing a part of my life later, which is interesting. He had the rights to the US Festival, like the trademark had expired. So he had bought the US Festival rights.
Yeah.
So Ted brought me in as a partner. And for like a year, we would sit at Barney's Beanery in Santa Monica on Tuesdays and brainstorm about this festival that never happened and work on our managed bands things. But like, it was fun, man. It was fun. And then we had Oasis and AC/DC were going to be the first two bands, and they had committed to it, but we couldn't get funding.
Wow.
We couldn't get funding for it.
Holy
Isn't that crazy?
Shit.
Yeah. And we would never have been able to use the US Festival. I always thought that was going to be a bad idea, but we had the logo.
And the merch was the first online merch company that you worked for?
I think merch.com probably is.
Bill Fold and Pat Dubar?
Yeah, well, Rob Dubar. So Rob Dubar is the youngest brother.
Bad, yeah.
No, it's also, so Bill Fold is a legendary dude. He's from Inland Empire.
That's my dude, man.
He's a fucking legend. And he had a guy named Bill Hardy. And
the Barn.
Yeah, and the Barn. He booked a place called the Barn, and he managed bands. I mean, he took care of Travis Barker, I think, when Travis was young. Like, you know, so he's a G and a rad dude. He's now like the right-hand man to Coachella. So he's like crushing.
Hardcore, straight, all that.
And he's vegan and straight edge and the best. Yep. So he had started his company with Spike Xavier and Rob Dubar, the youngest Dubar brother, called Merch.com, which was like an online merch company. And it was really cool. I mean, we had all the bands. There was no online stores, but it wasn't, you know, it's 2002 or 3, so it's not catching on.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like doing great. So I was doing that, and then I moved over to managing bands. And then when the band thing started drying, because the Aquabats was really the only band that was doing well.
Yeah.
Christian at one point was like, you know, you're a band, you're a working musician, and they didn't need a manager. And Christian was like, hey, we gotta let you guys. It was like after I toured, and the bass player called me. He's like, hey, we're not going to pay your commissions on this tour. And I'm like, okay, well,
fuck.
That's what I guess we're done. And I got it. I wasn't mad. I just felt like that was the right choice for them. But it was a great time, and it was fun managing bands and working.
Then you went back out. You went back out rival schools too.
I did, yeah.
Australia,
I did. That was fun. Well,
Soundwave.
Soundwave.
That was a crazy tour. I've done that. Have you ever done Soundwave in Australia?
No, we did another one. That's like a touring festival.
Yeah, Soundwave was huge.
AJ Mata, that was his name. He's a wild man.
Yeah, man.
I don't. But that was so fun. That's when me and Skiba really started hanging out too. Like, because Alkaline Trio was on that, and we really like hit it off.
Connected on
we knew each other, but that was we went skydiving on his birthday kind of thing. And
shout out to Skeebs, man.
The best. It's the best. But it was so. I don't know how they made money on that tour. I guess they didn't because it went away. But
was there crazy sponsors on it or something?
I don't know. But it was like the headliners were like 9 Inch Nails and Jane's Addiction.
Wow, crazy.
And then rival schools played, and it was rad because it's 5 cities, and they would just fly you.
Yeah.
You know, you did Perth, which you never get to go to Perth.
Yeah.
It used to be like Big Day Out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. And then the merch company you had too. You did Death Row merch, huh?
Yeah. So kind of what happened.
Crazy.
This is funny. So then what I'm kind of in. You know, trying to manage. I'm trying to figure my shit out. I was always kind of coming back to merchandise because basically when I was a kid, like we were screen printing uniform choice shirts in Courtney's backyard. You know, like those guys started a business doing that.
Yeah.
And so I knew screen printing, and always, you know, I knew how to, you know, I knew merch, and that's kind of what I did with Victory. So the merchandise company was a new merch.com kind of went away. And then Rob Dubard formed a merchandise company called the Merchandise Company, which is so funny.
But what's the big true story? The Dubar brothers are part of that huge company.
Affliction?
Yes.
Oh, you told me that.
So this is how this
is that
works.
true?
This will tell you about Court Dubar.
That's huge.
He's the middle brother. So Courtney Dubar was the guy who screened shirts. He's the guy who started screening shirts at 13. All the uniform choice shirts you saw, the blast shirts, always Courtney.
So cool.
He would take the screens. Genius. His girlfriend worked at a tanning salon. He would take the films and burn the screens at the tanning salon using the tanning bed. That's how he would do it.
No way.
Isn't that sick?
DIY shit.
So sick. This also tells you about him. When I told you about that fun center job, the arcade center job, well, he worked there too. Most of the dudes who worked there, sloth crew guys, if you ask their tokens, they hand you like $30 worth of tokens. Courtney would go, here's $20 worth of tokens. Go sell them. And when you bring back $20 for the tokens, I'll give you $20 for free. Even though he's like a friend. It's like, fuck. All right, Courtney. Fair enough. So he's always that dude.
Wow.
He just kept screen printing. So he started a company called Massive Prints, which is one of the biggest screen printing companies in the world. And through that, acquired Affliction and No Fear and like all this stuff. So he's the owner of Affliction.
Crazy.
Which was really funny because, like, you know, it's Affliction.
It's a different world, than you guys come from. Yeah,
It's a different world.
Different
it's
world.
so
yeah.
big, dude.
It's huge.
I didn't
dude.
realize.
Is it still
that.
around or no?
I think it is, but it's not the same.
Affliction?
Well, there's like throwback stuff people wear.
it's still
it's in the
around.
middle of the country for sure.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
like, you know, my partner, Christina Zada, she works for Golden Voice, does all their merch. She was showing me some designs the other night, and that stuff's starting to come back around in style, like the
I
nailhead
see it.
hits and stuff. I'm like, it's coming back.
Kids are wearing all that
I've
stuff
seen
again.
young kids rocking
It's a
that.
thing. That's
Yeah.
what's happening in fashion again, I guess.
Tap out, Affliction,
Yeah.
all that stuff was.
But
so,
it was great because the other guy who worked there was Patrick Mahoney, and Pat's from
Yep.
Alloy, and he was actually the last guitar player of Uniform Choice, and he's an East Coast hardcore guy. And so he was actually the merch guy, and Rob was kind of the funding of it, and also had a company called Cardboard Robot, which was like,
I remember that.
that was his clothing company. But it was great because, you know, they brought in some pro merch guys, and we had the Death Row license, and we had like NWA because we worked with Tamira, I think, or Tamika, like Eazy-E's widow. She was part of like thing. But that's an interesting world, that hip hop world,
Sure.
especially that, because you kind of realize the Death Row license, it's through Suge, you know, it's obviously through Suge Knight and those people, and like you're working in that space and trying to be respectful to Dr. Dre, because you know Dr. Dre doesn't want his shirts out there. He's not making any money on it. Like, it is dicey. And
I
I
dealing
learned.
with Suge back then.
I was dealing with his attorney.
Okay.
And then we were dealing with like,
That's
but it
crazy.
crushed, dude. Like that NWA Most Dangerous Group, like that was us. Like that was so. And we also then started working with Tupac's estate. So I would talk to his mom sometimes.
Wow.
We did Machiavelli merch.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was really eye opening. But I felt like oh shit, like this is actually a real business that I'm kind of decent at, and I understand it, and I can talk to the artists and start, you know, doing, you know, I can do work that's kind of A&R like, but it's not going to be records. It's going to be merch.
Of course, you're doing Coachella merch at that point.
Dude, we were first because Bill Fold, and it's so funny because, like I said, my partner, she runs Coachella's merch now, and I was telling Bill Fold this the other day. I was like, when we were doing it, we were stoked to get like, I mean, the merch is like, now it's so fashion for it's all cut and sew. Like she's developing that merch like 6-8 months out before the festival. Like we were like 2 weeks out, like we're running around our truck. We gotta print this. We have Massive Prints printing everything. We gotta print all this shit.
They sell so much merch now.
Do they crush compared to us? But we did that for a while, and then we were always part of that Coachella thing, which is always fun. Like I've been to every single Coachella. Did you know that since the first one?
Yeah, you have.
Wow.
OG,
Isn't that crazy?
That's
I went
cool.
to my first one like 2 years ago to go see Tyler.
It was
something.
only 2 years ago?
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
No, I went to see No Doubt Showback. That was one I went to.
That's much longer than 2 years.
No, I think it was 2 years.
Yeah. Then I went and saw Lady Gaga.
That's when I went. I never gone. And I
Yeah,
went
but
with
this
you,
year,
and
I
I was
want to
just
go.
like,
This year looks sick too. Looks great, man.
That
Dude,
was
it's gonna
a
I love
mission.
Bieber. I need to see Bieber, man.
Bieber's
Sorry.
gonna
That was
crush it.
crazy. I'd never
Dude.
seen anything like that, man. That was a
It's so
crazy
wild.
festival.
You down for this year?
I'm down.
And,
man.
and to see it grow. Like when we went to the first
Bro.
year, it was like 30,000 people. Now it's 125,000 a
Yeah,
week.
you told me the origins. I started
It's
asking
wild.
people about it. I just couldn't believe it. Started off as almost like a grunge fest.
It started off like years ago. Pearl Jam had that fight with Ticketmaster.
That was
Yeah.
a big one.
And so then Golden Voice, which is Paul Tillett, genius. He was like, I found this Polo Grounds thing. We'll do a show there for you. And then he planted the seed.
Wow.
But they didn't make money for years.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like Rage, I think, was gracious enough to give back their money because they were such friends with Golden
What?
Voice to be like we
That's
can't
insane.
That's
because they
insane.
lost
Right.
money. So
Wow.
I don't
Damn.
quote me on that, but I think
That's pretty
something
cool,
that-
though.
But
Yeah.
and it was back then it's like the Wild West, dude. Like the backstage area was crazy.
Yes.
Like it just was a party. Like Rihanna's back there every year, and Katy Perry and David Hasselhoff's riding around. Like one year, David Hasselhoff loved Coachella. He was
in the Night Rider? No,
he was in the Night Rider car, dude, driving around backstage with Bill Fold. I'll send you a picture after this. I have a picture of it.
Oh my god!
With Bill Fold in the passenger seat, and we see Kit coming down the thing, and I'm like,
Fucking
whoa,
Kit.
and then pull up and it's drunk
so
David
real.
Hasselhoff, like freaking like
drunk ass David Hasselhoff.
yeah, just like,
driving
what's
Kit?
up, fellas?
That's incredible.
Driving this
dude.
kid around backstage, driving Kit. But it was a fun, dude. Like so many great stories. Like I won't bore you with them, but one of them that's really great is like Pink, right?
Yeah.
Here's how dope Pink is. Pink came one year, didn't know who she was. She's wearing sunglasses and a hat, and she was her boyfriend, probably her husband now. And we're all backstage, and she sits down and she starts doing beer bongs with everyone. And she's hanging out with guys playing football. She's playing football with everyone, talking. Or it's like no one asked her name is. She's like, oh, who's that? She was there for hours, hanging with us.
Wow.
You know. Later that day, I see the paparazzi like chasing someone through the VIP thing, and it's Pink. And she sees me and Rob Duvar, and because that's who I was with, and she's like, "Oh, my boys, what's up?" And we're like, "Holy shit, that was Pink that was hanging out with us for 2 hours." I had
That's
no
cool,
idea.
dude.
She was dope. You know,
I was normal ass
just
girl.
just a
Yeah,
normal,
that's
cool
cool.
person. Then and then I started doing her merch. So I was just like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You did Metal Blade Records too, merch?
Yeah, we
Really?
had a license with them, and we did a lot of that kind of stuff. We did kind of Metal Blades like retail program, which was cool because it kind of put us in that space. And then we started doing what's crazy about
Arcade
that.
Fire too,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, like these bands
Arcade
started.
Fire.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know John Matheson at all. John Matheson, yes, he's the next manager. He's a merch guy as a manager. He worked with Destroy Boys at one point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but
Big.
great dude. He had kind of come in and he brought in like Arcade Fire, Block Party, like the
crazy.
National
Damn.
when they just started. But like everything, like that place, there was a power struggle happening that I wasn't part of, and it just started getting it fell apart. It's like kind of like Planet of the Apes, right at the end. Like they had it, and then they had all these great bands and licenses that people would kill for because that path you're on with the Tupac estate puts you into hip hop for deep.
Yeah.
But they blew it up, and everyone got in a fight, and there was a falling out, and so then I bolted to a different merch company, which was sick.
Brothers Merchandise,
Brothers Merchandise.
which is like Britney Spears, Bon Jovi, Slayer, Vince Neil, Blondie, Iron
yeah.
Maiden, Motorhead, Pink, Wu-Tang Clan. That's a sick roster, dude.
And a
So,
lot
I mean, explain how does this work? Like at a company like that. So they acquire the licensing to do certain shirts, like certain designs,
you-
like 3 designs or 4
You're in
designs.
Sepultura, dude. You don't know how your merch works?
I'm asking for the people who might be curious who are
Well,
listening.
it just
you know.
depends. It's obviously changed quite a bit because now things are becoming more bands can do it on their own without having to use a merchandise company like that. But how it usually works is if you're a band like Bon Jovi or Britney Spears or one of these bands, you make a deal with the merchandise company. There's an advance against your royalties. You negotiate a rate, and then the merchandise company runs your merch, pays out your advance, and then you start earning back your royalties once they advance. And most of the time, you just start re-upping your advance. And the advances can be like, $5 to $20 million depending on the band. You know what I mean? So like, but with that Brothers Merchandise Company, like that was my real first taste into like major merch. And what's funny about that company is like the guy who got me the job was that dude Brad Anderson, who was Quicksand's tour manager.
Okay.
Though I talked to you about, who knew the McGee's. That's why they
Right.
got all this metal stuff. And he knew I was doing merch, and he needed a guy to help him with like the touring side of it. So the touring merchandise is like online. There's a touring component, and then there's retail, right?
Right.
Touring's kind of where the most money's made, and it's also like where the most energy's put in usually because your
Right.
touring merch is touring merch.
Yeah.
But it was great. And then how they got these bands was there was a company in the UK called Global Merchandising, which is still around today, and they didn't have a North American operation, so they gave us all the touring bands.
That's
and they
awesome.
had Slayer and Motorhead.
Damn.
We had Bon Jovi because one of the owners of Brothers was this guy Joseph Bon Jovi, who's John's cousin. So he
random, dude.
and then they knew
Larry
Brit-
Bon Jovi.
yeah. Well, dude, this is a trip. This
Bobby
is this
John.
is what the funnest part about that job, and I really like working there. But like, they had when we got Britney Spears, so Britney was she'd kind of gone through that crisis little thing, and so there was talk she was going to do this
Circus tour, right?
circus tour,
Yeah.
and so all of a sudden her dad Jamie and like their team started showing up at our work and talking. We met them all, and then they were like, "Hey, we're going to do Britney's merch. We got to hire Britney's uncle Austin,
Oh boy.
who just got out of jail.
Oh, God.
Oh, this-
Here we go.
He's going to work.
Britney saga
He's going to
continues,
work in the
man.
warehouse." And we're like, "Okay."
What?
Austin was a great guy, and I hope he's still around. But it gave me a real insight to how that family kind of, it's like that poor person is the breadwinner for
course.
everybody,
Of
Yeah.
course,
and
dude.
extended family
So
and cousins,
Yeah.
and it was really interesting on that tour. Was I don't know if she was in the best shape to be on a tour. I'm not talking about drug use. I'm just talking mental health wise,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that
Was this shaved head, Brittany?
Well, she'd grown her hair back out,
okay.
and she was to her. She's very sweet, but she was also going in the process of moving. She'd gotten divorced from Kevin Federline,
Yeah.
and so we had part of our warehouse. We had built a cage, so we had all her possessions in our warehouse, including her wedding dress, which I would see her wedding dress in this glass case, and I'm like, oh, dude, if we just broke into this cage, took that wedding dress, and sold it on eBay, we would quit this job. We would be caught. But I wasn't at Pizza Hut anymore. I'm just here doing my merch job, so we didn't do that.
Yeah,
But it was fascinating, and that tour
crazy.
was really interesting because it was such a big tour, and like I went to a lot of it. I was doing this. I have these posters. I'll show you if you ever come down to the Trust Warehouse that I have down in Orange County. But it was called Circus Tour, so I had my friend Gavin Oglesby, who's a great artist from Triggerman and stuff. He designed these old school 1920s circus looking posters.
that's
Britney
cool.
Spears, like nice being thrown at her. One, she's like, they're great. And the idea is we'd have these cool high-end poster collections that everyone does now, but no one was doing at the time. And she was supposed to sign them. And then it gets dicey because you're like, oh my God. So then I was chasing her around the country
To get her to sign a cup or whatever.
Yeah, and then they were like, buy an autograph machine. And I'm like, okay. And then the autograph machine, like
what is that?
it's like a thing that like you just mimics her autograph, but it would just tear up the posters. It's really only meant for like copies, like paper, right? So that wasn't working. And then it fell apart because one day I just was like, her dad was like, hey, Brittany, just here to see about the posters. I don't hear any more about these goddamn posters. Get them out of my face. And I'm like,
As she said?
yeah.
Wow.
She was sweet. Dude, she's
Is that
just,
part of the deal, though?
I think she's just, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to medically diagnose her, but she's, I guess she's bipolar. She's depression.
It's
She's
sad, man.
She's a sweet person.
What a talented human, too, man.
And also one of those people who's been in it since she was a child,
Through it,
which is
dude.
really like hard to be a start, like 8 and 9.
Yeah.
But that tour was huge and it was a lot of fun.
Is that the last tour she did, maybe?
She's done tours since then, but that
Okay.
tour, that tour was one of those tours where I'm glad she made it through. Like I thought like she was firing a lot of assistants and she was having trouble, like, but I just felt for her, dude. Like who are her people?
Yeah.
Like, who's got her back?
Right.
I'm not saying her dad didn't have her back. Cause I always felt he was doing the right thing. Cause he was very like, he seemed like I don't know him. He like seemed like he cared. He got her out of like she was in trouble and then they took the conservatorship and I was like, dude, like they're looking out for her.
I remember that.
So it's just tough. Like we don't know, like people are, celebrities are just like us,
Humans, dude.
They're just humans, dude.
How many
Like,
times did you show up with those posters and get denied, you think?
half a dozen probably
Right.
before
So
they
carried them out, flew out with them, everything, waited all night.
They were on the tour. They were on the merch truck. and
Or
it was
waited
fun.
all night to
But,
get signed.
yeah, and then what happened was they told me to destroy them all, but I destroyed them all. But Gavin took a set of 3 and I took a set of 3, and they're in my
Destroy
warehouse.
them all.
Oh my God.
And she,
You got paid for them.
but dude, like that was, I had Blondie. That was another one who's a hero of ours and hero of mine.
Oh, man.
And I could not make her happy on that tour. Like she just hated all the merch, and I just was soul crushing. It was soul crushing, dude.
There's a different side people don't hear about those.
Like
Crazy.
just like, and then Joan Jett we had her. I became friends
Wow.
with. This is funny on that Aquabat stuff. One of the things we did that was really fun is Nike had a thing called it was like a music jogathon,
Yeah.
and it was 6 cities around the U.S. and it was like a 5K. And every K there was a band playing. It was like Z-Trip and the Donnas and the Aquabats, and then Joan Jett was like the headliner. And so like me and Joe, we became really good friends with Joan Jett on that.
That's
tour.
amazing.
And she's sick,
a
dude.
legend.
Like
You
you
got
ever?
McDermott on drums now from Bouncing Souls.
Oh, so, dude, if you should try to get
That's
her.
the drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
OG vegan too.
she's
man.
legit. Like
Yeah,
we
she
broke
is.
down with her. You love this. Her manager, which is that guy Kenny Laguna, who's a G. He comes outside one day. He goes, "Do you want to have breakfast with Joan?" And we're like, "It was me and Ricky from the Alcabas." Like, yeah. And we sit down, we start talking, and within 30 seconds, we're talking about Fugazi.
Wow.
And
Nice.
she's deep cuts. Like, she's no joke.
That's amazing.
So-
dude.
That's sick.
So back at Brothers, like working with all those people was fun and stuff. And the metal shit was fun. Like Motorhead, you'll love this program. Like, so with Motorhead, I had this idea, like Lemmy was drinking like a 750 milliliter bottle of Jack a night. I go, what if we have him sign every bottle and we'll sell it online
Dude.
as a thing? Like, this is the bottle Lemmy drank in Amsterdam on this day. We tried it and they started breaking, but like,
Really?
yeah.
But they were being sold.
Because there
though?
was a big memorabilia push around Bon Jovi that they did where they would sign. They would do this shit, dude. It was so funny. He would play like, what's the hit? The Cowboy song, whatever that song is.
Yeah.
Like, he would play that on guitar.
Dead or alive.
So yeah, sign it, hand it off to the guitar tech, and it would be for auction that night
Oh,
with a
that's
That's the way to
COA.
do it.
Damn.
Like it's next level.
That's
Next, like going for $10,000.
Dude, there's some fanatical fans, man, that are just like impressive. Like Andreas, my guitarist, had his own signature guitar. And it was like he would sign it at the show, and he's like, "Oh, let's see if somebody. Oh, it's sold."
That's
let
incredible.
me put it out there.
People
It's like,
love it.
yeah, there's just like a dude's like, I've been a fan a long time. I came from London, or I'm from here. I'm rich now, and I have the money to buy
That's
shit.
incredible,
Like
man.
that one dude. Like every
Yeah.
night, it was like, oh,
It's a
sold.
huge thing.
Like the one dude who bought that Wu-Tang record.
yeah.
Oh, dude, the guy,
Oh,
Martin
yeah,
Strelix, or whatever his name is, the
yeah.
dude, like, he had a record label.
Did that record ever come out?
He had to give it away.
He had to give it away.
He had to sell it, or he had to get rid of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to have it.
Shady dude.
But that was a great job, and that really, at that point, then I was like doing merchandising at professional level.
The rocker, what's it called? The Rocker Group? What's it called?
Yeah. So what happens with the Brothers Group is that gets sold to band merch, which the merch company says, whatever, it's boring. But like, and then I go to this place called the Rocker Group, which was a theatrical merch company. And so like, that's where I put the rollerblading thing on my resumes. That's where I started talking loud about it. No, but they were getting into music merch, and they what they had, which was a big advantage, is they had their own print shop in San Fernando. They're New York based. They also had the Wicked merch rights in perpetuity. Like they were original producers, so they had this. They had a lock on Broadway merch, and we had kind of known that being on the music side because you could never get Broadway merch.
Yeah.
Because they had it, and then they were getting the music space, and I was like, oh, I should do that. And this kid Jeff Delson, whose dad actually started band merch, and he was brothers in Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
So Jeff was a merch guy. He was over there. And I came over. I was like one of the third hires, and it was really fun because it was like when you have like a clean slate, it's you can do no wrong for about 2.5 years.
Right.
And then things are, but it was like it was just great because they had a budget, and I was really so deep into music again, like going to shows almost not Mike Gitter where I'm going every night, but like going like
Shout out to Gitter.
yeah. Shout out to you, Gitter.
So you had Linkin Park, Pink, Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Yeah, Pink came back. Beyonce, the Lemonade tour. That's
Huge,
sick.
dude.
And
You
then
were out on that?
yeah, part of it. Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was like, and then the designer of all that was this girl, Alyssa Tobias, who's a fantastic creative director. She's now at Bravado Universal. Like,
Bravo's huge.
shout out to you, Alyssa, because you're a talent. She created all that shit. The Lemonade, she was just so on top of it, and she was an asset. So I was going out getting deals just based on her creativity. Like, check out what this artist can do for you, you know. And it just started snowballing. I was on a really good streak with those people, man. I had a blast.
You signed Pop Roach, Yo Gabba, Phantom Graham, Run the Jewels,
Run
The
the Jewels.
Offspring,
Wow.
Leon Bridges.
I got Leon Bridges early. I got Run the Jewels early.
Nice.
Love them, dude.
Run the Jewels is so great because it's a hardcore connection that got it, dude.
Which is
Zach. It's not Zach.
Because he sang on their shit.
He is
okay.
Zach, but it is Zach to an extent. It's also because me and Zach hadn't talked in about 10 years at that point. But like their manager, it's two dudes, Killer Mike and LP. LP's manager is a guy named Amici, and he's been with him since Death Child. I mean, he's been his guy. Amici would come to the meetings, and we were having a meeting with all the suits, and they were going around to Live Nation, all the big companies, right? And so it was all the people in my company and Amici. I don't think Jamie was there, but like, and we're talking, and I'm sitting in Amici, and we knew each other a little bit after kind of courting him, and I'm like, I start talking about like ethics and like I come from this hardcore space of like where Discord, where it's really important to be artist friendly and like just all the things I believe that hardcore's taught me, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh shit!" He's like, "You ever heard of a band called Negative Approach?"
Oh my god.
And I'm like, "Whoa!" Like, what?
Deep cut.
Negative Approach. He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Michigan." Like, and he was, and he knew him, and he knew hardcore.
Love that.
And then
dude.
we just started talking about hardcore. And when it was over, like the people in my company were like, I don't know if we got the deal. I go, oh, we got the deal, dude. Are you kidding me? Being that you just talked about Negative Approach, I guarantee you there's no one.
That's an instant connection to
Yes,
hardcore.
because you
though. It's
immediately
beautiful,
know the
dude.
frequency you're on with people. You just know it. You're like,
100%,
oh, dude, we're cool. Like, you know these bands like that we get along. We are like-minded individuals in at least
100%,
some
dude.
ways. And
For
so,
sure.
and that was really fun.
So he's the manager still?
He's still their manager, yeah.
Wow.
He's still, and I see him. We're great friends. I just saw him. He's actually working with Fela Kuti. It's a state now, so
That's
he's doing
cool.
all this cool shit with Fela Kuti.
Shout out to Killer Mike. That's my dude.
He's the best.
Yeah, man. Went to the
and-
show Wu-Tang a couple months ago.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember.
Great, dude. Right? I'm saying we did. Me and you went.
Yeah.
Dude. Me and Derek went. It was great, dude.
Yeah, I was there.
They killed it though.
Of course. man.
Kill it. dude.
Wu-Tang's a funny one too, because I've had Wu-Tang at a couple of companies. They don't pay their bills, which doesn't matter.
Wow.
It's like, so even at our Rocket group, they were coming, they pitched and you can get signed them, they're not going to pay their bills. I promise you that.
I remember Stan saying they did all those collabs with Wu-Tang and they forgot one person to sign. Then when it came out, they got a cease and desist because they missed one person.
They're the best, dude.
The whole team, managers,
you don't want
everything.
them to, all those hip hop guys, like, you don't want them to, like, they shouldn't pay their bills. It's Wu-Tang Clan. They're operating at a different level.
Ain't nothing to fuck with, man. What the
No,
fuck
dude,
with
they're
bills?
fucking legend. They're paying some $60,000 merch, but it's insane. It's insane ask. It's insane ask.
How long between this and then going into Trust? Like, what is that that like?
Well, it started kind of happening concurrently at a Rocket Group. So the Rocket Group, I was really in it. And Matt Pincus and I have known each other since he was in Judge. I met
the
Matt.
Pincus, man.
Mhm.
Fuck, the best.
Gee.
The best.
Gee.
Your episode with him is really good, man.
Thank you.
I loved it. And I thought I knew everything about him. Well, we met at Judge because he was in Judge in '89. He came out to California with Judge. And then when I was managing bands with Ted, one of the bands, In a Way, was on Some Records, which Pincus and Pincus and Sammy and Walter had. And so Matt and I connected then, and then we always stayed in touch and like we're friendly. And would sometimes kind of bounce ideas off each other, just professional shit. And then I was really stoked on his songs. He was just like crushing it. And the time he started songs, I was also chasing bands. So like he signed Lord's Publishing. I was chasing Lord around, like trying to sign her merch. So like there was some cross pollination there. At some point he came to me where he was doing songs and was like, hey, I want to do this nonprofit called Know Your Rights. And what that's going to be is streaming's kind of really blowing up, obviously. And hardcore is not buttoned up. And at the time, the Cro-Mags weren't even on Spotify.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there was, records were missing. And he's like, we should at least get these guys publishing in order. We'll piggyback them on the songs machine. Like you just kind of be A&R and go talk to bands. And like, I started doing it. It was hard. You know how bands are, dude. Like, it's like one of those things you were just saying with the Wu-Tang Clan. Like you get 4 guys to sign off on something. You're chasing the 5th guy and you can't submit the paperwork. And like guys aren't signed up to ASCAP. It's a real process, or BMI, wherever they are. But we were working on it and we were having conversations, and somewhere in there, what happened with the Rocket Group, it's so funny, like, is they were going to get bought by Sony. And so at some point they laid me off. They were going to lay me off. And so I didn't see that coming. And when it did, I immediately started working on the side with like Sammy Hagar and some people like that I knew.
Sammy Hagar?
Yeah, because merch world.
Throw his name out there.
Right.
Well, it's fine, but like
can't try 55.
Dude, Sammy's a
Yo, he looks amazing. By the way,
and he's still
and he's a fucking a good
he's
dude.
like 70.
He's a
Yeah.
really
Is he
good
like
dude.
70s?
I love
He's
his
like
interviews,
almost
man.
80,
I saw him with
dude.
Metallica do this thing last year, like an acoustic thing. He came out and murdered it,
kills
dude.
it, man.
Well, and this will tell you about Sammy Hagar as a person is like, we're doing merch, and Sammy Hagar, this kind of all leads to, whereas we're talking about trust, this leads to the pandemic, right? So Matt and I have been having these conversations about hardcore and rights and what is going to happen in streaming and what's digital going to do. At the same time, like I'm doing merch to pay my bills when I can. To tell you about Sammy Hagar is when the pandemic hit, he had a South American tour, full South American tour. And we had done the thing where you license out the merch rights down there to some people, and they had made the merch. And so they probably made like $35,000 in US dollars of merch down there, and they were making out of Brazil, I think, or maybe Argentina.
Right.
And the pandemic happened. And Sammy goes, and they were panicked. Those dudes were panicked. So they were like, we reached out to Sammy and we said, hey, dude, like,
this is Sammy Hagar, not Sammy Siegel.
Yeah. No, not Sammy Siegler. So I go, hey, these guys are out $35,000, like, and without a B, he's like, oh, I'll cover it. Don't even stop. Like,
right.
And immediately wired money to make sure anyone who on that tour, not just the merchant, anyone who would put money into that tour got paid. That's
amazing.
And that's a real person, dude. Like, I don't care.
100%.
We can go down the hardcore list and find like 90% of the people are not that cool.
I agree.
Ethical. But what's happening in those conversations is like my company's getting ready to sell, and I was going to be out, and I was getting a little long in the tooth for that merch thing. And like, I'm coming from a rock world. So like merch has completely gone over to hip hop and R&B. Right. And so I was behind that curve because my shit was all kind of rock based and a little panicked, but I had have money saved, and I was doing my shit with Sammy. And then Pincus started talking about Trust, which became Trust Records, the concept of like, we should maybe get together and see if we can do some records. Like the problem the problem we're seeing with rights isn't only just going to be that the artists aren't published, they're not buttoned to publishing. It's going to be also on the label side. If the masters aren't available, like how are you going to collect money? And nothing's being that. Like I said, at the time, Cro-Mags was always the kind of the holy grail on it, because they're like, that's Age of Coral's not on Spotify. Like, and we all know that there's a dispute and what's going on, who has the rights, and what's happening. Records,
right? Yeah.
And even with the guys in the band, so we're like, this is going to be a mess. And Matt's like, well, why don't you go why don't we try to do something? Like, you go kind of be A&R, biz dev, you run it or so, and I'll put some money into it, and we'll see what we can do. And it took a second, because, like at first the idea was we were going to ask for donations of masters as like a trust. Like, we're going to collect everyone's stuff and the goodness of the community.
I see.
And then no one wants to do that on the other side, because they're like, hey, this is my life's work. Fair enough. Like, and the first people we talked to was Sean Stern was one of the first people I talked to, and Sean Mark at the time too. Like, because I love BYO, obviously. We mentioned half the bands on that label on this. And I knew that they were kind of dormant, and that might be a good get. So we started having those conversations, and we weren't really going anywhere. Sean's a little, Sean's Sean. And then somewhere in there, I got called into like a merch meeting with the Circle Jerks. We're getting back together. Like, so Keith, no one knew this because they'd been estranged, but I got called into like a call, and they were like, hey, like, do you want to help us with the merch? Because they knew I was a merch dude with punk roots. I'm like, yeah. And then we started having a conversation about, well, they got some of their masters back. Oh, Circle Jerks are getting back together, and it's going to be Group Sec's 40th anniversary in 2020. And I'm probably called Matt immediately on my way home from that thing. I was like, dude, we might get the Circle Jerks. Holy shit. Like, we might have a chance to get the Circle Jerks. Like, to start our label with the Circle Jerks, like,
crazy, dude.
Crazy. And so that was it. Like, and then I didn't know Keith Morse that well. Like, I knew him. Obviously, he's living in LA. For more than 2 seconds, you'll run into him, especially on the east side, where I'm at. But he's the best. And we started having a talk about this, and he was, they're shopping their rights to Epitaph and all the stuff you would shop your rights to, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Trust is a different animal. Trust Records is a preservation type thing. And our vibe is, we're going to partner with you, right? There's an ownership we're taking in this too. Like, it's not just a licensing deal. This doesn't expire. This is us working together on your property or your art to do the best job we can for you, but we're going to have some skin in the game too, to do this.
Sure.
And Keith got it, dude. And we were like, and then Sean came pretty quickly after with BYO, but we were off and running. And then that Group Sex was so like, we were a little bit scrambled, because I'm from the merch space. So the record business is quite a bit different, especially in the accounting side. And we reached out to Steve Reddy at Equal Vision to kind of help us get it off the ground. And Steve, is just the best, and he gets it immediately. So that's how it launched, dude. And then after that, I was like, since that moment where we had that spark, I was like, how do I exit from doing merch for the rest of my life? There's going to come a point where I'm going to be able to make enough money doing this, so I'll be okay. And like, we can do it. And that
was such a great release. I love like the remake of Wild on the Streets. You made a video for it with the Tiba and all the old school pro skaters skating through LA.
It's sick.
That was fantastic. And then the thing you guys do, it's called 1, 2, me and you did with Kate Moss from Scow and Keith Morris. That was so cool too. The interviews you guys are doing.
Yeah, a lot of that Sam Sigler, like this is kind of where this just, and this is hardcore, and this is the fam. This is like why we're having this talk, and like it became a thing where like, oh shit, we can work with our friends too. And Sammy is like a really great. He moved out to California to take a job at an ad company. So he has ad marketing experience. And you guys know him. He's like, his brain is always working. He's
a businessman, man.
His brain is always working in a marketing hustle
for sure
thing.
Respect the hustle, man.
And it's also, he's a drummer. So he's trying to he's trying to get his name out there. So he came aboard to help with the marketing. This guy, Mike Nucero, who's our creative director, this street artist kind of dude, Sam knows. He came on, he's rad. And then we start working as a collective to build this. And like the 1, 2, me, you thing, like that was Sam's idea from the start, was like, and I want to do more of them. Like we've done a couple, cool. but I just love them. Like I think they're so cool.
It's really cool.
And it's a way to kind of, when we're doing these kind of records, it's, you got to try to tell stories to people. So they, we live in this social media world now, and everything's like instant freaking, has to be quick and has to be fast, and you have to like, content has to be, exciting. So no matter what you do, you're always aware of that, which is not really my strong suit, but that's
Yeah.
where Sam excels.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my One Too Me You came as a way to keep telling stories and stuff. And
That's great.
it was great meeting. Like, I love Scal and I love Kat, dude. Like
Same.
that's a blessing of doing this too, and also being involved in music. I mean, you guys are both musicians too. Like, you just seeing the young bands and being part of the scene and seeing like, oh shit, like now we're these dudes. We're like the you know, the older dudes, like, you know, they were at the shows.
The hardcore historians.
But there's respect. There's like
Totally.
you're looking down, like just as I think some of like the old heads looked at us, not down at us, but like,
Sure.
oh, these cool are kids, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's trust is fun, dude.
What came after Circle Jerks? 7 seconds?
Yeah, so what happened was we finally made that deal with the Stearns. We bought BYO, or we partnered with them on BYO.
It's amazing.
And 7 Seconds is one of my favorite bands of all time. And Kevin is a lifesaver of mine. My story I told you about junior high, like it
Yeah.
wasn't just Minor Threat, it was 7 Seconds. And 7 Seconds, I never saw Minor Threat, but 7 Seconds was almost like a Southern California band.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
saw them so many times. More, you know, Uniform Choice probably the most out of those
Yeah.
type of bands, but 7 Seconds. And I loved them. And Kevin, you know, they weren't active, and there was no kind of an idea of them becoming active because Troy Mowat, their drummers, you know, he's been their drummer and he has
Love Troy, dude.
shout out to Troy, dude.
So he's doing these cool whistles.
Yeah.
I love
And he has like a shoulder issues. He
Yeah.
can't drum, can't
That's
do
my
it.
boy. He's my
Can't
dude,
do it.
man.
And so we started doing that. And then somewhere in there, Keith asked Kevin to come down, and we brokered a dinner with him. And Keith asked Kevin if he would get 7 Seconds back together and tour with Circle Jerks. So then there became a thing, and that's how Sammy got in the
tour
band,
was
because
sick.
then I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe Lukey Luke would be a good drummer.
Yeah.
Right.
So I run it by Sammy. I go, hey man, what do you think about Lukey Luke? And like within 30 seconds, Sammy's like, no, I'm the drummer. 7 Seconds. And rightfully so. He's done a great job, and he drives that. He, like all the things he does, he helps drive that band. But that became the second one, and kind of the idea with 7 Seconds was because there's those 3 records on BYO. Like that was the thing. One of the things I really realized immediately. I was like, you know what? This is a trilogy. Let's tell the 7 Second story.
Yeah.
Of the crew through New Wind in an oral history thing. And we enlisted Mike Gitter to come in and quarterback it for us. And
Gitter's always in the mix. Shout out to Gitter again.
when it comes to stuff like that, he's got the Rolodex. And like,
He does.
and those I've been really proud of those records, like especially the 7 Seconds.
Bro,
ones.
the 7 Seconds is, I was so honored to have a quote on that. It's just
Yeah.
my favorite 7 Seconds record of all time. Life changing for me lyrically, everything. And yeah, it's cool. And then I know Ian was a part of some of the mixing on that.
Yeah, and that's been a real blessing in this too, is like, you know, I knew Ian Mackay a little bit, but I kind of reached out to him almost like, hey, this is what we're doing. I want you to, you're like
Did
an
you hit him on
elder.
the email?
I hit him on the email first and we got on a call.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, like you're part of the scene that we're about ready to really dive into. I want you
Yes.
to know what we're doing. And Ian was fucking awesome enough to just get it and become a real friend to us and be a real confidant.
Awesome, dude.
Nice.
And that happened with
greatest, dude.
the New Wind record you're talking about. Like, you know, because I have BYO, I had the reels, and half that record's recorded in here, half's recorded out here. And so Ian he asked if he could remix a song at like Donzi and Tara's at Inner Ear.
Of course.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then he did. He sent to Kevin, and then they kind of started talking about doing the whole record. And he was like, what do you think about me just doing the whole New Wind record and adding a couple songs like that were kind of on those tapes but didn't make the record,
Yeah.
and resequencing it. I want to resequence it. I'm like,
so
dude,
cool, dude.
you can do whatever you want, man. You're in Mackay. You crazy? Like,
That's so cool.
it's so cool. And he's just been, and you know, like, I don't know if you ever wrote letters to him as a kid. Did you
yeah,
ever?
bro. I still have my postcards from the 80s.
Same.
Bro.
So this is trip you out. Like,
yeah. And he still has them.
yes. And this is trip. So
I
when
love it.
we're working on it, like I mentioned, my mom she's a cancer patient, and my sister usually takes care of her. My sister was out of town, so I was staying down at my mom's house. And I'm sitting there, I'm going through some junk, and I find one of those postcards that he sent me.
Bro.
It's about, I'm talking about Embrace and like Egg
Yeah.
Hunt or something. So I take a screenshot of it. I send it to him. I go, check this out. I'm at my mom's house like this. The next day he goes, I see your postcard. I'll raise you your letter. So he sends me back the original letter I wrote him.
Wow.
And I'm the dude who also sent sets of lyrics that I'd written to him.
Oh, God, bro.
And my songs. And I'm sitting there in my mom's
Bro.
house like, dude, it was so
Incredible,
weird.
man.
It was, dude,
That's
it took me
insane.
like mentally into that space of being 14, 15 years old. Like I was there. Like
Yes.
it was, and I told him this, and I really mean it. Like that is a special human being, Ian Mackay,
100 trillion %.
because not only has he been a role model and a leader, and he's never wavered, he's never let us down, he's
Ever.
never let himself down, which is his
Ever.
barometer.
The realist.
Yeah. It's like no one asked that dude to take on this. Like, I mean, this is like a 22, 23-year-old man writing back everyone who writes them and collecting the correspondence and making sure to take the time, even if it took 2-3 months he's going to answer everybody personally. Like
email is everything.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And like, and we're lucky to have him, dude. Like,
Lucky to have him. And he pulled out a postcard when I was there and showed it to me from my brother that had sent him to him in the 80s. But because of Ian doing that and doing that to me as a kid, when H2O started and we had like a mailboxes, et cetera, in Manhattan, like I wrote back every single person that ever wrote me in my entire life. I had all their stuff in my garage somewhere, all the letters, everything. Like he inspired, it meant so much to me as a kid. He sent that to me that I had to do that too.
Yeah, you
know
pay
what
it
I'm
forward because
saying?
it's like you're doing that. It's what you're supposed to do if you're part of the hardcore scene and you really believe it. Well, it's not just about the music; it's about the community, and
Absolutely,
it's about the family. Like I'm telling a story about how hardcore became my family. Like the Sloth Crew dudes and you guys. Like it wasn't my real family. I mean, they're still my family, but I found love and friendship and brotherhood in that.
Absolutely.
And Ian's just been he's been a real ally to us and a good dude. And him doing that, I just remember this because you guys know how he rolls. I'm like, hey man, like, are we gonna be able to put you on a marketing sticker? He's like, what are you gonna say? I'm like, well, I don't know what to say, but like, this is a record that you've remixed, so I gotta say something.
Put your name on there, yeah.
And so he kind of wrote. He's like, I gotta say this. I'm
That's
like,
cool.
Okay,
nice.
and he was cool with it. And he's like, it's the truth. Like he didn't trip over. Like I was tripping over it more than he was. Right?
Is it still? Is it surreal at times? It is surreal for me to be friends with this person.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because a hero. Like he's my first real hero. Really, I mean,
but he's so humble and so nice and so honest and real that it's just like when you hang out with him, it's still like, oh yeah, he's just a person just like you.
But he's just like obviously an incredible artist and musician.
Yeah, dude.
Like at the highest level, dude. Like think about this. The dude's in Minor Threat and Fugazi.
And don't forget Embrace.
Dude's
bro.
my favorite.
Embrace my favorite.
Embrace
bro.
my favorite.
I know. Another it was a cute moment because you did the Q&A with him and Kevin Seconds, and Kevin's not really like a public speaker.
Yeah.
And Ian's so good at all that stuff and like keeping that conversation going. We all went to it, but just like watching like Derek and my friend Chappelle and Dan Smith all meet him for the first time, and like we've known him for years, and like waiting in line to meet him, and like just seeing Derek become like a big kid and like get his photo. It was so awesome. You know what I mean? Because he's such an important figure in our lives. You know what I mean?
And
no doubt.
It's important to him. I think like I've been to Discord several times.
Me too, bro.
Like I've seen how many people are calling him today. I see how many people have come to the house to want to like, dude, it's multiple times a day.
Wow.
Dude, when Travis texted me, he was going to go visit him, right? He's like, I'm going to go pull up. I said, dude, he's probably going to be there. I texted Amanda. I don't know why. Because Ian said to me, he's like, why don't you tell me? But Travis pulled up and I said, he's texting me. I said, knock on the door. He's going to answer. And he just got so nervous, but he wasn't there at that moment. So Trav took the picture by himself. But fast forward 4 days ago, Bane hits me up. Bane's like, yo, we're going to be there. And that's why I text Amanda. And she's like, just tell me to go by. Ian will be there. And then I hit up Ian on text. I should have emailed him. Anyway, they all went, but they were texting me like, okay, who's going to knock on the door first? And they're pushing each other up the porch to knock on the steps. And then I forget who knocks and he answered. And they spent like 2 hours with me. They got the tour.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Derek, dude. The tour
you
is
gotta
fantastic.
go, dude.
Never get sick of it. Never get sick of holding the straight edge lyrics in my fucking hand. Seeing all of it. Everything he has.
This with like international
it's
people
like
too.
It's like
everybody shows
everyone
up.
should
Yeah.
Dude, it's like our Mecca. Like
Mecca.
it's amazing that house, it still exists. He still owns it. Like
what else is standing besides Gilman Street? I would say
nothing.
In that world.
And that's so important. And then Lenny Friedman takes the photo of them on the steps. It's like it's one of the most iconic photos in human history.
Bro.
Like it's been. I was talking last time I saw him because I was just back in DC. I was like, there should be a coffee table book of the Discord photo of the step
every
photos.
person to take
and he
one
goes,
on there.
there'd be hundreds of thousands. There's so many.
Yeah, that would be sick.
You know,
when we redid that photo for one of our albums, it was just Chris Bridge 9 and my friend Chris, and then Ian was out there with us, and he was telling us like positioning ourselves exactly like the way it was. Just he was out there helping us with the photo. It was very surreal, man.
He knows how to tell you. He told me to get lower because some people came and visit. Like I got it. Ian. No, that's been a real blessing in my life. Like I didn't, like I said, like that's a hero.
Same.
We were friendly, but then we became really good friends.
Same with
like,
Kevin Seconds too.
Like we're just like I talk to Ian more than I talk to almost anybody, and that's just like it's fucking wild, dude. It's like, you know.
I just like text.
And now I can bust his balls. Now we're in the joking stage. Like his whole thing was, he thinks it's funny. He pulled this joke on Zach and I because we went there with Rage to Discord, or Zach anyway. Is that he thinks all the people in Orange County love the Addicts because the Addicts played a lot of shows in Orange County, and like it's freaking Clockwork Orange paint. So he thinks it's the funniest thing to be like the Addicts playing. Did you guys sign the Addicts? You have to trust. Like,
couple months ago, it was like the anniversary of the first Fugazi show, and I was there.
No way.
Yeah, I was here with Rusty and Todd Friend, and I texted him. I was like, whatever, this happened this many years ago. I was at the show, and he wrote back, yeah, me too. Shit like that, dude.
Well, dude, I was so excited to see Fugazi when they came. Like that was one of those things because we had missed Minor Threat. We obviously never saw Embrace. Did you?
I saw Embrace, yeah, once.
You saw Embrace?
And he remembers the show. It was like it was them and Beefeater in Baltimore.
I'm so
he knows exactly what
fucking
show it was.
jealous, dude.
And they were throwing flowers, and I think the singer Beefeater dived in the crowd naked, maybe.
Yeah.
And Brace is my shit. I'm not going to say I'm put Brace up there with my top Minor Threat, but like...
Oh, I do. It's up there, dude.
Bro.
I think the lyrics are so incredible. Like, I think it's such an interesting time in his life, too. And I've asked him, I've done a deep dive. I'm like, what are you listening to? Like, what is the influence? Because all of a sudden you're in Minor Threat, and Minor Threat kind of goes away. Baker goes Dag Nasty, which I always kind of figured, can I say would have been the new Minor Threat kind of vibe, maybe. Yeah. That vibe. And Ian goes Embrace, which is so... wild. It's
wild.
It's such an incredible album.
It's beginning of the first time hearing it it just stuck.
Yeah,
immediately it just made sense. It's fucking beautiful album.
It really.
I can still listen to it now and get goosebumps.
Absolutely.
Emotional.
Every song puts me right back in that time zone.
Yeah, and I think it's also our age because that was like I was in high school. Like I was going through stuff. Like I've punished that poor guy Yamakai on every song. What's this one mean? Who's the song about? What's the song about?
Yeah. Same. Just listen to some of the demos from it, all that stuff, dude.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
What a wild world. This is crazy. Fast forward this many years later.
Yeah, here we are. Like I'm saying, like that, telling my life story, and like that's the 15-year-old kid who's like, or 13-year-old kid finds out a step, and then you're like putting out 7 Seconds records and Circle Jerks records, and you're confiding in some of your heroes and trying to do even more.
And supportive of what you're doing and all that stuff.
Yeah, and everyone's been really supportive. Like you going down that list, like guys like Atiba Jefferson, like. They're such allies to us, and they're hardcore guys at heart, and they get it, and we've been blessed to have a lot of people work cheap, because there's a bigger mission, and obviously we're a record label, so when we're doing stuff, and as artists, like it's not free, it's a deductible line item, so so you're trying to be conscious of this because we're trying to sell records that are pretty cheap and affordable with rad deluxe packaging, and then what's the dance, what are people comfortable with, and most of our artists, because they're hardcore guys. They're not. They just want the best product out there, and they want to be the cheapest, and they want to be cool. And that's what's fun about Trust Records. It's like they're re-releases, so we get. I always tell these guys when we're doing a record, I go, it could take a couple of years for it to come out. We just want to do it right. Like there's no rush. There's no real.
Is it only re-releases?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It became that. It's expanding. It's I think we're going to do some really exciting stuff in 2026. But we've gone through some growing pains for sure as well. Like it's been, Matt's been an angel for us to like keep us going at times because launching that record label in the pandemic was rough in the sense that
crazy time.
All your analytics are skewed because you're selling way more records than you're going to sell when there's no pandemic, and the supplies are taking way too long. And I didn't understand the methodology and the rhythm of record releasing yet, so it's like almost like drop culture shit where like you're going to make most of your sales the first day and then it's going to peter out. Yeah. And so I'm used to like, these are classic records, right? So I'm like, oh, dude, they always got to be in print, but we were realizing, okay, we got to be a little bit more mindful on our stock and like I said, we do things on the cheap, but we try to do quality stuff, and we try to do rad shit outside the box. Like, we just put out that skate video.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that for sure. Yeah. We got DFL, Aggression, Hepcat, SNFU, Ink and Dagger, some releases, and also SSD Control. The kids will have their say. That's
a big one.
The thing with Al and Patrick of Have Heart, that was another great conversation.
Yeah. That's been real fun too because I knew Pat from Have Heart.
Love Pat, man.
That's an epic talk you guys had, man. I've listened to it all.
Love him.
He's sweet. This is where I was really stoked about being the Killing Flame. When Half Heart played the Belasco or whatever on the reunion, I took Christina. She'd never seen him. And I was like, you gotta see this band, it's gonna be sick. And Pat came up being all Pat. He's so sweet and humble. And he's like, points to me, goes, his band, the Killing Flame, that Another Breath record, that was one of my favorite records of all time. And I'm just like, see, I'm a professional musician.
I'd say.
But that was a big thing. Getting SSD is one of those bands, like that was a hard get, and it was a long journey to be there with that dude. And
yeah, I saw the Preservation Part 1 you did, and it was breaking down how bad the recordings were of that record,
the tapes,
and getting them back together to even re-release it.
Yeah, and that's part of the process too. Part of it's been great about this is like, we do restoration work, so if we can get our hands on the tape, which is the most important format to have, or whatever the original source is, we go do. People are like, oh, you got to bake them in an oven. You got to do this. Like, no, you got to take them to a restoration guy who's a pro. And our guy's Dan Johnson of Audio Archiving. I'm doing a plug for him.
No, I watched him in the
He's
doc.
a sponsor. He's a sponsor of the show.
It was crazy.
He does amazing work, but he's a hardcore guy from Baltimore. So he loves doing hardcore, but he also is restoring like jazz masters and like the war catalogs,
tape, all that shit,
all of it. And so, you know, all that, and he did the SSD thing. No one thought that he could restore them.
And who had those? Like how was
Al had them. Al had them in his mom's basement. The basement had a flood.
Oh my god!
And so he was, you know, Al, rest in peace. We lost him.
Yes.
We lost him in April 2025. But like anyone who knew him, like he was set in his ways, man. That's an old dog that you're not showing new tricks to. So he was like, that's like those 2 records SSD. That's why they're straight represses. Like they're not. They're a little bit tricked out with some Easter eggs because our artist who did those is Brian Ray Turcotte is a genius. Like he tricked him out to make them. So if you're into like records, there's little subtle things that are cool. But for the most part, they're straight represses because that's what Al's about. He's like, I don't want all the fanfare, and which is why we made a documentary about him just to like try to tell their story. But that Circle Jerks and SSD were to date have been the 2 biggest real gets for us. You know, Circle Jerks because they're Circle Jerks and they launched the record or the label and they're still going.
Yeah, they're
and
still
SSD
killing it, dude. He's turned 70, dude.
Yeah, he's amazing. And SSD because of who they were and what they represented, and because those were considered lost records, like that would never be released.
Yeah. Some of the other ones on my list obviously would be Verbal Assault, maybe Blast.
Yes.
Black Train Jack would be a sick one I wrote down.
That's a good one.
For me, I would like to get the rights to H2O Go record from 2001 on a major label. No, I'm serious. It's only been printed once on vinyl. We're like 20-something years out because there's some laws. I'm 30 years out on my first record, like getting the rights back to your records after a certain amount of years.
Yeah, you can. You got to file. It's called a 203. So 30. You can file it. You got the majority of the writers. People do that. That's how Circle Jerks got some of their masters back.
So after 30 years, you get
35. But you can do it. It's a little bit of a process. What's that record on? What major label?
MCA, and it went under. It went all that.
I
stuff.
think there's. Yeah, it's just.
I talked to Pincus about it briefly.
Yeah, the thing about it that's hard with any of this is everything takes money.
I know.
And you're trying to like then. If the major labels have money, they can play chicken with you a little bit.
Totally.
And that sucks.
Even if they don't care about the record at all, they don't know what the fuck it is.
Because our vibe is like, you know, we're rights holders in the sense. So like we have some different ideas for Trust 2026, whereas we're partnering with like masters like this. Like we were like, what if we just partner? We're partnering with like individual releases now, but what if we did partnerships with the artists themselves? Yeah. And then we could go make these type of deals. Because I could go to any record label and go like, hey, we want to license this on a friendly deal for Trust. It's only going to help your revenue stream. It can stay on MCA or Sony.
Good point.
And we'll just put it out on the physical and do all the balls or whistles.
But do a lot of the artists own even the publishing or the?
It just I think it's all different, right?
We own the publishing for the MCA record for sure.
But I think on something like that where it's like because no one wants to put out physical releases like that because there's only like hardcore and metal.
Yeah,
can really sell well.
I would love to re-release the Go record.
Yeah.
It's never been released before. People ask me every fucking day about it. It's been since 2000. It'll be 25 years next year.
We got to talk about. We got to figure that out.
I have the A&R guy's name still. My friend. I know the same lawyer that dealt with it.
I think there's a way to do, especially with an anniversary coming up. I think there's a way to do it.
I'd love to do that with you guys, man.
That'd be sick, dude.
Okay, let's get. I think Cro-Mags, Bad Brains.
I know. Yeah. Well,
let's talk about these two.
All right.
These two, I think, would be amazing.
They would be. I will say this: like
you've already started working on one of them.
The Cro-Mags is what I first started working on. The Cro-Mags has been it's still a 5-year path I've been on, and I've met with.
Because we're starting the Harley doc.
Yes, I was in the Harley doc, which is funny. I've becoming friends with him. He's a character, man. Like it's such a wild band. Like that band is so feral. You know, like it's just like you want them to all get on the same page, and it's just never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And now it's like, but I've met with them all. I've even sat with Paris. The only guy I haven't sat with is Mackie. But like, John and I are friends and Harley and I are friends. I like Paris. Like I try to stay in the role I play and what I'm trying to do with our scene and Trust is like, I'm trying to be very apolitical and very neutral with people. Like correct. I'm not here to gossip and talk shit. Like people on a sounding board trust me for like all these dudes. And I just kind of file it a little bit and like, okay, we just try to keep working. Cause at the end of the day, like the art's the most important thing.
Facts.
And it's just hard. Sometimes it's hard. And you guys know, you're talking about a lost record. Guys get frustrated. They get in the weeds and they get like, they can make decisions that are kind of knee jerky or they can say, and
or point fingers at the wrong person.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And that's kind of what's happened with those Cro-Mags records. Like Harley, Profile wasn't around, and then it kind of came back around again.
I didn't know that.
Because we were chasing. There's all these labels that gone defunct. Like we were chasing the Cro-Mags for years, and no one thought it was on Profile. Like because Profile had sold, but what we found out they sold the hip hop stuff only.
Gotcha.
And the hard,
and all that stuff.
yeah, and the Astor Place stuff, which is the Cro-Mags and
wow.
Leeway and early Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law's first record, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff kind of was dormant, but now it's active. And,
so where does that stuff live, you think? I remember you telling me maybe a warehouse somewhere.
Well, I think it's hard to tell. Like I think the master tapes are probably, if they're not gone, they're supposed to be. They might be in a warehouse.
Wow.
Dude,
imagine finding those. It's like dinosaur shit, dude.
If you could get the Age of Coral masters, dude.
Bro,
and the fucking
somebody has those.
There's
man.
somewhere,
obviously, yeah.
And like, so it just depends. And a lot of times, you don't know. Like some of these things have happened. I've heard this happen for the other defunct labels. Is like stuff's in a storage and then they don't pay the storage and stuff goes to wrap and it's trash.
God,
that happened with I think some stuff that was at Mystic Studios where it just like was in a dumpster. I was like, oh,
what about Best Wishes? Was that on?
That's on Profile too. That's a good. I like that record too. I would like to see. I like
trying to get all the masters or just Age of Coral?
Yeah, I'm trying to get near death experience. That's the one.
Whatever,
I'm
man. You might get that one first, and then
I
might
could
get
probably
another one.
Dude,
That was on Profiles
guys
right
like
now.
Cash Tolman from Rival Schools, their favorite record is Alpha Omega. He swears by it.
Everybody's got a record.
Swears by it.
There's some bangers on
People
there.
like
Age of
records that
Coral.
have. Yeah, I hear
It's
you.
Age of
man.
Coral. It's true. I mean, like, look, I would like to get. I think the Cro-Mags are a historically important band,
100%,
and I think
dude.
like that record, the way they talk about their lives and what's happening in New York at that time and who they are, and you're lucky to. You guys are lucky. It's like they're fucking powerful. I only saw them on the Motorhead tour, which I think Pete Hines is the drummer.
That's a legendary tour, though.
You know, and then I saw him obviously in Best Wish. I've seen him since in different incarnations, but like, what a fucking band!
I saw him in DC at the East Side. It was so scary. All the skins were there, bro.
Yeah.
I was like a fake skin with my token entry shirt on. You know what I mean? I was just in the crowd as a young kid. I'm like a sneaker skin.
Yeah, I
And
was
just
14.
bro. I was like, same.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so scary, dude.
Terrifying.
So hard. Damn.
So hard.
But that's been it's not done. Like I Harley and I talk about it. He doesn't believe it'll ever happen, but we'll see. We
Just stay positive.
The thing about
You keep the PMA, bro.
the thing
Stay
about us is
positive on it.
it's like it's a marathon, not a sprint for us. Like
Yeah.
I got all the time in the world. Like I'm doing like I'm not going anywhere, and Pink isn't going anywhere. Like we'll get there. Like
So when you acquire the masters, or you have this relationship with the artist, and you go to Spotify to get it done, so you're doing the deal with Spotify?
we're going through a digital distributor. We're not going direct.
I
Now
see.
you
Some
people
you can't, right.
Some people, I mean, you have to go through like a DistroKid
Right.
or a TuneCore to do it direct. You can't really go. I mean, you could probably go direct, but like, I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah.
Because like it's all that streaming shit's such fucking garbage in the sense of the royalty streams.
But that's
rough,
what I was
dude.
thinking.
Like so,
of,
it's like
yeah.
you're just like, so what are you gonna do? Go make individual deals and then like still collect? It's better just have a service, do it, and take a little commission.
Damn. So.
But I think I will say this, dude. I think that there's the good thing about our kind of music and stuff we're championing is there's still a real live purpose to it, you know?
Sure.
And there's still a physical component to it,
Sure.
and there's still a hardcore fan base to it that's loyal to it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
that's not every. Like you look at me, like I was doing
People
this.
want physical things too now too.
Yeah.
They love
It's
that.
so funny. Like my Christina, my girlfriend, I mentioned a couple times. Like we were on a road trip. She's a little younger than me, and we were going we were playing like songs
How
from
little
like
younger?
a little bit.
Damn, dude. All in his business? Like, what is
So-
business
so-
outside
Oh, I know
of-
because
Just-
this kid.
I
know
know
where
she's
you
in
go
her
with this.
30s,
He's
dude.
going with the music
No,
though.
dude. No, we were talking and we were
Yeah.
playing, and I was like, let's listen to like songs from like when we graduated.
Sorry,
and I was
Joe.
no, it's fine. She doesn't care. I was going, and so I started looking at songs in 1988 that I was listening that were on
Yeah.
these are the top 100 songs in 1988.
Yeah.
You would know maybe 3 or 4 of them. Like all of them are irrelevant. Like they're like fucking like like later day Eric Clapton songs, or like some dude like the dude from like Dire Straits solo. Like
Yeah,
they're-
okay.
it's major label shit that they were pushing. Like all the stuff that we still talk about, not on the top 100, and it's still
Yeah.
relevant today, dude.
Yeah,
and
that's a
that's
great
that
point.
thing about our music. It's like
Yeah.
it might not be the most popular music, but it's going to be lasting forever because it's real shit.
100%.
You know, it's not made as commercial and consumption.
Yeah, when you're putting these reissues out, it might be the first time people even hear these bands in the first place.
Yeah.
Getting
Which
to
is
vinyl.
which is why you're doing the deluxe packages and the kind of the
Right.
bell stretches. You
Dude.
got to put context by it. Like if I put like like that 7 Seconds to Crew record, if I put that on for somebody, like when I remember first hearing it the first time, I was just like, Is every song the same? Like it's just like because like Troy doesn't. There's no fills.
It's so true.
Right.
The beats
It's
are
just
the
it's same beat. The whole thing.
You're
It's like
so right.
and I just like
but it was the message, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also the song "Trust," who the label's sort of
That's
named
what I was
after.
gonna say. One of the
It's sort
greatest
of named
7
after.
second songs, man.
What
I
a
was gonna ask
great!
you.
Oh my god, I love that song.
Such a bad.
Yeah,
song.
when me and Matt Pinkster were thinking of names for the label, we had like a list, and we were trying to pull songs like, you know, it had to be hardcore based. So there's like New Rose, which is like a damn song, and I had Adult Crash because I like that kind of from Minor Threat.
Government issue too.
Yeah,
That's on
and
my
then
playlist.
but Trust was on there, and we liked it.
Who
for-
picked it?
I think Matt would have the final say on it, but I think we both gravitated towards it. And then the logo, Max Wilker is our old friend, Skinhead Max.
Of course.
Yeah, he created the
that's
logo.
my homie.
It's a sick logo, I think. And so like, we
Wait,
just,
Max, the guy that grew up with Sammy and them?
yeah, Skinhead
Oh,
Max,
sick.
dude, yeah, our
With the
guy.
slick back hair.
Everyone's-
Jason Priestley in the '90s.
Yeah, everyone's
Respect.
under the tent in Trust World. If you're part of this crew,
That's
like
dope.
you're in
Yeah,
the tent.
That's cool.
But the thing is like it resonated for many reasons. One, because we like the name, but also like kind of what we're doing is almost like a trust, right? Of like old stuff, so it has like this double kind
and
of
also trusting
thing.
each other with all
yeah.
the
And
masters.
what's funny, and then pitch me is like trust me, like you can trust us. Like sounds like a line.
Well, let's get to this announcement, man.
So
All right.
the last one, and I'm glad we're putting it here, just in case it does not go through.
We can take it off the pod if we
Yeah.
have to.
No, but here's what happened. So we've been chasing the Bad Brains for years. What happened with us is like about 2 years ago, we live in a space like hardcore, which is like we feel like we're the only people in the space what we're doing. And then we saw the Dead Kennedys sold all their rights and everything to like a place, like just a
I didn't
random-
know that.
Yeah. And we were like, and I Matt Pincus was like,
Damn, I would have been sick to get that candy.
I know. And Matt Pincus, the competitor in him, was like, that's never fucking happening again to us. Like we can't allow that to happen. He's like, because we're in our world, like what we're doing, like that's some of the, you know, some of the
Yeah.
biggest shit. Like, so we're like, so who's next on the list? And I've had conversations with Black Flag. That's gonna be tough.
How about the first suicidal record?
I've talking to Frontier, so that's
Frontier
something,
Records,
That's
another
something we
one.
might do.
Oh,
Adolescence,
right,
Blue Records on there.
Frontier.
Like,
Okay.
and Lisa's my girl, so I think that that's something we could do.
It's a great one.
But the bands are like Dead Kennedys. Misfits would be complicated. Obviously, Minor Threat's fine.
Instead,
Instead's not maybe big enough, but
Man.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I mean, shout out to Kids Instead. Those guys got me on
that's
tour.
a perfect album. Okay, go
I
ahead.
love Bonds of Friendship.
Okay.
But what came in the conversation was Bad Brains was kind of around, and we just started reaching out and became. It's been a journey. As we're doing this podcast in 2025, November something, like
Yeah.
whenever this comes out, it's either signed or it's not. It should be signed. So I'm going to act like it's signed.
Okay.
Because I talked to Matt Pincus today, and he's all, I don't know if she's mentioned Trust. I don't think you should mention Bad Brains because I'm superstitious, and if it doesn't sign, I'm like,
When's it supposed to be going down?
it's supposed to be done now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no,
if it doesn't, we'll fix it. Yeah.
No, and you can leave this in. Like, so the point is like, it's been a dance, and it's one of those things, and I know you'll both get this. You're dealing with people's legacy art of the upper fucking echelon. It's the Bad Brains. It's the fucking Beatles, dude.
Facts.
It's
Our Beatles.
It's so important. But you're dealing with the Bad Brains, and there's a lot to go with the Bad Brains.
Yeah.
And it becomes a conversation, and we finally agreed to a partnership with us and them, where it's like, it's something that's so valuable, but we're living in a world where it's not as valuable as it should be. And
True.
and part of our pitch is like, all four of our guys of this podcast are still with us, you know, and I know Matt feels the same. Like, I want those dudes to see how important the Bad Brains are.
Yeah,
I
man,
want
for
them to
sure.
see, like, and all the allies we've been collecting that have helped us, whether it be Atiba or, you know, Roger Gassman at Beyond the Streets has
Shout out
been
to Roger.
fucking awesome towards us. And Shepard Fairey's been really cool to us. And like
Mm-hmm.
all our people rallying them now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like Zach said, rally around the family, but we're rallying around the family with the Bad Brains. Like
Yeah.
all hands on deck. When we close this thing and we start working on a program, it's going to be important for every artist and everyone who thinks they owe them something to be part of a crusade to just try to champion them. And I don't know what that looks like. We've talked about Rock and Roll and Fame type stuff.
Definitely need to be there.
Definitely need to be
Agreed.
there.
But you're also
100%.
dealing with a corporate kind of structure, right? So it's,
You know the guy, the CEO of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
who is it?
This guy, Greg, I can't remember his last name.
Okay.
Numd.
Yeah.
Well, we got
Very cool guy.
okay.
Very open-minded.
I've talked to some.
I mean, I don't see there's
Well, they were on the ballot before.
Okay.
And
I remember that.
But it wasn't like a cohesive effort. And kind of what I've been doing the last couple of years is watching how legacy bands are trying to position themselves in the Hall of Fame. And Go-Go's I thought did a great job, because what they did is they did that doc, and
Great
then
doc,
they had some shows, and they really did a concerted push around. It was structured, right? A doc drops in February, they put them on the ballot in April, and then they have 6 months to really push that home before they vote. So like, part of our team, like Zach's been a real good partner in this. Like, he wants to help, and he's willing to like try to do some sort of doc or push them and put his name to things, and like,
That'd be amazing.
But everyone, like, it's like, and I think it's one of those things, like, whether it's, obviously Ian's on the inside and he wants to help where he can, but
everybody's going to want to be involved.
Everyone owes that band our livelihood.
Such an important band,
it's
correct.
So important. And the thing that kind of gets in their way that's hard with punk rock is because they don't have like singles, like it's more of like a fucking force of nature.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for people, because Dead Kennedys have Holiday in Cambodia, and like,
yeah, man.
that's a banger, and it's a hit.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that we're going to do really good work. I'm excited about it, because I think we're at this point when I'm sitting here with you guys that like, it's so close. And then my plan is to sit with Daryl, Jennifer, and the guys and just fucking come out guns a-blazing. Like, we're going to go, we're going to come start at the beginning.
It's a whole catalog?
And we're going to go, and they've done re-releases, like you've seen, and they've been good, but like, we're going to take a breath, rally the troops, and then we're going to do a concerted, like 3 to 5 year consistent push where it's like movies and books and whatever we can do. Like, I mean, that's the story is so important to not just what Trust Records is doing and what hardcore is about, to kind of the American experience.
Sure,
like,
man.
It's insane that band exists.
It inspired so many people beyond the punk world, dude.
And who they are and where they came from. It's just like, it's unfucking heard of. Like, I didn't know that band Death until recently, right? Like, and I've had this conversation, because you're a Midwestern dude, Derek. It's like, I believe hardcore and punk rock started in Detroit and Cleveland, and I believe that's where it all Dead Boys and Rock from the Tombs, and like even Devo's punk, right?
Yeah, Devo Doc's incredible.
That's incredible.
Man.
That's such an important band to all us. But anyway, the point is with that is like, the Bad Brains then become really the first. Them and Black Flag become the first fucking hardcore bands, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black Flag tours. Bad Brains don't really tour for a while, but like, they record Black Dots in 1979, and that's that fucking
crazy.
That's the first one I want to really do.
Yeah,
because like, we talked. That's one take. Well, no, there's a break. There's a break so Dr. No can tune his guitar.
Wow.
It's like roll the tape, 4-track, and they're on fucking point with those precision stops, and like HR's frantic vocals, they don't fuck up once.
Crazy, dude.
That's insane. So that story needs to be told.
Yeah.
Like, the kids today don't know it.
Yeah.
Like we know it.
Right.
And I
think there's so many different artists that
champion it for sure.
Yeah.
And they have great merch like that. The Cap Destroy Babylon shirt, so good.
Think about Jack.
Yeah,
White,
Jack
White.
Yeah,
His name's Bad Brains the other name, Minor Threat.
Yeah,
of course.
Jack White's a good dude, man.
Of course, dude. Detroit,
gets it,
man.
Think of like No Doubt.
On that 2002,
POD,
on that 2002 Rival Schools tour, White Stripes played a bunch of those festivals.
Wow.
It's like a 3:00 in the afternoon band.
I'm thinking of the massive bands who always give praise to Bad Brains, like Deftones, Papa Roach.
I think everyone would come to help.
100%.
But there's got to be there's got to be like a purpose, and there's got to be like a place to point people to, and that's why
Dave Grohl probably be in the mix too.
100%. And Trust Records has kind of positioned itself, and it's been 5 years, so now we feel like we got we have a reputation that's pretty good, and we're doing cool shit, and we're known not just in hardcore but around in different sports because of stuff we've done with the skating shit and like that skate doc like we just dropped.
Yeah.
And like and so I think it's time for it's the perfect timing for us. It wouldn't have been good year one. We would have we needed someone like Keith Morris and the Circle Jerks who were touring and active and really involved in it to help drive that car.
7 seconds. Oh yeah, all that. Zach Brigade, everything, man.
It's
perfect, dude.
And it's been we had to learn some lessons. It's not all been 100 slam dunks. Like you learn like, okay, I love every record we put out, but like they're not all sell the same. And then you have to adjust how you approach things differently. Now the Bad Brains, we can
this would be a big one, a big important one, man, a beautiful one.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like years in the making.
It's something that Matt and I have there's a real fighter in Matt Pincus, and he's a real champion of our culture and music in general. So talking to him these last couple of weeks and what we want to do with Trust in 2026, and kind of what I dropped hinting on is maybe partnering with artists, one together and then going to help get their shit off majors or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all kind of being talked about in a picture where the Bad Brains becomes the first domino that falls. And then you build you have the Bad Brains. So no matter who I talk to, I'm like, Well, I got the bad brains. You know, I got circle jerks too, and I got
100%.
we're here to champion the bad brains.
Yeah.
And I also think, like we talked about, like I'm glad that we're gonna get there next year because we got like a 3 to 4 year window to really tell a story that's about, you know, of them, because you want to take time on each record. And I like them all. I mean,
I love them all.
Yeah, I know
man.
you're probably a quickness guy. That's probably, yeah.
You?
Oh, I mean, I love that album.
Yeah,
and I Against I.
I Against I is one of the great records.
Quickness and I Against I, my two favorites.
There's got, I like, and
I love all of them, but those the ones with the
and the story's so fucking unique, dude.
so
Like,
unique. Too.
and I think like people have done a good. There's been a couple of Bad Brains docs, and they're okay.
HR
like,
doc, yeah.
The HR, I was Howie did that. I think the Finding Joseph.
Yeah, I'm in that
right?
one. It was a sick one.
That's those are good, but I think that we can do it even better. I think
for sure.
I also think there's a biopic story in there.
Absolutely.
If you
man.
want to get real with people and talk about art and creativity and the fine line between madness and genius that you have to walk if you're someone.
Is there a sit down you're doing with the whole band together to make this happen, or has it all been separate conversations?
It's a dicey. It's a little bit. It's not dicey. I shouldn't say that. The partnership structure's changed over the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Daryl and Jennifer's been running the show.
Yeah.
Everyone else has got a stake in it.
Totally.
And I think what's happened is, the guys are getting a little old. We want to take care of them, not just like, with their art, but also like to give them a couple bucks
and give them their flowers while they're here.
Oh,
all of them, dude.
I
you know
want
what
them to
I'm
see
saying?
it. It's
Let
like,
them feel
like,
it, dude.
It's like I remember, Toby, we were at Bad Brains at House of Blues when like 2008, 2009, we were upstairs and you brought Rappaport with you, and it was like that Peter Green dude. It was like
that was his first punk show.
Yeah, that's me. And it was kind of one of those things where like we seen the Bad Brains. I'm not saying they were bad that night. They're fine, but it's not what you see. And
I know.
It's one of those things where like you're like, shit, man, like the people don't, like, we didn't even see it. Like, you know, you talk to guys like Ian Mackay, like, oh, dude, you missed it. It was over in like 79. Once they left New York, it's done.
You saw him on the Leeway, though.
I saw them on the I Against I.
Me too.
And
89.
and the Quickness tour.
Yeah, I saw him.
Leeway.
89.
Yeah.
I saw him, I think, 86. Instead Open. I think it was Instead Adolescence and Bad Brains or something. And that was the first time I saw him.
Yeah.
That was such a fucking mind fuck too. Like, cause we were discovering records. Like, I just remember being like a hardcore kid and getting the Rock for Life thing, and then flipping over and realizing it's all a bunch of black guys, dude. I was so like fucking blown away and stoked. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
there's those stories where they're pulling up to different towns across the country, and people didn't know there's no picture of them.
People didn't fucking know.
Them showing up,
And it's one of those things. Like, there's no joke that hardcore is very white suburban. Like in the beginning, that's what's so beautiful about it. Now it's become very diverse and very inclusive.
Most diverse I've ever seen it, man.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
It
changed my life.
It's how it's always to be, but like. You know, when you're telling these stories, we're always like, how do we find more females? You know, how do we find more like people like who aren't from the suburbs to freaking talk about shit? And that's the band to do it. Like, especially like, and they're the most important band in hardcore. There's no comparison to anyone else.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
That's exciting, man. It's great news.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a journey. Those are the kind of things, dude. Like, there have been some nights where I've been like, you know, depressed. It's just like like Ian's been a real sounding board on that, dude. Like, because there's been he's known the whole way, and Zach, because Zach's been there. But I'd be like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's not going well." Like, you know, because it's like I was just trying to explain. Literally, it's art. It's so hard to make that last step to trust somebody else. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah.
To with your legacy that you've worked on all these years, and it has bumps and bruises. There's been real heartbreak in that band where they've been right there, and then like,
no, man, so many incredible moments, dude.
And we've been just kind of patiently waiting, like hoping they'll be like, hey man, like, you know, and I think my last ditch pitch to them was like, hey dude, like everything I just said to you guys, like, we care about this. We're not an asset collector. Like, we're not a portfolio that's going like, cool, we got Toby's publishing and we got Derek's publishing and now we got Bad Brains. Like, great, let's collect some money on this. It's like, we want to celebrate it and champion. It's not it's not asset collector.
You want to put them out to the world so they can see how much that you appreciate them and what they've done for everything, the whole culture.
I want
and celebrate them.
Yeah, I want my Trust Records legacy, and I want my legacy to be like, I'm the guy who championed the Bad Brains.
For sure.
You know, that's a I'm done kind of moment.
Yeah, it's a retirement moment.
I came full circle, man. Like, I did it. Punk rock got me into this life, and
just giving the flowers because they inspired so many people, and I feel like
and the best.
And we have on such a high pedestal still.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
they should be there. And like, it's like I said, there's warts and it's weird, and there's the stories got issues to it, but like, it's all kind of beautiful together.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love this documentary that just dropped. It's called Intense Energy. It's the sounds of skateboarding. It's all the music that kind of was connected with skateboarding as we came up, you know?
Yeah.
I remember hearing Youth Brigade for the first time in the Bones Brigade video.
Yeah.
And just like that whole connection to this aggressive music and the skateboard culture. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. That's been really fun about doing this too, is that kind of came, Buddy Cohen, who's the director of that, he did our first, that preservation one, and he did the SSD one. He did Love Letters for Skateboarding.
I remember
with
that.
ESPN, and he's really dialed that scene. He and I talked about a year ago about this, about like how important punk rock and skateboarding were to who I am.
Totally.
And then kind of as we started talking, the street skating thing came in, and like guys like Dante Ross got involved, and it became where like hip hop became, and it became and Dante Ross says it perfectly in this film. It's like
I saw it's great.
It's the Venn diagram of rebel culture is punk rock, skateboarding, and hip hop.
100%.
Right.
And it's true because we all grew up in that scene, and that I was into all of that.
Yeah, we were listening to it back then, but it
Yes.
wasn't in our skate videos. It was mostly punk.
No.
Yeah.
I maybe the early 90s maybe crossed over like the New York Shut
Definitely.
Skates and all those guys.
Yeah. And it's on our YouTube channel. It's like we released it like a couple of weeks ago. It's been great. Like it's one of the things like I want to do more of that stuff because everyone has seen it's been like, holy shit, this is really cool. It's like
I wish that was in it because I connected so much to everything they were talking about in there, like all the different genres.
and there's stuff that's missing. Like there's like we should probably put the Devo Freedom of Choice video in there because but it's hard because we're not really talking about a timeline. We're more talking about like the spirit of shit. How it
It was nice seeing Zach. You got Zach.
Yeah,
talking
that
there,
was a
talk
big.
about
That was
it,
a big
and-
get. I never asked him to do anything, but I asked him. Shot that in my living room. That scene. But
Oh, really?
He. It was important to him because it's like with dudes like that, they're very protective of. Like they've been burned, I think, in the press before. Like
sure.
you know, like it's just like and you get misquoted and stuff. And so, but I think with that, I was like, dude, look who we got in this, man. You got Steve Olson and you got fucking, you know, and you should.
Yeah.
Because Zach was, this guy's might know this. Zach was an amateur skateboarder. Like
Yeah, for sure.
He skated for like some team and he was skated against like Cab and Tony Hawk and stuff.
crazy,
and like
dude.
that's like an amateur. It's just fucking wild. There's like he's like if you see pictures of him, he's like tiny.
I could see more like part 2 and 3 of that, more different versions of that.
We talked about maybe doing like some episodes that spin off it that kind of talk because it's really a lot of people said like it's not long enough, but then I'm
it's
like
pretty short.
I'm like, but that might be good because you're invested for 22 minutes. It's how long it is.
Yeah.
You know.
We covered a lot in 22 minutes though. Yeah.
Yeah, you could expand it, but I appreciate you. Yeah, it's been appreciate you saying words on that because that's like you get it. Like it's just
For
like
sure,
it's so
man.
important. It's like
So important, man.
like no one cared. Like skateboarding and punk rock and even hip hop back then, everyone thought no one liked that. It was all
Nobody
underground
did.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
No one in your school.
No
liked
radio
that.
was playing it
You
at
couldn't
all.
even.
Nah.
You couldn't skateboard in Huntington Beach. It was a crime. That's like that skateboarding is not a crime. It was a crime to skateboard on the street. Like you would get a ticket, or the cops would harass you.
For sure,
It's
man.
completely
skateboarding.
opposite of what I was thinking. I was like, dude, California's
No, the
ultimate freedom.
Cops in
Yeah.
Huntington,
Skating all day.
For sure.
cops in Huntington Beach were tough. They did not
know
like
this.
punk rockers, that's for sure, or skateboarders, or combo.
Surfers are fine because they're like in the water. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
you can't touch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm accidentally. Also, you sang for Vision, which was crazy this year.
Yeah.
No, that's
Isn't that fun?
insane.
I love those dudes, and I love that record.
Do you know he sang for Vision recently?
I'm just hearing this now.
So what happened was we had mentioned that guy Big Frank Harrison of he was a
It was a benefit show. Yeah.
yeah, what happened, he was the catalyst of our scene. Like he worked at Zed Records, which
Great
is a big
record.
record store.
Moon was good friends with him too.
And he was ran Golden Voice. He was a stage manager at Golden Voice, so he was at every punk show. And he had a record label called Nemesis that put out the Vision record. It put out the first Offspring record. It put out Reason to Believe. Put out Pitchfork, which is John Reese from Rocket's first band, and Rick Froberg's. And then Frank was suffering from he had health problems, and he was in great shape. He passed away about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's been a minute. And we did a benefit for him in June at Garden Amp in Orange County, and we got it was so great, dude. It was like, I'm trying to get them, but the bands were TSOL, Chromags, DI, Excel, like Far Side got back together and played a set.
Nice.
Like Vision was what I sang for because Dave Franklin's passed, and that was really fun. And like, you know, and just it was one of those things where you kind of realize like, this is what we do this for. Like, cause it's like, this is your family. This was a funeral for our guy, but it's also like people you haven't seen, you don't see them unless it's kind of these things are all hardcore related, like hardcore in their blood were there. And it was special. And shout out to Harley Flanagan and for making the Chromags come. Like he was so accommodating. Like I mentioned the Chromags to be on that. Cause like, you know, Frank loved the Chromags. Best Wishes was his favorite record. And they're like, well, Harley's going to be tough. I'm like, I don't think he's going to be that tough, dude. Like he's a good dude. Like he wants to do things for the right reasons. And he was very accommodable. Bold played. Underdog played.
Damn, the list goes on.
Yeah, it was like 18 bands, and it went on all day. It was like bands playing 20-minute sets,
Right.
and it was really magical. But yeah, that's where the Vision thing came, and I there's a real kinship between Vision and Instead. I met them on those first tours, and we always stayed with them. And Dave Franklin was a really a good friend.
He opened up for them.
Yeah,
back in the day,
and
for sure.
People don't get that. That's why I learned with Ink and Dagger.
Oh yeah,
like in Philadelphia, like Ink and Dagger's the kings.
Huge kings.
They're
dude.
the kings of that scene.
Yeah,
they sold out the church 4 nights.
yeah.
you
Just
know?
recently,
Wow.
And in New Jersey, Vision's that band. New Jersey Vision, there's a lot of love and respect for
underrated
Vision.
band.
One of the most underrated bands.
I thought that
They were great.
I would love to do that in Trust if we could do that.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that
that'd be
makes so
sick.
much sense.
Yeah, it would make sense.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Incredible band.
Yeah.
What else you got for ideas for Trust? Your list.
What do you think about
Jesus.
something you thought about?
I don't know. I mean,
What's that
they're
band
not
you-
big enough. I mean, there's certain things I'm like, damn, how come this is not on Spotify? Like this obscure band, Shades Apart.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of course.
yeah, from
Love Shades
Jersey.
Apart. Yeah, of
You fuck
course,
with them?
dude.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's
So- well,
amazing,
songs-
dude.
They were
What's not on-
mad cool.
'cause-
There's one album with like
Yeah,
guy
the
on
guy,
front.
the Wishing Well record probably is not
Yeah.
on Spotify.
I
'Cause they-
love that album.
That's cool, dude.
That's
Never-
so good.
Yeah,
That'd be a great one.
Shades
I
Apart.
never. I'm trying to find on Spotify where the.
Yeah,
hell is
it-
this?
They got SNFU and SFU merch too.
And that was
Love
another one that
SNFU.
was just like, how could there not be SNFU on? And now it is.
Yeah, that's coming. That's actually will be out by the time this comes out. Kids will. Yeah, no one else wanted to play. That's the one.
Ooh.
Dude,
Dude,
with
got
it-
merch. You'll be looking for merch.
So
Dude,
good.
you'll dig this. It's a deluxe book, and then it's got
Oh my
a
God.
double record of B-sides and live stuff from that era.
That's amazing.
The album after, no one.
Oh,
wanted-
yeah, no
I
one.
swear-
If you swear you catch
no
fish.
So
Swear you catch
that we'll have that one not this year, but that'll come
Wow.
out too.
That-
Those are
that's
the
a banger.
that's a
album,
great
man.
record.
I
Those,
mean,
those are the 2 records that BYO had.
unbelievable.
And SNFU, man, like
Jesus Christ,
Incredible
the
frontman.
legendary.
that's one of the greatest frontmen ever.
Absolutely, for sure.
Oh.
A great lyricist.
Yeah,
the
it's
best
fun.
lyrics I've ever heard.
Yeah,
to
because
this
it's
day.
fun. It's like fun and playful, but very political and so like
Yeah,
dark, too.
smart.
Oh, it's
Like,
dark.
like,
I mean, Chai
real.
is
Was
Wow.
it government issue on the major and some of the
They-
records?
Government Issues kind of in a world with a lot of bands. They were in Dutch East India.
I love those government issue records.
Yeah,
man.
I
I,
love
just
Great
put that on
ones,
my
dude.
playlist.
Yeah,
recently.
you and like
All
all
the
those kind of the
Joyride.
big.
It's where you live.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love
man.
dude. Government Issue was an underrated.
Dude, let's
band.
get them. Let's get them.
and
Yeah.
and Naked Ray Gun
Yes,
for
dude.
Moon for
Nick
Moon.
Reagan, Peg Boy. Woo-hoo-hoo. Those
all
releases
that.
would be
Few
great.
out there.
And there's
yeah.
some of these records are buttoned up because like Touch and Go's still around. Corey Rusk who owns it.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange just gets
Oh, boy.
weird, dude, because with all these records, there's different stories and there's different rights and
Right.
who has them. And Agent Orange is one of those things where I'm not entirely sure who has the rights.
How about the skate rock compilations
Well, first of
we
all, I
talked
was just
about it.
thinking about like, oh, those are
with
sick.
big boys in those bands?
Oh, dude.
Another band.
We,
on
we
my
talked
playlist is
about it.
Because we're talking about skateboarding in the culture. I mean,
JFA.
JFA. Dude.
I reached out to them.
You did?
Man.
Yeah, that's
That's another one on my playlist. I'm just like,
it's-
oh my god,
JFA.
legendary.
We wanted to do JFA around the release of the Skate Doc because we were like that'd be the perfect band, but they're happy with where they were. Brian and I talked, and like that's fine too. Like trust my
Damn.
Wow.
like in my mind, I'm like this is where you should be. Like we're gonna
Yeah,
do something.
of
for you.
course.
But like
JFA would be really
You can't-
cool.
Be
you know,
really cool.
and then the door's always open for them.
The
with
Faction,
JFA.
obviously.
Faction, yeah.
Love that.
With
Love it.
some other skate bands back then.
Well, there's them and there's
Blast,
JFA.
JFA.
Blast, dude.
Blast.
Blast is so
Wow.
fucking good, dude. Like those first couple Blast records, man.
But RKL.
I want to. I've
Oh,
had
man.
conversations. You know what I'm surprised at? I guess I'm not
And they were
surprised.
playing some shows.
They're big. Like RKL, like
People love
like
RKL,
holy
man.
fucking shit. Like
Genius albums.
like I
Like,
remember like we were fans, but like I don't know if I ever saw them back in the day. Maybe I did.
I
It
don't
didn't seem like
think
they
I ever
played a
did.
lot.
They didn't play.
Like
I
and
don't
then
think so.
and then they got back together. I went to Terragram Ballroom, which holds like 650. It was packed
That's sick.
Yeah,
packed
it's sick.
for RKL.
What's
That'd
the
be
album they
awesome.
had like with the comic book inside?
Yeah, the kid. They were fun.
Genius.
You would know because you're friends with that dude. What was Josh Brolin in that band?
He wasn't in the band. That was their homies, kind of the roadie guy. Like,
okay.
unofficial
I knew he's
member.
part of
Yeah.
the crew. He's yeah.
If you did that, it'd be cool to get him in the mix on that. Maybe write
'Cause-
something cool.
Yeah, because that's an
RKL.
interesting.
Hell
They're kind
yeah.
of Santa Barbara based. A
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he tells me all kinds of stories
I'll
about
go
growing
through
up
my
with those guys.
playlist because
They
I
were-
have some old shit. I'm
I mean, the band's called Rich Kids on Acid Keep Laughing. Like,
Crazy.
keep laughing.
What about
The
dis-
7-inch is great.
what about Discharge and stuff like that? Is
yeah, we
Ooh.
talked like
Crass.
Crass was always hard because it's very much the music's very much the message of that band. They're like commune based.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
all
right.
political.
With some other bands you mentioned, you're like, I want a T-shirt of this band. Like you're always talking about that you love. You always it was some obscure kind of band. I don't know, some band from Canada you loved.
Raw Power.
Your Power.
Oh, they're Italian.
Italian.
My bad.
Raw
yeah.
Power. And
Screams from the
Indigesti,
gut.
they were another band. Like, we'll see. Like we're trying to, it's all. It's easier sometimes with the American bands with the rights, but like we've reached out. Like I would like to do the Exploited, and I like to do GBH. You know what I mean? Like
GBH would be huge.
I think it just depends on what we can do.
How about like Killing Time? What, that's my favorite. What label was that on? Caroline?
I think so.
And the Warzone
Caroline.
records, bro, from those times.
Well, the
Yeah,
Warzone
the
records
Warzone
are they? I think they're on Rev, some of them, and then some of them are
Okay.
not. There's one that's a lost record.
How about Underdog? How about Underdog Vanishing Point?
Oh, I'd love to do that record.
You maybe get somebody to remix it because I
Yeah.
love the record so much. But the
Mix is rough.
The riff, the mix is.
but dude,
That's
that's a how about that's
I
a
think
great one.
That might be on Rev.
Okay.
I-
Underdog be sick.
and I think there's, Jordan's our homie. I think we've talked about
Just 100 times with him, probably. Yeah.
yeah, to do partnerships or something to do if you want to, like, because our idea is like Trust Records. We kind of built like this tent that we want everyone that's to be in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
We could name shit all day we want on it.
oh
Like,
my god!
But
But
the
but
first
some,
TSOL records.
yeah, we've talked that's
I'm
something.
sure those
Those are great records.
legendary.
The first.
How about
even-
like why don't you do like the Another State of Mind soundtrack? Or re-release the DVD or something. Maybe we talked about
Well, we
this
talked.
with Youth Brigade.
Someone
Oh,
owns.
right.
You talked to Stearns. I was listening to that. Like
Yes.
someone owns the right. Jim Garino had the rights. He was the manager of Social Distortion, and then he sold them. There's Another State of Mind is somewhere, but that's something I remember listening to your podcast with the Stern brothers and going like, I even texted Pincus. I think we should maybe like try and find out Another State of Mind, the movie,
Or Suburbia soundtracks.
because that's like those movies are important, dude. Like
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Suburbia,
great. Repo Man,
Another State of Mind, and Repo Man.
Decline.
Yeah.
Those are so important, man.
The thing with soundtracks, it's a little bit dicey. Is you have to license all those songs.
Yeah.
And so you have
That's
to
a lot
go
of
back.
people
I think
mix.
we're going to try to start next year with someone got their head kicked in, the BYO comp.
That's a great one.
Because
Yeah.
that's maybe try to do that like a record store day thing.
That's a good one.
So, but there's a dude.
We can name this
when
all
you're
day.
in
We
this
can
when
keep
you're in this
throwing these.
world, dude. Like you can start making connections that the Smiths could be on Trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can start
Right.
making these connections. We were talking
DYS.
DYS would be cool. Like
There's so many. FUs, Proletariat,
the Proletariat.
Adrenaline OD.
Adrenaline Over D.
I love
AOD.
Where is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I gotta.
Angry Samoans.
Angry Samoans.
Jesus,
Back from
dude.
Samoa.
Back from Samoa.
That's a
Classic.
classic.
I know.
Oh
There's a
my-
couple songs on that record
I
that are
know.
problematic. That's the problem with Angry Samoans. I'm not going to name
No,
names, but
I
there's
know.
two songs that are really
Yeah,
problematic on that
I
record.
agree, but that album it brings like so many.
I love, dude. I was such a
So
fan of that
That
record.
record was so
Huge.
shocking and
It's
crazy.
And
back
it's
then.
like
so good.
MDC is on there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
What
Yeah.
about MPC?
We've had conversations. Like it's one of those things. Like you can only do so much. We have so much bandwidth, and like kind of like the whole point of what we're trying to do is expand next year and to get more
Right.
help and to be able to do like a record a month kind of thing. Like
MDC is such a game changer.
Oh,
Game
Lyrically,
changer,
everything,
change.
man.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
you sang
Dude,
about.
Chicken Squawk. That was the first
Bro,
first
dude.
vegetarian song I ever heard. I
Oh
think.
man, it's so good.
We sing them all the time.
Yeah,
Me, him,
all
and
the
Chappelle in the car, man.
So many.
Every song's a banger, dude.
Banger.
John Wayne was a Nazi.
Dude.
What is the latest obsession for you right now?
Latest obsession in music or
Anything in
in
life?
general?
well, man, it's what is my latest obsession? I mean, I've been chasing. I'm kind of in this zone right now with music where I'm just kind of that list you got.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with trying to take Trust really to a level that puts it on a path that's like almost like sustainable forever.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a couple years, but like dude, I'm still like we're the same dude. I obsess kind of over my friends and like kind of I get to this place in life where like I'm here with you. I got Max Morris sitting next to me, dude. I don't see the baby,
Yeah,
and
it's
you guys, like,
crazy.
it's like I've kind of got with Trust has really kind of changed perspective for me and what I obsess and what I focus my time on. And it's really like friends and family and supporting my, if my friends' bands are playing, I make the effort to go. I make the effort to buy tickets.
Can you make it out to a 10:30 performance of Max's band tonight downtown LA?
Whoa.
Wow.
Some bridges are just
On
too
the
far. Some gaps are too far to cross, man. 10:30.
Put him on
Wait,
blast.
what's that? The band's called Dance Party. What's the band called? Dance.
Torn State.
Okay.
Turning states.
What are some of your daily rituals?
Well, it depends on the day, but on a normal day, I'm up pretty early.
What time's that? 4 or 5?
No, it's about 5:36. And my girlfriend, I love to death, does yoga about 6:30.
Damn.
Do you join her?
I can't. I do, but I'm humiliated. She's so much better at me, dude. I feel like I know. Don't stare at me like that.
Start from somewhere.
I know.
Man. Come
Dude,
on.
she does gymnastics. She takes a gymnastics class on the
Yeah.
weekends. Like she's a
Okay.
machine.
All right.
So anyway, I get up. I do that. I usually have to get on emails pretty quickly, and then
You coffee guy?
I am. Yeah, I do that. And then if I'm driving down to Trust, which is in Orange County, I get on the road pretty early. And if not, I kind of work. I try to do a walk at some point. To
Yes.
just, like try to get, and I've been having these kind of, Zach and I've been getting like freaking matchas at the spot.
Oh, yeah.
So I try to, like, if I can get one of my friends like that to be like, hey, you want me for coffee? I do that.
Matchas are the best.
I'm on the phone. I'm working, so I'm on the phone. I always try to find time to read. I'm an avid reader.
Nice.
And
Mhm.
then so
What kind of stuff you read?
it's usually pretty much nonfiction type
Cool.
stuff. But like I've been like I've been in this music space for about years. All my shit's kind of music books.
Yeah.
Right now. Like if you're a band who's put out a book or an artist, like I will buy the book. I might not
Yeah.
read it right away, but I get it. And like and stuff like when you're chasing like the Bad Brains, like
Yeah.
I bought all the stuff like Bad Brains. We were chasing SNFU. I was trying to get the Diane Arbus photo, which is the cover art with the kid with the
Original
hand grenade.
Kid?
So I bought all these Diane Arbus books, like her biographies. Like I was trying to get an insight to her. Insight was you can't get that. So never released it commercially. She's long deceased.
That's
but-
incredible. Yeah, tracking down all
so,
the original
but I
stuff.
try to be like, I've had a problem lately with my diet. Like I need to like get more regimen when I eat because I've been eating at weird times, which isn't
Yeah.
healthy for you. And at night,
Trying to
man,
stay
like it's
healthy.
like, Christina gets home and we try to like, she gets home pretty late and we just kind of, we watch TV.
You binge watch stuff?
No, I mean, we have some shows that we watch,
What's the current show right now?
I'm watching Mayor in Kingstown right now.
Great.
I love that
Great
show.
show.
But also like, I'm obsessed with the Ken Burns documentaries and he just dropped
Ken
the
Burns.
American Revolution one, which is
I just
like
heard about this.
Ooh, nice.
12 hours long. And I
Oh,
started
nice.
that last night.
Yeah, I saw some. I think Nancy posted that.
What's
or
that
something.
on?
It's on
What do you
PBS.
I
Okay,
would
that's some
think so.
Derek shit too, man.
I
Yeah.
love Kim Burns.
It's so he yeah. And it's funny like I binge watch old stuff. Like I still watch The Sopranos sometimes
Best.
and
Best.
Breaking Bad and The
Best.
Wire and like
Ooh, those are 3 best ever, man.
but I try to get into shows like and I get into like what I love right now is freaking that Tim Robinson show the
Love it.
furniture
Yeah.
chair store.
Bro.
Dude, that dude's a fucking genius, dude.
Bro,
Like,
I hit
he's
him up
the
when I saw it. I was
it's a
like,
whole
dude,
He's
new level, man.
so funny,
bro,
man. Like
it's incredible, dude.
yeah, that's
It's so
just that's
uncomfortably amazing.
It's so amazing because it's so the plot is so the chair it's so original and the plot is so uncomfortable.
Yes,
That's just like
completely.
so we love that and like and then truth be told like Christina's like there's suckers for like those dating shows sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to watch some of that, which is like it's rough, but it's so
like
it's
Love
addicting.
Island shit or like
Love is
Love is
blind.
Blind.
It's the
Blind, my
best.
bad.
Love is blind is so ridiculous, man.
The ridiculousness
But
of
we
it.
watch it, and I every year I'm like, oh, I can't watch this. I got to be more on point. Like this is
Same
garbage
way.
TV. And then I'm watching him like, oh,
Same way.
let's watch another one. Let's
but
watch.
those kind of shows you could check out. It's not political. It's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
too
and you can
serious.
work. Like Christina will work
Exactly.
and watch them, so we work.
Yeah.
I'm
But those,
definitely doing
but
stuff
those are
around
things.
it.
But this is kind of funny when you're talking about this. Like this talks about like how different people are. Like during Coachella, I saw Ian and Carmine, his son, and Amy, and they're asking what we did the pandemic. It was like the first Coachella back from the pandemic, and I'm like, oh, I read in a magazine that you could watch all the Avenger movies in this order. There's 26 of them. You start in this magazine, you can watch them all. So I started watching them all, and they're looking at it, I go, what did you guys do? And Amy goes, oh, Carmine watched all the Kurosawa films. There's like,
Oh.
I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, it's really the Japanese. He watched like, there's like 50 of them, and most of them are like silent movies. They're like
Yeah.
4 hours long.
Wow.
And I'm just like, okay, man, like, fucking, like, you guys are the Mackays, and we're the Nelsons, and the Nelsons are a little bit more raw. We're watching Love Is Blind.
Is it hard for you to shut your brain up at night and go to sleep?
Sometimes it is, yeah. What's hard is waking up, because the minute I wake up, I'm up.
Yeah.
Especially if there's something that's going on. Like right now, I've been awake quite a bit because this stuff with Bad Brains I've been talking about.
Yeah,
like,
it seems like I'll be up all night too.
And,
with
and I
that.
try to break it up. Like because I work from home and that can get a little monotonous. So I try to go work remotely sometimes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like travel. Like I think I'm like traveling for work has been really fun lately. Cause like for like, Ink and Dagger, they're back there. So I was back there for a week and
That's awesome.
I think, I think like my roles like in traveling with the artist more will kind of expand in 2026.
Yeah.
It's a way to get back on the road. Rival Schools isn't going to call again. So got to do.
Oh man.
What about social media? On social media a lot?
I'm not. Like
That's
I
great.
have Instagram just to self-follow what Max is doing. I want to see where the surf's like and stuff like that.
Max is
Yeah, bruh.
But I was on all of it. I got off Facebook years ago because I just like, this is the most
Too
toxic
much.
fucking shit.
so toxic.
And then when what's his face, Musk bought Twitter, Biggest like, we're not on Twitter anymore. So we took the trust off.
Oh, wow.
And like,
Nice.
but I try to stay off that. For trust, it's important we have it. But
who runs that one? You?
Sammy Sigler runs that, dude.
Okay. I'll get
Like,
you Sammy. Yeah.
Sammy's the guy. He's good at it, and he can play. He can put effort into that I can't.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. It takes a special person to like
For sure.
figure out how to kind of build on something and like what's the momentum happening and what
Yeah,
like that.
Mhm.
What about therapy? You ever done therapy?
I have, yeah. It's been a minute. Like with my dad, I went to some counseling. There was like and I did some Al-Anon stuff, and then I did some counseling kind of when I came back to California. I was kind of going through that moment, like I was pretty depressed, and I've suffered from depression before. So that I started talking to someone. It's therapy is important. That's one thing about mental health, dude. Like in our 2025 when we're doing this, like it's come so far. That was such a stigma.
Such a stigma, dude.
You were so weak if you talked about that. Now it's like you're weak if you don't, which is how it should be.
Yeah, man.
You should be that way.
It wasn't manly. It wasn't tough to talk about.
And there's so much
talking to somebody.
suicide, especially when you're like, that's such devastating when you're a kid. Like I lost like 2 or 3 people I knew pretty well with suicide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just like, yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Therapy is important. I don't do it now, but
Yeah.
I should do yoga though.
What about
that's what I've learned from this.
What about sobriety? You sober?
No, I am not, but like I don't really do anything. Like there's moments like I stopped being straight edge
Oh yeah.
kind of in the 90s, and then I've had moments when I've been straight edge and not, but I just don't like
Claim it.
I don't claim it, but I don't go out and drink, dude. Like there's there's probably beers in our fridge that have been there for a year that I'll have to throw out because they're just there. Like
Did you ever want to have kids?
yeah,
Think
and
you still do?
I think we've talked about adopting. Like that's
amazing,
something
man,
Christina
yeah.
really is passionate about, and
That's
like
awesome.
so I think that's something we're gonna explore. Like
That'd be
I
incredible,
want to be a
man.
little bit more stable with trust.
Yeah.
So I need
Right.
about maybe another year, but I figured like it just happens, right? Like
For sure.
you would
man,
know.
Yeah.
When do they move out? What's the year they
I don't
usually
know.
move out?
They stay here longer now because it's too expensive to live in LA.
Yeah,
so
dude, that's so crazy.
it's freaking. I was out at 17.
I think it's cool though that people are
Yeah.
living at home.
I
See
mean,
that Max? He likes that. I like that too, man. Yeah.
I think it's I've grown accustomed to it because living outside the U.S. It's very common in a lot of other places around the world.
living
to
in their
see-
20s. Yeah.
yeah, or at least until they're like getting married. And
I mean, we all know
Yeah.
Western culture fails the family dynamic in the most epic way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you
Right.
get outside, you're like, oh, everyone takes care of their parents and their grandparents, and it's like all one big thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
man,
What's your top 5 favorite punk or hardcore bands?
punk or hardcore bands. Well, Bad Brains. The classics are easy, but Bad Brains and Minor Threat are the 2 big ones from that era. I love Cro-Mags, Age of Quarrel.
Yeah.
I love that half
7
Heart-
seconds, bro.
I love 7 Seconds, but to get a little modern, I love
Half
Half
Heart.
Heart. I love those records that are on
Incredible
Push
band,
Records.
dude.
That's a band that I was like, you hear that band, and I was like, man, I would love to be in this band. And that band's like 2006, like, but yeah.
Those are good tops. Yeah.
Yeah, I love way more than 5. Like Verbal Assault's a huge
Yeah,
band.
dude. Me too.
How
How about hip hop? Top 5.
For hip hop, it's pretty old school. Like I love the Run the Jewels because I work with them, and I love Wu-Tang. But like, I got into like, I obviously got into the Beastie Boys and Run DMC, but those first 2 or first 3 Public Enemy
Incredible,
records are
dude.
my favorite records
Yeah.
of all time. I still listen to them. And like I was saying, like when NWA and Eazy-E came out, like I don't think I listened to anything more that year than NWA's Straight Outta Compton. Like
So
it
hard,
was
dude.
so good. I don't want to bore you. I got a story on that real quick. This will blow your fucking mind. NWA and Uniform Choice were going to do a split 12-inch.
I don't.
I know, I know we're wrapping up, but I just
Yeah.
thought of it. Yes, because at the time, Wishing Well wasn't really a thing. That was Pat Dubar's label. Those records came out, and no one was going to put out NWA, and they hadn't really met that Jerry Goldstein or whoever that guy was.
Yeah.
So this guy Kane,
Jerry Heller, yeah.
like Jerry Heller, thank you. Like, and this guy Kane, Boychuk, who did Cargo Records, Pat was down there and Eazy-E were down there, and he said to both of them at different times, because Eazy-E liked to scratch kind of the hardcore punk records.
Yeah.
He thought it made a cool sound. He said to him, like, hey, there's this band Uniform Choice that needs to put out a record. Why don't you guys team up and put out a split 12-inch? And he thought about it, and Pat Dubar's the one who said no.
What?
Because he didn't want to be tied to like negativity because it's all positive, and he wanted to do his own right. And I'm like, and now you look at it, I go, dude, you think Judge fucking whatever Suck It Chung King or Chung King Can Suck It's the most valuable record? If there was a split 12-inch of NWA and Uniform Choice, that would be the most valuable record you could possibly get. Isn't that crazy? But that's like the kind of the symmetry of the youth culture at the time.
Wow.
Like, we don't know those kids, obviously. We're in different parts of California, but like, we're all thinking alike. People are thinking like trying to get their art out, trying to figure it out. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah.
I would have said yes in a hot second.
Oh yeah,
bro.
now you would. But like, yeah, hip hop, that stuff. I mean, I love Jay-Z, right?
Yeah,
I still listen to Jay-Z. I still listen to old Kanye. College Dropout's still one of my favorite records all the time.
Dude.
And Kendrick Lamar, dude.
Woo.
Can't get away from that. Like all that shit. And like, look, I love when Dr. Dre came out, I love that early 90s Dr. Dre sound.
Man.
Like, I thought that production
Chronic,
was so sick.
2001.
That Coachella with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and they had the hologram of Tupac was the fucking sickest Coachella set in the history of Coachella sets.
I know, I saw it online. I met
all these Coachella people on mushrooms thinking it's really Tupac coming out of the ground. The fucking best. Just tripping out, crying.
I would love to be. I saw it online. Looked amazing.
Yeah, he's alive. He's waited all these years to do like half of Gangster Party. Dr. Dre's moment.
Dude, that was incredible, man.
Oh my God, what a fucking set. They've never done it since.
Yeah.
That used to be the fucking big thing. It's like, oh, dude, AI, it's going to be holograms. And it's like, there's been a couple things, but it hasn't been much.
That was like 10 years ago, maybe, right? More than that.
2012 was that Coachella,
dude.
I think. And Beyonce was pretty quickly after that. She was incredible.
Dude, I feel like I could do a part 2 with you, man, or part 3 or part 4, because this has been amazing.
It's been a blast.
Man.
I'm so good. Thank you so much, because it's like I said, we all go way back, and like, I've been a fan of yours, dude, and I've been a fan of this podcast and what you've done, and just
Thank you, man.
Like the thing about you and who you are, it's like you take some, like, it's hard to be positive and forward thinking and try to be uplifting for people in a society that wants to keep everyone down. So the fact that you just keep going and you're just yourself and true to yourself has been a real testament to you, Toby.
Thank you, man. I really
For
appreciate
sure.
the thank you, man.
I agree.
I appreciate that.
You, Derek, I don't know what we're gonna do with you.
Do you have last question? Do you have any
Work in
major
progress.
regrets in your life?
Oh, sure. I regret not going on that fucking Inside Out Quicksand Shelter tour.
Oh
It was
yeah.
a tour. Yeah, I think
Damn.
we all do, but I don't think that's a healthy way to live. I think you learn more from mistakes and regrets than you do from your successes, right?
Absolutely.
And
man.
and the thing I've learned, especially doing Trust Records, I'm so interested in the journey and the chase. It's hard once that record comes out, like I'm almost over it in the sense that we've worked so hard to get it to that place. So like that's why I'm so thankful I have like guys like Sam to keep that going, because I'm done at that point. Like I'm like, I'm a part of the initial marketing plans, but like
also shout out to Bill too, helps out. Bill.
Bill Scoville.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like, I was on a call, for full disclosure. I was on a call with my Equal Vision people. Like,
but he helps out. He's part of the whole.
He's part of the production of the art. And Bill's
awesome,
he's
dude.
a sweetheart.
Sweetheart, dude.
And a really talented
One
artist.
king down
dude.
for the listeners.
One king down and a really talented artist, dude. Like Coed in Cambria. Like he's done a lot of recognizable
stuff
artwork.
with you. Yeah.
And he does a lot of mechanical art for us. Like he's always makes sure everything's properly like loaded up. But that's kind of the fun part of Trust, is you work with friends and like-minded.
It's incredible,
individuals.
man. Your whole story today has been so incredible.
Thanks, man.
Your journey.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Now I have a full understanding of
Now you know who I am.
Yeah,
I do, but I know you for all these years.
What you do, I mean,
Yeah.
it's so much. It's so
But
incredible,
it's
man. I
thank
love
you.
the concept.
But I think
and
the whole
idea.
story. Thank you. I think the whole story leads you up to what you're doing at Trust Records, right?
Yeah.
Like that whole journey is now for this moment in time.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about what we do. It's like I don't feel like my life started. You know what I mean? It's 55. Oh, we're just starting now. We're going to work with the Bad Brains. Now we can start living.
Oh, it's a whole new every year's a new chapter.
Yeah.
It's
And that's
beautiful,
the
man.
beautiful thing about music. But thank you, and you guys have been supportive of the label, and I just
Of
appreciate
course,
that.
dude, I love
Definitely.
everything you're doing. I'm
Yeah.
psyched for this Bad Brains chapter and what happens
coming.
after that, and
Yeah.
everything you put back out into the world and give it to the community and part of the culture and everything too, Joe. It's like just seeing your whole thing and hearing your story now. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. No, thanks, Toby.
Thanks for all the shit you
Right
put out
on,
there, man.
Which I love.
This has been great, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for all the listeners. Trust Records. They have Instagram. They have a website. They have. He doesn't really check his Instagram anymore. I respect that.
Sammy checks it.
Sammy runs
Sammy
it.
checks it.
But thank you, Joe Nelson, for
Thanks.
being this. Is so cool.
right,
thanks,
thanks,
everybody. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years to have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryo technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product. But I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. And one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth.